Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 248. We're doing the Budds Creek wrap-up show here. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Travis. We're back for another show here. And this time, I'm not solo. Got a couple guys in the studio with me here. First up, original co-host. He is back from that terrible circumcision incident he had, which has been keeping him away for the last few weeks.
Got caught in his teeth.
Got caught in his teeth. Yeah, that was a problem. It is Justin. Hey, buddy.
What's up, man?
It's nice to see your face.
Exactly. It's been over a month.
Over a month.
Southwick show was the last time I seen you.
1 month sabbatical.
Boy, are
Something
we
like
glad to
that.
have him back.
Penises take a long time to heal.
Okay, well, this is going off the
Hey,
rails quickly.
hey, when you don't show up, the jokes have to happen.
It's fine. I'm an adult. I can handle it.
Also in studio with us,
I got that song.
I'm going to need you to tone it down.
Tom's not even drunk.
I'm going to need
Not
you
yet.
to tone
I
it
need to
down.
worry
As you
about
can
it.
see, that bottle's not even open.
Oh, man.
So let him finish. First.
It's Tom Cooper. He's back. Hey, buddy. Dude, this is going to be like 3 shows within like a 6-week period for you. That's impressive.
Sounds good.
That's
And
a lot. So
next week is.
I was going to say, because next week
Iron
you'll be
Man?
here too, right? Because we're going to do one after we get back. We might do the show a little earlier next week.
So you're planning on doing the show here? I didn't know if you guys were going to do the walk around.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, we are going to do a walk around.
We're going to do
of
some
types.
walk around stuff.
Well, the last time Travis and me tried to do that, it's kind of a hassle to walk around the pits. And
Because you don't have me. That's
No,
why.
we did that last year.
no, I'm not referring
For
to
the
that
show.
one. I'm referring to the time when it was just you and me the year before that.
Yeah.
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 Blade on you.
Do I got a what?
Blade on you.
No. Far shelf over there. There's some X-Acto knives. The masking shelf. So, anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Before we jump into this here, we've got a full show here. Like I said, we're going to talk Budds Creek. We're going to talk Perfect Season. We're going to talk Deegan
Silly
Danger
season.
Zone. We're going to do some silly
I wanna talk
season.
about SMX.
SMX. We have. I got a big rant about SMX.
Well, that's interesting too, but I just want to talk about SMX as a whole.
I'm going
Maybe
to
a little
rant.
MX of Nations.
I'm going to
yeah.
rant hard as fuck on SMX.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Duper
rant.
cross.
Oh, yeah.
Super duper Humpty Dumpty sat on
There's
the wall.
probably something that came out this week that you have not heard about yet, and I've been trying to track some shit down about it.
How the teens get paid?
Yes!
Is that the?
We will
We
get
got
to
a lot to
that.
talk about. We got a
We
lot to
will
talk
get
about.
to that. So,
Let me
we're gonna
start by prefacing this. The reason there's a bottle of booze on here is because for Unadilla, I made a bet that Aaron Plessinger, straight off of a contract extension, would podium.
Oh, I could.
And I just barely missed it. But if I would have had the bet for yesterday instead at Budds Creek, I probably would be.
Yep. But
Instead of
instead, I
bringing-
won it. So here's my bottle of Proper 12, which was not
I'm gonna
really my
christen
choice, but I just went with it. And yeah, so Tom's gonna drink out of it.
it. Well, we all are, but I'm going to start.
So, all right. Yeah, before we jump into this, just want to talk about the sponsors here. So, first off, show presented by Complete Racing Solutions. Their 2024 Elite US Team registration, I guess you'd call it, is now open. They are taking resumes. They are looking for 20 MX and 20 off-road riders. So, if you're looking for all that information, they've got like they have close to 300 U.S. amateur titles. They have all sorts of guys from 85cc up to all the vet classes. So if you think you have what it takes to be a Complete Racing Solutions elite team rider, would you quit singing over there, please?
Dude, it's such a good song.
Make sure to check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. They also don't want any helicopter parents. They don't want any wusses, any quitters, or anybody like that. So if you have those qualities, please do not bother applying because they don't want to deal with you.
Pretty much every amateur parent out there, don't go. Just every one of you. Just don't.
So, anyway, like I said, check them out, CompleteRacingSolutions.com. Link in the description down below. Also on board with us, TLR Coatings, Michigan's #1 custom powder coating shop, which is what we're sitting in here. Everything from two-tone wheels to motorcycle restoration stuff, we do it all. So, make sure to check us out, TLRCoatings.com. Link in the description. They're also on all the major social media networks. So go ahead. I'm going to really need you to stop this, dude. Like, it is hard to focus with you over there acting like a chucklehead like this, okay?
I'm going to move the X-Acto knife a little further away.
Oh, man. So, yeah. Also on board with us, Worx, Adept Creative Co, Isaac Nelson Designs. Worx going to bring us 450 class. Adept Creative Co going to bring us our 250 race recap. And as always, Isaac Nelson Designs going to bring us our Deegan Danger Zone.
The song that's in my head for those that are watching
boy, here we
is
go.
The Chats. It's a punk band out of Australia, and I've been hyped on them for a little bit now. So I'm going to see them in Grand Rapids. I'm going to see them Friday the 13th in Grand Rapids, actually.
That's weird.
Well, it's about time we have some new rock that's good.
I guess. I don't know. I don't listen to music that much anymore. I'm on like this is the sum total of the music I listen to. I listen to some lo-fi when I'm trying to relax my brain.
What does that mean?
It's a music type. You can go on YouTube and find it. It's just like it's essentially like just some really easy listening beats, like electronic beats that they put together.
Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So I listen to that sometimes to like quiet down my brain. If the brain fog is hitting, that will kind of straighten me back out. I listen to classical music, a little Mozart, a little
Really?
Beethoven action. Oh yeah,
You?
from time to time. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep, especially when I'm really thinking, like when the wheels get turning about the business stuff or the podcast stuff or whatever, I really start to land or go into that. And then I'll listen to, like, sometimes when I'm trying to nap, I'll put on a little easy listening, relaxing seaside jazz from YouTube and just play that while I'm napping, and it relaxes me out.
You
So
can call me mind blown right now. Justin, are you a musical guy? Are you a drummer?
I love music, but I listen to 90s rap and bluegrass.
I'm all about 90s rap's cool too.
And
Give me some
anything,
bluegrass, yep.
and he knows this, anything Mayday Parade.
Okay. Yeah, we've been there.
Yep.
Okay.
We've seen that concert.
okay. I mean,
Bluegrass. All
yeah.
right. I'm big about bluegrass right
Yeah.
now. So I saw Billy Strings right by my house maybe 2 months ago.
Okay.
Boy, it blew me away. It's like fucking heavy metal, but banjos. It was super cool.
Interesting.
Love it.
Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of bluegrass. I do. So like those Daytons I just did, those two-tone ones. When I'm two-toning, I will put on rap music. I don't know why. It just, for some reason, I can focus in real hard on it. I think it's because they're not really talking about anything.
I'm a flow guy. I feel
Yeah, but it like
Throw on some Biggie, some Tupac, some
no,
Eazy.
not even that. Like, dude, it's new stuff.
me
It's
all
like,
the time.
it's like new stuff, like Drake
Oh, shit.
and the
Little
Baby
21.
and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely terrible and just auto-tone.
Yeah, but for some reason, it like gets me in the zone to do that kind of focus for some reason. I don't know why. I couldn't explain it to you. Like, most of it's pretty garbage.
There is some of that though. I want to go. Sometimes I want to be in the mode where I'm listening to something that makes me feel like I'm in the middle of a crazy drug deal.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
just to get a little.
yeah,
swagger.
just
Oh,
like
so that's anything 21 Savage.
real badass. Yeah, that too.
Little 21's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Listen to some Kendrick, man.
So yeah, so there's our music. You're welcome, everyone.
Wow, that was great.
Okay. I finally got the prizes out. To everybody except there's one more dude. I think his name's Malachi in Canada. I haven't sent yours yet, bud.
Oh,
I
not
am.
these prizes.
No. Prizes that guys won. So I finally got those out. Thank you guys for sending the nice messages after I got that stuff to you. I apologize for it being so long. It's just the way things are. The Canadian guy there, yours is coming, but I have to do all the paperwork, and which is just time consuming, and I have to actually go to the post office instead of just print a label. So that stuff's going, and then I should be all done with that stuff. Any other housekeeping here? I don't think so.
Boy, it feels weird wearing this headset with no hair. Oh man. Last time I was in here, I had big ass long hair on the back of my head. Now I got it feels funny. How it goes.
Even though he gets
Shots
distracted,
fired.
at least it's better than having Cole on, where Cole's just,
shots
monotone
fired
the whole
over the
time.
bow here. Like, I'm over here balding, and this guy, oh man, it feels weird having my hair so short.
Well, you got a couple years on me, but not that many.
Yeah, I want to talk about it.
It's all right.
All right, so let's jump into this
I'm pretty
here.
sure you're older than him, Tom.
I'm 34. He's like 99.
Okay, you guys are the same age.
Yeah. When do you turn 35?
July 3rd. Redbud.
Oh,
That's
okay.
why every time you would see
So
me
I am-
Redbud before
yeah.
I remembered you, you're like, you're always. It's like it's my fucking
Hammered.
birthday, Redbud.
Fucking hammered.
Me, I don't know about that.
So, all right. So let's jump in here. 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Josh and Kayla, great moto people.
great
Worx,
people.
always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. What a unit.
I really wish Cole would have never brought that up.
What a unit, man. That's what I got to say. So make sure to check them out. If you need some gutters or some outdoor exterior modifications, make sure to look them up. Link in the description down below. And yes, I will tell you right now, they are not the cheapest people in the world for doing this kind of
You
stuff.
gotta pay to get good work,
but
so
it's
don't bitch about it.
quality.
Yeah, don't bitch about
Your gutters will be straight. We don't need that.
Don't
We're
complain.
only doing one camera. I don't have time to edit all three.
Oh, okay.
So, 450 race recap here. So let's fire right off. So,
450's first, eh?
yes, how we always roll, man. So we are now 20-0.
Impressive.
We now have our first 450 title. You should just name us Next Generation GOAT.
Well,
Stop it. Stop.
boy, I tell you
Stop.
what, Jet, when he had to come through the pack, had like almost that nervous. I don't know if you guys have ever had this feeling, but I've had the feeling, when you're running down a dirt road at dark at night and you get like this weird feeling that something's behind you and you fucking run really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was riding like that, like he was scared he was going to lose instead of just tiptoeing around like he normally does, just hauling ass. But like he had that like I gotta fucking go speed.
You know why?
It was really cool.
Title's wrapped. So now it's all focused on getting this perfect season.
Well,
that's what it is for him.
And I could say this since I haven't been on the last couple of shows, so we haven't been able to talk about Millville, the way Washougal, Unadilla. But the last couple rounds, and we'll get to Chase when we talk, about here in a minute. But this proves, though, that like he wants to do the perfect season, because there's been this talk, like the way we talk about this, the way Jet is head in the clouds. He's a kid. Does he really care about it? Dan Truman's talked about this. He you ask him about it, and like, is he taking it serious? But also, there's always been this talk of how hard is he really pushing? Like this has been in the debate. It's been beating a dead horse. But the last couple rounds have proven that he is pushing. He's making they're little, and Unadilla.
Everybody's gotten a little closer. Okay, Dylan's setup has improved. He's closer.
So
Chase is closer
because he's making mistakes that even if you go back to that second Moto Paula, when him and Chase were just mirroring each other, and granted the track was trashed, but even then he wasn't making those little mistakes. He wasn't pivoting out of corners. His hips were always level across. Yesterday you could see it. He was blowing. So he is pushing. He's going to that next level, which all the credit in the world. He's 20-0. He's killing it. Congratulations on the first championship. Many more to come. But I think this debunks the whole narrative that he's not trying anymore.
Here's the question: where's the peak? Okay, because
I don't think it's much higher.
You say he's pushing,
much higher.
But every time somebody comes up on him, a la Chase or something, he goes.
But Chase catches him though, and he stays with him. Chase has been his own worst enemy.
Yeah, but you weren't here. I believe. What was it? Was it Washougal?
I wasn't here for Millville, Washougal.
Yeah, where he talked about like, look, I knew Chase was coming, and I slowed up because I was like, I might as well take some breaths so that way when he gets to me, I can drop the hammer and go.
But he didn't pull away from him,
which
though.
is
That's
exactly what happened, though. But he dropped the hammer and maintained the whatever.
And he did, but he didn't pull away from him, which, like I said, debunks the whole theory about Jet. Like, if he wants to wick it up, he can just drop these dudes, and he can't.
Yeah.
When Chase is on it, they're the same speed. It's just Chase is his own worst enemy. And I'm not taking anything away from Jet. Jet has had an amazing season. He's killed it. Like I said, he's got the first one, many more to come. But this kind of goes back to the conversation that we've had about, like, what's Jet's next level? And I'm here to tell you, I don't think it's much higher. It's just when he's doing it, it's kind of like the old Christophe Pourcel days. Robbie Raynard, Kevin Windham. He doesn't look like he's trying. And Stu's talked about this many of times, because I think Ricky is on the side like of what you and most people were. Stu, I think I have the same thought as Stu. I've said this before, that can he get much higher as far as faster? No, but just even more consistent, I think, is the thing. Because right now, when him and the last couple rounds when Chase has been on him, I think Jet's close to 100%. It's just the difference of, is he going to be able to tweak things? He's only 20.
Yeah, I mean, the only person who's going to really know that is Jet himself. Have you seen the stuff about the rear tire yesterday?
Oh, just all the comment, like him
where
talking
he didn't run the paddle.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, so he wanted to give these guys a chance, and he still fucking waxed them.
Oh, that's dumb.
AP also used
AP,
so he found out.
That was funny, because AP was like, I also didn't run the paddle, which was hilarious.
Well, I mean, running paddle at Buds, even on the start, they don't even rip the start that deep at Buds anyways.
No, but everybody said, I don't know if you've listened to stuff, everybody said that track got super hard yesterday compared to what it's been.
Riding at Buds with a paddle tire is the worst thing, not only because it packs up so much, but because how off-cambered it is. Yeah. That's like the worst. That'd be the stupidest mistake. I don't know why anybody was running a paddle at all.
Get the start, man.
Yeah, but it's with Jet.
Is that you?
I don't think Jet is super worried about getting the start as it is. Like, he wants to. My whole point is that the last couple rounds have debunked this whole thing of where is Jet and how much better is he. Everybody else, yes. But Chase, when Chase is on, and even that first moto.
Unplug it and, like, kind of twist it all the way around. It'll tighten up. Like, twist the actual microphone itself. It'll tighten that thing up. Yeah, and twist that too. But unplug that wire so you can twist all the way around. Continue.
Even the first moto at Unadilla, when Dylan was catching Chase, then obviously Chase went down and he closed the gap on Jet. And was he managing? Whatever. But you look at the lap times, it's not taking anything away from Jet. It's giving Jet all the flowers. It's just, I think we're now finally seeing what Jet, his peak is, and I don't see how it's much higher. I think he can go a little faster, but we've talked about this. How many laps could he maintain going much faster? Because we go back to the Stu and RC days.
Yeah.
You can only go so fast on a 450 for so long before you're going to implode. it's not, you can't run that pace even at Jet for 35 minutes. It's not sustainable. Either your body's going to give out or the bike's going to give out.
But let me ask you this. So he goes 22-0. Let's just
I don't know.
Let's just say he fucking goes 3-0 for what's it called?
Maybe, okay.
How mentally broken is everybody else who's been riding this?
Chase that
with
second
him?
moto shows me that he's not mentally broken at all. There was
I don't know, man.
nothing to prove that he was mentally broken.
You go 25-0 on your. The only 450 race he's lost was that one moto at Designations. Outside of that,
he lost a qualifier. Too.
Outside of that, he's won every single damn race he's been on a 450.
Do you think Eli Tomac makes the same mistakes that Chase does? If
Dude,
he gets close
Eli
to Jet?
Tomac's openly admitting he's like, dude, I don't even know what to think because I've never been in the position he's in.
Not the undefeated. Do you think Eli Tomac, take Chase out and say it's Eli Tomac, do you think Eli Tomac makes the mistakes that Chase does if he would have been that close to Jet?
I don't know how this goes, to be honest
No.
with you, because everybody knows I'm a Jet homer, and I literally thought, like, okay, he's going to come out and he's going to wax dudes. There was not a part of me that in any serious sense of the conversation said, he's going to go perfect season freshman year.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
There
saw
was
that.
not one part, as big of a homer as I don't think even Daniel Blair before the season was going, yeah, he's going to go 22-0. No way.
It's a real long shot.
Yeah, so seeing this, I'm just like, dude, I just don't know what the ceiling is at this point. Do I agree that I think he's pushing harder than what we really thought like the first 4 or 5 rounds? Yeah, he probably is closer to the edge.
His mistakes prove that.
But at the same time, as I said, every time somebody comes and challenges per se, like he goes individual percentages faster to maintain what he's doing. And yes, they might get it down to a second, just a smidge under a second, but nobody's even really challenged a pass on him. And outside of yesterday, when he had that one shit start, Honda's got that start map and everything for him dialed.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. I mean, yesterday was his worst start. It was 6th place.
Second year, too, eh?
Yeah. So...
No, I don't disagree with that. I just look at it and I go, I've been critical, and I'll say it when we talk about Chase. Eli Tomac would not make the mistakes that Chase has made when he's got close.
Yeah.
Chase rushes things. He doesn't use his brain. I say this a million times. Eli Tomac has been there, done that. He's won everything. He's not going to get flustered like Chase and be like, oh my God, I'm right on him. I got to make it now and rush it and then make a dumb mistake. Eli be like, can I make this pass? Maybe, maybe not. I'll wait for it the next lap. I closed on him. I know I can run his pace. If I pick it up and he picks it up, I'll go pick it up. I don't see how Eli makes the same mistakes that Chase does, and I think that Eli would have beaten Jet already before.
I will agree with you. I don't think he's perfect season if Tomac's here.
No.
I'm not going to argue that with you at all. I think Tomac would have beat him. But my real question mark in my head, which who knows if we'll ever know outside of the Supercross, is Jet's on a level of do I think he could match Tomac's pace? Yes. So now if he starts in front of Tomac, even at the pace Tomac is Tomac willing at this point in his career to go that next step to get by him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Now,
don't
get me wrong.
thinks he could beat him.
Huh?
I think Eli the last couple of years has proven that if he feels like he can win, he's
Yeah.
going to go. If he's not, he's going to take what is given.
I think it's just about all these guys that are real high competitors. They all got that dog in them, right? You give Eli Tomac the rabbit right in front of him, he's gonna fucking chase it down.
And that's the thing. Well, will he
Or
pass
die
Jet?
trying.
We're going to find out. That's the great thing. We're going to find out the Supercross season. And I'm not saying if Eli would have raced him this year, he'd have beat him for the outdoor title. Let me make that straight. I'm not saying that. I don't know. I just know. And this is coming from a guy who's been, everybody who knows me and watches the show knows how critical I've been of Eli until right around 2020 when he got the Supercross title. I stopped being super critical. And people even in the comments have said that.
You've backed off a lot, especially this year when he was about to do a third.
Oh, he would have won that. He would have won that title, and then you start. Where is he? Anyways, Eli Tomac doesn't make the same mistakes that Chase Sexton makes. It's proven. It's fact. It's not a no, he wouldn't. He's either, if he knows he can beat you, more than likely he's going to beat you because history shows that he'll beat you when he knows he can beat you. If not, hey man, you were better than me today.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the points.
Yeah.
I just know that he's not going to make the same mistakes that Chase does because mentally he doesn't get defeated. He's been there, done that. Jet is trying to do what Eli Tomac has done. Eli's like, I've already done that, kid. Like, I respect the hell out of you, but I've already done what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I just look at it and I go, we're going to find out in the Supercross season how good. I guess my question is that if Eli does beat Jet, what does that say about Eli? Not what does it say about Jet. What does it say about Eli? Jet's got a long career ahead of him.
I mean,
but does this cement that like Eli is like the old guard is still better than the new guard?
Eli is in that one of the greats talk there, So like if he beats him, like I mean honestly for him, I don't think there's anything to gain by beating him. It's just like, yeah, kid, like you're good, but I'm not that old yet. If Jet beats him, then okay. I have one more question for both of you, and we'll start with you because he's been talking a lot.
Yep.
And this is super hypothetical. I don't want to hear you scream and yell. If Jet goes 17-0 Supercross, first person to ever do it next year, and he does it rookie season, let's just say this. If he goes 17-0 Supercross, is that automatic GOAT status?
No, it will never be.
Okay. What do you think?
For the rest of history, as far as I'm concerned, you'll never be the GOAT. Just like whatever NFL quarterback comes in is really good next, I can totally see it being you're still not fucking Tom Brady, right? So
this is true, but
I think Tom and me are always going to be because that's our era. Like we grew up in that era. We saw two perfect seasons.
Yeah.
Like we were there in person. We saw it. We know what it looked like.
It was a lot different between James and Ricky, big time.
And that's what I've always said, the difference why, and it's not Jet's fault. But Jet, outside of racing Eli this Supercross season, we still don't know what Eli we're going to get. He may not be the same. I know he's walking around and fucking defying the laws of physics right now. But, like, we don't know what Eli we're going to get. Jet will never race a guy that is as good as Stu. That's the difference. And it's not Jet's fault. It's not Jet can't control that. So that's why, and I've said this before, it's not fair to him.
Because there will never be another Stu.
Well,
and I just...
Well, for right now, you never know. One of these kids might pop out of nowhere and just
we're gonna get to that.
Ridiculous.
We're going to get to that because I haven't been on the last... I'm very disappointed with some of these 250 kids right now.
Well, we'll talk about that too.
But no, Jet, all the props to him. I'm happy for the kid. He's obviously earned it. He's a pleasure to watch ride. It's a fucking insane what he's doing. Mm-hmm. It's not taking anything away from him. It's just, I think that the last couple rounds has debunked the theory that he's just, I'm out there on a Sunday cruise. Oh no, man, he's not. He's getting pushed.
Yeah,
and he's maintained it.
So you're out on the GOAT talk if he goes 17. I mean,
no, because you gotta beat the level of competition that Ricky beat. And I understand somebody in already the comment has already made this comparison. They've talked about it, but I'm sorry. Are you saying Aaron Plessinger or Kevin Windham is not as good as Aaron Plessinger? Are you saying that Tim Ferry is not as good as Justin Barsha? Are you like I don't know. Made the comparisons and I get it, but I kind of think it's bullshit.
I just think there's a huge and this is like I said, this is totally hypothetical. I just think if he is the first one to do an undefeated Supercross season, there's a lot of heavy conversations have to be had when we get to the end of his career because he'll
be awesome for sure.
I don't think it's possible to go undefeated in Supercross.
You go 2 for 2 as far as 450 titles, like both rookie years here.
Like Dunge did?
Yeah, like Dunge did. And all of a sudden it's like, okay.
RV did it.
And I mean, look at who we're talking about. Dunge and RV. Again, they're all-timers on the list. Dunge and all-timer, it's just a different conversation. Yeah, is a different conversation because of how he became an all-timer, where like Jet is not that. Like, dude, Jet's won in 20 motos already. So
I will just say I don't ever think we'll see undefeated Supercross season.
I don't know.
It's so unlikely because all he has to do is get a bad start, and the level that he's going to have to push on a Supercross track, it starts getting a lot more sketchy on a 450 on a Supercross track.
I don't think so either. But again, I didn't think we were going to see a rookie do a perfect season.
Now, if he goes and wins, I think the all-time record for most wins in a Supercross season is 14. It's either Stu or McGrath.
No, it's McGrath, and I
think Stu had 13.
I thought it was 15.
It might be 15.
Again, the king, right? You're never gonna have a king too because it's the fucking king.
I just don't know if you can go undefeated in 450 Supercross. I just think it's too unlikely because he goes down in the first turn. You have to, because these tracks are so cookie cutter nowadays.
No, I'm not disagreeing
with you. And it's like, will Jet want to go? Well, Jet will look at it and go, do I really want to try to do this?
Yeah,
like, is it worth it to him?
I'm just saying, if that happens, there's some heavy conversations got to start happening about just what this kid is going to be.
I think the GOAT conversation is hard, but I think you automatically could start putting him as one of the all-timers.
Yeah.
I won't take that away from him.
For sure. Yeah. For me, you have that comparison, and one of the tough parts about it is okay, so you're a Formula One guy, right? That would be like saying Senna, comparing him to Lewis Hamilton. I don't even fucking like him, but
Yeah.
they're both at the top of their game, but it's a fucking totally different game. Senna's driving around with no power steering, no traction control. Lewis Hamilton could drive with his eyes closed because it's got assists for everything.
Or it's
Yeah.
like
Totally
comparing
different.
Max
Yeah.
Verstappen right now to Michael Schumacher. Like, you just...
Yeah, look, here's the thing.
It's conversation.
I'm just having the conversation, or like stirring the pot a little
Yeah.
bit right now. You know, this is all YouTube.
Oh, you're not
BS.
the only one.
So like whatever, but because we haven't seen him ride Supercross yet. Okay, obviously the outdoors is way better than anticipated. We'll have to see what Supercross brings.
Very, very impressive.
I was gonna say, looking at what we're looking at right now,
It's hard to think he's
It's
not going
hard
to be able
to think
because
he's not, yeah.
It's because he's as good as he is on a Supercross track.
So, but I don't know. I mean, there's the potential. We got to remember, he just turned 20. So even if he does this till he's 30, he's got 10 seasons. There's the potential, if he is this good through his whole career and maintains not being injured, that he could break every single record in the book. He could outwin McGrath in Supercross. He could outdo Ricky's titles and wins. And I mean, it could get really, really like, this dude is the all-time.
The chances are very low, but
It's very low. Yes.
possibilities there, and the chances of someone being able to do it after him are also very low.
Yeah.
Like my career, and it wasn't fucking Jet Lawrence, but like I was done by like 23 or something like.
Yeah.
The chances of you getting to 38 or whatever these guys are trying to shoot for, they're
Because let's be real, at some point he's going to have a bike malfunction too.
It's a generational talent thing. Okay?
Look, he's living up to all of the hype, then like and more that it was ever on him.
I made this point last week. This was what I was upset that you weren't here, because he won the title last week, and I was like, you know what? Me and Justin sat here and we have argued and argued and argued and argued about Jet, because you were like, wait till he gets on a big bike, and now I wanted to be like, look what we did. Here we are. So I just wanted to rub your nose in it just a little bit, okay?
That's fine.
I mean, I love you, but we argued about this a lot, and you were like, big bike, big bike, big bike, and I'm like, well, now
and
we
he's
jumped
great.
on a
Hey,
big bike.
and I gotta give him all. I gotta give him all the credit in the world. Like, I don't really have a dog in the fight because, like, I'm not a Chase Sexton fan. I like him. I love his dad. I'm not an Eli Tomac fan. I respect the hell out of him. He's on the Mount Rushmore, but like, I don't have a dog in the fight because, like, my guy, like, he's not battling for wins right now.
Yeah.
You know, and he fucking hates the bike he's riding. So,
Yeah.
like, I don't have a dog in the fight because of the fact that if he wins, he wins. It's great to watch, but like, I don't really care because he's not racing anybody that I like.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say.
All right, moving on here. We'll talk to you here.
Great.
AP goes 4-3 for second.
Oh, if only my bet from
Week-
Unadilla had been for Budds Creek, but that's okay.
Week late and $1 short there, buddy.
That's all right. I'm glad to see him extended also with KTM, because I think that not only is it good, I mean, apparently they figured out their forks this week, but not only is it good, but I'm glad that he's remaining in our paddock, because he's a good guy and he's great for the sport, and like my nieces and nephews love him and everything else. So it's like,
He does it for Dale.
yeah, fuck yeah. I don't care about that, but just like,
Yeah.
we want good people. Keep going.
That's like a quiet second place. Like, I didn't even realize yesterday when I was watching it that he got second place, because it was like 4-3 and we weren't really watching it. We were just watching Jet battle and like see if he could continue the perfect season here. So
He looked good.
yeah, I mean, that's fantastic.
The
Second
dirt at
place.
Ironman is very similar to that hard base we saw at Budds Creek. So,
But it's greasy on top at Ironman because it's got that topsoil, so it's real
depends
greasy.
on how the weather and the watering is going to be. But let's just look at it this way: for Aaron Plessinger and Chase Sexton, both it's kind of a home race.
Mm-hmm.
So they both are going to come out there like, fucking, let's go on a last hurrah for the year.
Yeah.
And Jet's going to come in on this hard base, slippery track and try to keep it going. It'll be fun for us to be there and witness.
Look, here's what I'm really pumped on. We are going to get to witness a championship party. I've never been around one.
Oh,
So,
you're talking about Hunter Lawrence?
well, you know what?
Outside of that bike, letting go.
Either my
Right.
best friend's going to win, a la Hunter Lawrence, which that'll be fun. Although I heard his championship parties are a little subdued, but that'll still be interesting to be
That
around.
seems right for Hunter.
Yeah, or, well, I mean, Justin Cooper could win. That would be really interesting. I don't know how that would go.
Hopefully it's fun, because I have a whole bunch of pro hockey players probably coming out. A couple of Edmonton Oilers,
Cool.
New York Ranger, a few of those guys. So it might be pretty fun for us. We're going to find out.
If Jay Coop won the title, his father-in-law would probably buy him an island
Maybe. Who knows?
because he has that kind of money.
I
Or
didn't know that.
His father-in-law is like fucking a billionaire.
That's how he flies on these private jets all the
They
time.
own
I
pharmaceutical.
don't know nothing about that, but sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, he flies.
Pharma?
Yeah, pharmaceutical shit.
That pisses me off.
It's not even in this country.
I'm a business guy, so like I'm all about like identifying good business. and
Yeah.
using some of the things, or like, hey, maybe I should look into this industry. I'm fucking all the way out on pharma. Matter of
yeah.
fact, I'll bury them motherfuckers.
There was a
100%.
There was a rumor going around that like since he's getting married, why he can't do MX of Nations. There was a rumor, and you know how rumors you don't know, but there's a rumor going around that like his father-in-law told him like, hey, once you get married to my daughter, like I want you to quit, and you just won't have to worry about money ever again. But you don't need to ride dirt bikes anymore.
Well,
Funny thing is like Jay Coop doesn't have his family, but it's not like Jay Coop's broke.
no.
Like he's made good money in his
Yeah.
career already.
Sounds like an easy way to lose your old lady.
We'll get to Jay Coop here later. But yeah, so AP, that's a super quiet second, but that's super great, and he won't be totally out anyway when he's done with Moto, because I hear that KTM really wants him to go over to the GNCC side and do that. Like I heard
Yeah,
they were
last time I was on the
trying
show,
to
you told
move
me
him.
that he was
Yeah.
going to leave Moto to go there.
Well,
and then,
no,
like,
no, that's
Tuesday
not.
afterwards.
That they were trying to do that. From what I understand.
How
But-
weird is it to think that the 2024 KTM team is going to be Chase Sexton, Aaron Plessinger, and Marvin Muscan for at least Supercross?
Marv's going to stick around, eh?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, no, it's already been in the works.
Confirmed that Marv-
It's not confirmed, but it's been in the works.
that's
They're
interesting.
trying to keep him around for Supercross because obviously his Supercross season got derailed.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I don't think it's for. I think it's just Supercross. I think he's done after that. Which good on KTM because I've said
Marv?
this before. Like, yeah, I love Marv. I didn't like him in the beginning, but I really like the dude. So
Yeah.
I think he
Great,
deserves
great
one last
personality,
ride.
big time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Jason Anderson goes 2.5 for third.
Super sick.
Super
Well,
good
watching
day.
him ride, I mean,
Yeah.
I think that it's good for his confidence going into SMX.
He's built a lot over the however many rounds of outdoors he's done. Could you remember the first one where he literally was like fading back to 14th?
Oh, Southwick, where he just
Yeah.
quit, where he just quit the second moto because he was dog shit tired.
Well, he didn't quit. He kept going.
Well,
just
yeah,
rolling
I mean,
around.
you know what I mean. Like he
Yeah.
laid up a lot because he just had nothing in the tank.
Yep.
Good for Jason. I love watching the kid ride. He's got a very loose, hang off the back style, just really light.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for me, I look at it as, is this just building blocks going into SMX because we all know
yeah.
it, and we'll talk about it with Barsha. Those guys, they're just building for the final 3 rounds of the push.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
their biggest thing is like I want to go in and try to do something there.
Yeah. Do we know, is Anderson's contract still through next year, or is
I think
he?
so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because that's why Dylan's not going to Cowie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I would like to see that 14 on Cowie.
Oh, we're gonna get to talking about.
We'll
Dylan.
get to that, yeah.
I'm super upset.
So Sexton goes 9.2 for fourth. Dude,
He's so good.
Our
He's so
boy,
good.
our boy Isaac Gonzales probably had. I don't know if it was his or if he posted somebody else's, but I saw it on his Instagram meme of the week, which was a picture of Sexton that said "felt cute, might push the front end a couple times today."
Dude, it's just
It's unreal.
it's so fucking frustrating
How
watching
about
him because
practice?
I'm like, why are you? He just rushes things so much, and it's funny because how many times have I brought this up about he doesn't use his brain, he reacts,
Mm-hmm.
and then they talk about it. Ricky talks about it the whole practice show, and I'm like, I've been trying to say this about Chase,
and
for
then
the
he
last
does
2
it
years.
right on camera in front of us.
It's like, dude, it's so
unreal.
frustrating, and that's exactly what he did at Unadilla the first moto,
Mm-hmm.
and then he did it again that second moto. But the thing I love about Chase though. And granted, Jet was managing, and apparently the cross flag screwed him in lappers, and lappers were terrible yesterday, just like they were at Unadilla. But how crazy do you think Chase felt when he came around that 2 laps and he came down the hill, coming off Henry Hill, and he can all of a sudden see Jet again? And then all of a sudden you just see, and this is why I say I'm proud of Chase, because there was a moment that he's like,
he rode
like, hey,
super
man,
well.
I'm good, I'm whatever. And then mechanic's probably going, hey, dude, like, you're closing. And then he had the dog in him because he's like, all right, I'm going to push to the end. And then he gave it everything that last lap. And even Weege, like, his voice cracked. He's like, holy like, there was a moment that I was thinking, is this really how the perfect season is going to end? He's going to go from 8 seconds down.
Yeah.
Jet's going to get all flustered because all of a sudden Chase came out of nowhere. Shit's happening real quick. And Chase is going to make a last lap push from 8 seconds back. And he did fucking Chase things at the beginning of the moto, put himself in that situation to begin with.
Yeah, that was wild, that last lap there, because he was just
close.
pushing it.
He was close.
And he did. He got
Literally
close.
pushing it.
But it's like,
Literally pushing it.
Yeah.
it's so frustrating though. I'm like, dude.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
like, how have you not gotten this shit figured out?
And that KTM's not going to fix this. This is actually the guys I was watching with at the campground yesterday said something, and they were like, "Oh, like, is that like a bike thing?" And they weren't like moto people, but whatever. And I was like, "No," I was like, "That's full blown a technique thing. Like, this is something." And I don't think he fixes it. Honestly, I hate to say this, at this point, I don't know he fixes this until he gets away from his dad, as far as for for a coach.
The crazy thing is that Kier actually knows what he's talking about. Kier
Yeah.
used to be a pro back in the day.
and
It's not like he's a dude that's never ridden a dirt bike.
I don't have anything against them or anything, but it's like, dude, now we're what are we 28 rounds deep? How many times have we seen this? This is a technique thing. This is not a bike issue.
You know the thing too, and I can't remember who said this to me, and I made the comment. I'm like, Chase he's 24 now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is he going to figure it out? Granted, the comparison I'm about to make, but I go, Eli didn't get figured out for a long time.
Yeah.
Chase is not Eli by any means, but like, I can't remember who I was talking to, but they made this, and I'm like, I guess I didn't think about it that way. Because what was the knock on Eli for a long time? His
Mental,
dome. He was
yeah.
up here. It was never anything else. It was always up in the. It was always up in the.
Because he'd make the dumb mistakes.
Like when he blew his shoulders out.
But man, I just don't know. Like,
I'm not saying that's going to happen,
just
but
don't-
we got to look at it. Like Eli finally got to figure it out, and then look what he's done.
But what I'm saying is, I just don't know. I don't remember Tomac doing every single round and the same thing. It was always like different little dumb mistakes, which again we attributed to mental. We're like, Chase is like the same thing, and it's like one little thing. Like if he were to get just some riding coach that's not his dad and work with him and actually maybe he needs to call Rhino.
Like James Stewart.
Yeah, well,
we saw that.
we saw. Yeah, and you see that video of that kid asking him that question.
No.
So there's this kid. I guess he's pretty big online gaming or something. It's like El Puppy Vlogs or something.
Okay.
I don't know. He was on Hopper's show on Friday, but there's a video of him.
Vlogs guy was on Hopper's show.
Yeah, he went up and asked Sexton at, was it Washougal? He was like, "Hey man, what do you think about James telling you to tuck the front so that like you feel better about losing to Jet?" And he was like, "What?" And then he's like, "Yeah, like Stu said, at Southwick that you should just tuck the front so that way you don't feel as bad about losing." And he was not super stoked about
No, because
that.
I don't
pissed off just sitting here thinking about it.
No, because I don't honestly think Chase and James left on the best terms. I don't have any like.
I don't think so.
I don't
either.
have any like
Yeah.
actual. I've heard things, and then you like listen.
Listen to
Yeah.
what James says.
I don't think
talking
those
shit every
two.
week.
Yeah, I don't think those two left on the best terms. Don't quote me on that, but that's just what I've heard, and
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people have heard that. Honestly, I don't think Chase necessarily needs a riding coach. I think he needs somebody like what Ricky's talked about. He needs somebody that knows how to ride a dirt bike, but is more on the mental side of things.
Rhino.
Rhino.
He needs Rhino.
He does, because Rhino, say what you
Honestly-
want about him, but Rhino is like, he's a dog, and he's got the mental thing under lock. He's
Yep.
fucking crazy, but
Yep.
But
Yeah.
it's frustrating to watch him because I'm like, dude, you have the speed to beat this kid. You know you can beat him, and then every fucking time you do the same shit all the time. Sextoning. He just keeps doing it.
Yep.
He's so good, you guys. He's so good.
He is so good.
He makes similar mistakes while he's going faster than anybody else and faster than the bike and the track can really allow him to, right? So a lot of times he's pushing the front end and stuff, and I've had times like that, but I wasn't going fucking Chase's speed.
No.
So you get into those spots, and it's like you can really rag on the guy, but he's going up faster than he really should be able to go, trying to catch these guys. Tough spot.
Very James Stewart-esque
I
in
don't
a sense.
For me, I'm not. It's not even that I'm necessarily like trying to be critical of him. I think it's more. It just frustrates me because the kid is so good, and he should have won more championships because he has so much talent.
Yeah.
And
It's early still, though.
it is. He's only 24.
He's got one. He's
Yeah.
got an SX title.
Yeah. It's frustrating because I think watching him, especially because watching him grow up. I mean, I've watched the kid since he was on 50s. It's frustrating because it's like, dude, if you just calm down a little bit and just use your brain in that moment, just a little bit.
Yep.
Like, dude, I honestly, I believe he would have already beaten Jet by now had he been able, because he's been so.
I will
so
say
close.
though, he needs to win one of these titles without having it kind of
Given to him?
Because
Yeah.
let's face it, what's the talk about the 250 Supercross titles?
Oh,
Like
Fortner,
especially the
yeah,
first one.
The Fortner
that
one.
Fortner had him until Fortner went out.
Yeah.
Second one, he kind of won on his own, I guess we'll say, but nobody really talks about the second one.
And there was some fuckery going on.
Yeah,
there.
and now you've got the 450 title. And
They
it's like,
got
well,
given
why
to
did he
him.
win that? Well, because Tomac hurt himself. So
Yeah.
he does need to win one of these to really get in. Otherwise, I'm scared he's going to have a very similar thing like Dunge. If it's kind of like, oh, well, he just podiumed them to death,
Hey, man.
essentially.
Go beat Jet at all 3 SMX rounds, and that'll shut shit up real quick.
Yeah, well,
Something about Chase that would be interesting is that Chase often pushes the front end. Doesn't really wash it. He just pushes it. And, well, for an example, you never saw Villapoto do that because he steers the bike with the rear wheel. Well, the Honda that Chase is on, the way they've set it up, it's really for him to come in and poke into the corner instead of trying to power through it, right? okay, when you get on a different brand, let's just say he goes to KTM, and the balance of the bike is different. Maybe that makes him ride a little bit differently too.
Well, and
I've had that myself.
Maybe.
I think the flex of that chromoly steel frame is also going to help him because of how technically sound he is. I think compared to the Honda, where when that bike, and Stu's talked about it, when it starts stepping out on him, not the flex to bring it back, because Chase has so much lower body strength. I think that KTM, they're being a little bit of give there. Now, sometimes
everybody says that KTM's stiffer than the Jap bikes.
Yeah, it's because the team stiffen the shit out of them. They start bracing the frames. I think if I'm Chase, I go in, don't fucking touch that bike. Don't add shit to it. Let me ride the stock version, and I'll go from there.
But
we know with KTM, they don't allow you to do that.
All right, so moving on. Barsha goes 5-4 for 5th.
Great.
Okay. That's
welcome back.
Yep, there we are.
Does he, God, dude,
that was rough last week for him, wasn't it?
I know. I felt bad for him.
Yep.
Same thing, building, going into SMX. Do we think he gets that final spot on the team for MX of Nations over AP? Because let's be real, right now it's looking like it's going to be Chase, Deegan, and either Barsha or AP. RJ's out. RJ's
I don't think Chase is going.
Oh, you think he's going now?
I don't know. So supposedly Honda said they'll support him, and Chase says he wants to go, but there's no chance I believe he's going to go. He is going to go straight to that KTM, to Baker's factory, and start riding that KTM. There's just no way. Like, he can say all the right things right now so that he keeps the people off his back. There's no way he's going to go.
Well, then this totally goes against what we talked about a month and a half ago.
I think it's going to be AP, Barsha, and Deegan. But then I saw a rumor today that Deegan doesn't want to go.
That seems
Don't get me wrong. I
false.
probably would send Deegan, but
he's the best.
It's very uncommon to take a rookie.
He's the best. He's the best 250 American rider.
You know why I want to see him? Because I want to see him and Lucas Kunin.
Normally you don't send a rookie, though, not because you want him to win. It's because you're kind of protecting the rookie.
Yeah.
I just don't see it with how prideful he is, him not wanting to go.
That's what was
especially going to France,
any of them,
going into France into enemy territory, where for the first time in his life, and this is not me hating on Deegan, he's actually not going to be cheered because we know how the French fans are.
Who knows, France. Man?
I don't know, man. Like the good as the French,
Deegan Colt runs deep, bro.
But as good as the French team is, and I would say the French fans are the craziest fans in all of moto. I don't know. I just want to personally go because I'm a big Lucas Kunin fan, and I want to see those two because they're fucking fireworks right there.
Yeah.
So, if just say Chase does go, who do you give it to? Barsha, AP? Do you think it all goes on how they perform at Ironman, or like what you've seen already? Like, would you have a choice in your mind? All right, Tom. What do you think?
Oh, it's tough because if the race was next week, I probably would send AP because Justin's kind of getting ready. But the race is fucking 2 months from now, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you got time if you're Justin Barsha. It's a tough call.
And you don't have to determine it till, 30 days before or something?
I think that they're going to wait until Chicago.
Okay.
SMX. Honestly, if Chase doesn't go, as much as he would be our best pick, sending AP and Barsha might not actually be a bad thing because you want to talk about the two most prideful dudes in the 450 class. Like, they're not going to give up at least.
Like, I mean, for what our options are right now, AP, Barsha, and Deegan sounds like an okay team to me.
I mean, we're not going to win, but I think we can podium with that team.
I was going to say, it's a team that at least stands a chance.
And they're not going to give up. That's all I give a shit about. I don't want people.
United States and Australia are going to be podium, but who's the third?
Belgium and France. It's going to be Belgium.
Battle it out, yeah. France will be really good because they're in France. So
Belgium is going. Belgium is going with Geerts, Kunin, and Everts.
Yeah, I go back to like what I said before. The only reason I think Chase goes at all is to run that number 1 plate. That's it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't think he cares.
I would never say he doesn't care. I would never say that.
I mean, it's a race that you got to go spend $20,000 fucking dollars to go to.
It's the most prestigious race as a racer, especially for someone that's a patriot like Chase is. There's nothing.
Yeah, I guess he is pretty prideful. I guess
there is nothing more.
I'm very patriotic.
Travis is very anti-MX of Nations, man.
It's fucking stupid.
He's barely a racer.
You gotta pay $20,000 to fucking go over to a fucking foreign country and get booed. Like,
you think Chase Sexton gives two shit about whatever it costs him to go to France? No, he wants to go and win for his country. Do you remember watching those two celebrating last year?
Yeah, which was sweet when you're in the U.S. and it doesn't cost you $20,000 to go to a race.
Nothing.
But when I got to take my whole crew across the fucking
I think we're
pond
gonna be back in the States next year
to go do it. Where?
Surprisingly, Millville's been in talk, but I don't see how that's possible.
Anyway, all right, let's move it on here because we've been at these 450s for almost an hour. All right, so your boy Dylan goes 3-9 for 6th. That was okay.
Terrible starts, man.
Yep.
Bike looked good at Unadilla. He looked great.
I mean, at least he didn't sleep like he did at Unadilla on the line.
Yeah, or his whole shot device didn't break. Dude,
that too.
the first moto, he worked his way through the second moto, but the first moto he was really good. It's just kind of reminiscent of 2021. It took him 20 minutes to get going.
Yeah.
Now we find out he was sick. Yeah, I mean,
Have you heard anything about where he's going next year?
can we talk about that later? Actually, that's something I want to talk
Sure.
about.
No problem.
I'm not.
We got some silly
I'm not
season
super pumped.
Pipes Motorsports Group.
No, man, I'm glad that he's getting some shit figured out on that bike, but yeah, I mean, dude, it was just a typical Dylan day the way his season's going. Just shit.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating for him because I think that first moto Unadilla, I think he's like, oh my god, I'm back.
Yeah, we're
He
back.
looked really good there,
Yeah.
And then it's like, fuck, no, I'm not.
Yeah. AC goes 7-6 for 7th. He
Looked
whole shot at that
awesome.
first moto. Yeah. So it looked really good. I think that's still this just falls in the arm thing. So we'll see if the stem cells help.
Do you think he's ever the same again?
I don't know. I talked to Mike Grondal the other day.
Yeah.
He told me he went and got some stem cell stuff done. Instantly made him 10 times better.
But how
That's
long?
all
Do
I've
you,
ever heard is about it.
how long do you think though it's gonna take? I mean, we don't know it's stem cells. This is still fairly new.
He's got multiple things already cold frozen for when the season's over, so he can go back to Kansas and get it done again multiple times here.
All right, so again,
So
that's
maybe.
my question for
Kansas?
Yeah, somewhere in Kansas is where AC's getting it done.
No shit.
Yeah.
I guess then my bigger question is that do you guys think he ever is a guy that's threatening for wins again?
I
He's got
think that
that
he's not at his potential yet, honestly.
He's got that speed, dude. It's just he can't hold on.
He's 25, right? 26.
Yeah.
25
So
or
he's got
26?
like another 5 years worth here.
I mean, he's got he extended the contract, right?
He's doing exactly what we said he needed to do, though.
Yeah.
Think about it. He's finished all of these races.
That's all he's ever wanted to do. Is just finish a whole 450
finish all the
season.
laps. So, like, once he finishes all the laps, sweet.
Could you imagine if he came out in Supercross season and all of a sudden it's like 2021 AC and he's just like winning it? Like
If he can hold on, there's a real possibility.
Hey man, just take out all the whoops and just make them straightaways.
On the broadcast, they just talked, I forget if it was Unadilla or Buds, they just talked about how he hadn't been able to train upper body the whole season, and then now the last handful of weeks he's been training and he's been so much better. He's not at his potential yet.
No.
He's still improving. Right?
No.
So, like, I wouldn't count him out. He's so talented.
He's great for the sport. I'm happy that he's able to still even ride a dirt bike with as much shit as he's been through.
100%.
He's great for the sport. When he's done racing, he's going to be a great analyst. He's very well spoken. It's just a good thing when you have AC in the sport. It's just sometimes I think I get bummed for him because he knows what he should have been, and I don't want him. And it doesn't seem like it because he's had this newfound way of thinking with the ayahuasca trip and all that. It kind of, hey, like where I'm at right now is where I'm supposed to be, and then we'll get there.
Yep.
And that's all. I think that if he stays on track with that, I think it'd be fine.
Yep. Marchbanks goes 6-8 for 8th.
Should have been on a 450 the whole fucking season.
So
Jesus.
He's going back 250 for Supercross next year. He got offered to ride the 450 for Supercross, said no.
I wouldn't either.
No. Because there's no way he's anywhere close to even like a top 5 dude in 450 Supercross.
Well, we're going to find out at least at SMX what he could be on a 450.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Where is he going? PC?
No, he's still
staying with Club.
staying with Club. They offered him a 450, and he's like, "No, I think the 250 bike's good enough." And 250, he legitimately has a shot to podium week in and week out, as far as I'm concerned. 450, I don't think he would crack the top 5. So I think that's a good move. And then hopefully he goes 450 outdoors next year.
I think he'll be good at the SMX rounds on that 450.
I think so too.
I think so. With if the track designs, the way what we've seen are actually like that, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah. Ty Masterpool goes 8-7 for 9th.
He's finally on a pro
Love
circuit
it.
motor.
Yeah. Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's on a full pro circuit motor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
Interesting.
just in case you didn't have enough power.
Yeah, just in case you didn't have enough power to
horsepower.
135 pounds.
Yeah. That was a bit of a struggle for him, though. Too much power.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I saw a clip. I think he almost looped it on one of the uphills.
Too much power.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, dude, you're 135 pounds. I'd love, dude, if he comes out and kills it at SMX, I would love to see him get like a fill-in ride with someone.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Phil Nicoletti. So what do you think? He goes 10-11 for 10th. What do you guys think of the Phil cock cam yesterday?
Here's what I think of Phil. Because I couldn't care any less. Sorry, Phil.
You don't like Phil?
Boring.
Not a fan of Phil?
I don't no problem with
You don't like the shtick that
I think
he does?
he's hilarious.
I don't really
Because
care
let's
about
be
that.
real, it's a shtick.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah,
I don't give a
shtick.
shit if it's a stick. It's hilarious.
I
Build that.
suppose it's good to have character in a sport. I just,
Build that brand, bro.
I think my thing, just the only thing I'll ever say about Phil, and I've said this to you before, I will only remember Phil when he went to the Log Road Regional back in 06, And when it used to go the old way, when McCarthy was going this way, it was like a little hip tabletop. He came out of the woods and he smacked the tree. Like wide fucking open. He smacked the tree like third gear wide open on his 250F.
That sounds about
And
like
he got
Phil.
back up and he kind of looked around and everybody's like, is he, like, how the fuck is he even standing? He just got back up and finished the moto. We're like, how's he not dead?
So supposedly on that bike, there were 3 cameras. There was a forward-facing one. There was that one we saw that looked right at his dick the whole time.
Yeah.
And then there's one in the rear, and then there was some sort of microphone on there too. But obviously, with Phil, we're
Yeah,
not
you don't
getting
want-
to
you
listen.
don't want him mic'd up.
We're not getting to listen to "fuck this." What the fuck is that guy doing? Oh my fucking god, you fucking idiot! So like,
I think that's cool.
I like that.
I'm
I
always-
like that they're trying stuff. Supposedly, this is the same company that had the cameras, the onboards for them last year, something too that they tried at Buds or Dilla something, but the footage looked like shit. So now they have a new camera that they want to try. I'm all for this onboard stuff. I mean,
find it funny that Phil is like the guinea pig on this shit because he was the same thing with the blinking lights
yeah,
for Supercross. Like,
well,
wow, Phil.
So here's the thing: they know that Club is willing to do it,
Yeah.
and that Phil kind of like doesn't give a shit because he like that's not going to make or break his race. So like he's willing to try it. Like the other factory guys won't fucking do it.
No.
Like Chase Sexton's never going to be like, yeah, mount 3 cameras on my bike because yeah, if that flops around and really throws me off, I might push the front end 3 times instead of just twice in the moto. But still, whatever. So yeah, I mean, I would love to see where if they can get this down where we can do it, or even if we could have it. What would be really sweet is if we could have like a helmet cam like they do in Formula One, there where you're kind of
yeah.
like looking out the goggle thing. Will we? Who knows? But it would be sweet if we could ever get this actually figured out.
Better than the old days of when it was granularly and pixelated and they would just stall out halfway to the moto during Supercross
Big
because you G'd out.
Big
Because
VHS
you
on the
G'd out
helmet,
too hard on the face of a
and now we
triple.
can't even wear a GoPro on our helmet because it's dangerous.
Dude, I was watching some of the videos from like 2015 and like seeing all the GoPros. I was like, man, those were the days.
Yeah. All right. So Freddie Noren goes 13-10 for 11th. Did you know Freddie doesn't wear a chest protector?
Yeah,
At all?
I have a big issue with that.
You do?
At least wear like a roost guard.
Nope. He says it bugs him. He said he's been trying to do it.
Yeah, he's been super
Supercross.
lucky that he hasn't had any internal injuries.
Yeah.
yet.
So
In my era, nobody fucking wore them. I wore most of my career an under protector, but like
Yeah.
fucking nobody wore them.
yeah, I have a roost guard. I kind of want to get an under protector and try that for a while and
You
see.
probably need both.
Noren's, well, you know what? Cool for Freddie. I guess to say that he's been lucky on that because the first time he ragdolls and he breaks a bunch of ribs,
Well, that's why he says he wears one in Supercross
Yeah.
because he crashes all the time. He's like, but outdoors, I'm pretty okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Until he has a Hardy
oh
Munoz
boy.
moment.
Yeah.
Personally, I always had an issue because they're a little better now, but like when it's like kind of bugging me,
Yeah.
it makes me ride differently. It makes me ride like shit. Now, and another tangent with this is that when I was coaching hockey and then I went back to playing games, I would coach without my shoulder pads on, and then I would go to play and it would make me kind of like feel like all constricted.
Yeah.
So it took me a long time to get used to wearing shoulder pads again, and it's not very different with moto. Like when I'm coming in and I'm hammering through a rough corner and it's like kind of bunching up on me, get that shit off of me right away.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I don't. It's you're safer with gear on, but if you crash because of it, or if it leads you to be out
Yeah.
of position, how much safer are you really?
Yep.
Hey, man, it's the
100%.
same thing with don't wear knee braces, wear knee pads.
Yeah. That's
And
the
same
too.
thing with how neck
braces.
braces were such a big thing, and now nobody fucking wears.
Yep. So
It's your preference, whatever. I mean, I wouldn't advise against it, but whatever you're gonna
it's
do.
whatever you want to do, man. Whatever makes you feel safer, go for it.
That's why I ride with my dick out.
Jesus.
That's weird.
All right, Harry
super weird.
Harry Koulas from
Harry Koulas.
Harry Koulas from Estonia goes 12-12 for 12th. Grant Harlan goes 11-14 for 13th. Stefan Rubini from France goes 16-13 for 14th. Anton Goal goes 15-15 for
A
15th.
lot of Euros in there.
Yeah, Jay Wilson goes 14-16 for 16th.
Poor Jay Wilson.
Jace Kessler goes 17-18 for 17th.
What's up with the Yamaha thing, man? Did you
haven't
talk
talked
to him?
I'm going to talk to him next week. I haven't
wonder
talked to
about
him
that.
yet. I heard it was a bunch of issues with that Honda not working correctly.
Who, Kessler?
Yeah, so I'll be interested to talk to him next weekend at Ironman
I mean, he
and kind of see.
went off Yamahas to
Yeah,
Honda and then back.
I'm gonna talk to him at Ironman and kind of get the 411 there. I heard there was some other stuff maybe going on. I don't
That'd be
know.
interesting because I was gonna bring that up.
I'm gonna find out. I'm gonna find out for sure. I'm not like super important, so he doesn't like
No,
text
you're
me
not.
back
No,
like
we're not super important. to Jason
quickly,
anymore.
you know. So yeah, so I figured in person would be easier to do. Jose Boutron goes 22-17 for 18th.
He's gonna make the SMX playoffs, I think.
He is, and they're like literally everyone around him's like, we're going to teach you how to ride Supercross.
He'll be fine.
Because if you just go out there and roll around, you get 25 grand.
Look, bro, he's gonna. He's gonna send it.
You don't
and
have to do anything but ride one lap.
He's gonna send it. He'll be fine.
So,
he's never been to a Supercross.
no,
man, he never even did like
once.
any of the French series stuff.
No.
I mean, he's Spanish, but he never did any of the overseas.
And everybody's like, it's fine. There's not going to be any whoops at these rounds, so you'll be good. We can teach you how to ride the rest of it.
There's no whoops at the playoffs.
The SMX stuff? Mm-mm.
probably be like rollers.
No, because they're also going to have 65s or 85s and, isn't it Futures? Futures, too.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anyway, let's see here.
Let's see a 125 class. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. Roman Pope goes 2019 for
He
19th.
also, it looks like he's gonna make.
He could.
Because I looked at the points this morning, and he's not that far off of Kev right now.
Yeah. And Luca Marsalisi rounds out our top 20 with
he's not
18.25 for 20th.
He's not gonna make the playoffs.
I don't know who he is, but he's got a cool last name.
Luca Hitman Marsalisi.
All right, yeah. So that's pretty much everybody
Italian?
there.
What?
Italian?
Maybe.
No, I don't know. He's from a different country.
Yeah.
Little story though, I don't know if you guys read this is dating back to Unadilla. I don't know if you saw the article, but like Tannehill came over. Did you hear what happened to him the week before he came to Unadilla? Mm-mm. So he had went and raced, I think it was one of the Dutch Masters. No, it was either a Dutch Masters race or a German ADAC race. And this was before he even knew he was going to go to Unadilla. Mm-hmm. He got stacked up in the first turn in like the second moto or whatever. And his foot peg snapped off, and he took a foot peg right to the nuts, ripped his fucking nutsack open. They stitched him up, and he's like,
just an abdicator status.
he's like, I'll go to Unadilla. He rode Unadilla with stitches still in his nutsack, and somebody asked him, they're like, oh, that had to be really bumpy. He's like, well, it didn't feel great.
Yeah,
I got the heebie-jeebies a little bit right
I would say,
now.
Justin Abdicator played for the Red Wings there.
Local to this
Yeah,
area.
Muskegon. Yeah, he in high school, because he was like a year or two ahead of me, fall league in high school hockey, took a skate to the nuts that cut his nutsack open.
I think you told me about
They
this.
sewed him up between
And then he ended up
periods and
playing.
he played more. Yeah.
Austin, you remember Austin Haught?
Yeah.
He did that at GPF one time. He took a handlebar right to the nutsack, and he all of a sudden felt like some moisture in between his thighs, and he looked down, and he's like his nutsack was hanging open.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that part with Austin. Boy, he hauled ass too. Boy, that guy was.
Yeah, but he liked playing in the woods too much, and I don't mean on dirt bikes.
All right.
Yeah, he's an arborist now.
Yeah,
That's
he's a very interesting man. He used to go to when we were in Monster Mountain. He'd just go into the woods and just hang out for like an hour.
All right. Well, that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutter Works. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. We are going to take a quick break here. We're going to come back with 250s, and then we've got a bunch of other off-subject topics with Moto to talk about here.
off subject. No.
Well, Moto stuff, but just like all over the place. So
Yeah, wait for our other show to come out talk about politics.
it's going to be great. So we will be
we are
right back.
canceled. Yep.
He got canceled real quick.
All right, and we're back. Just a quick little plug here to start off the second half of the show. If you would like a Moto Aftermath Show t-shirt, much like what Justin has there with the Kawasaki on it, or we have the new one that's inspired by the
sick.
retro YZs, which I have one for you for next weekend, but it's white, so I'm not giving it to you till next weekend.
Right before we turn the show camera on.
I was going to say I'm going to pack it in my suitcase so that way you have it for the race there. But anyway, you can go ahead. There's links in the description down below. There's also a Teespring link in the description, and there's actual Teespring links to the actual T-shirts down below here if you're watching on YouTube. So go ahead and check those out. Pick one up. Helps us out. Helps us get to the races. Me and Tom will be at Ironman next week.
This is an interesting transition, but what the fuck is Teespring?
It's a online T-shirt printing things where I print all these.
Oh, you go to them to buy them, or you're
Yeah.
saying, hey, if you want to get your
Well,
own
you
shit
can
printed?
you can also get that I have a storefront on there that has all our different designs on it.
Oh, okay,
And
that's
people
cool.
can go there and buy them. And then that's where I purchase them too, because I can purchase samples at a slightly discounted rate, which isn't very discounted, but
Interesting. Okay, I'm a business guy. He's a business guy.
Yeah.
he's going to be one day, and then think about
gonna be
being
a
able to
business
sell
guy?
T-shirts.
Maybe. Used to. Maybe. Never mind.
Drugs.
Pimping ain't easy, y'all.
drugs.
All of what they both just said.
All right, let's
Hang on a second.
oh boy.
We don't want to get into 250s yet, so let's talk
No.
fucking Iron Man real quick.
Oh boy.
So,
I don't want to talk Iron Man. I want to talk either silly season or I want to rant.
Okay, well, when we get to Iron Man, I'll bring that up then. So go ahead.
Should we do silly season or should we rant first?
Are we going to talk about SMX and some other
Yes.
shit after we're done with 250?
Well,
Let's talk about-
It just depends what we want to do here.
Let's talk about silly season first.
All right.
Okay, let's silly season.
Oh, well, I know one of the things that I was going to bring out is on your notes about Guillaume Perez.
Guillaume Perez is going to Husky.
Going to Husky
That's
because
super interesting.
it's going to be him, RJ, and Casey Cochran because Jalik's out.
I'm trying to get RJ to retire.
Did you? Yeah, I think RJ needs to retire for
I know.
just the sake of himself and his family because, like,
Thank you.
dude, I'm
That's exactly
I'm
what I said
over
last
it.
week.
How old? 29?
I don't give
Nah,
a shit how old he is.
27.
He can be
27.
21.
27 or 20.
He needs to retire.
I'm on the
Well, he
board with
can
you.
retire.
I'm just looking
Give
at
me
it
one reason why.
because he's had a lot of concussions, man.
Did you
so
watch?
have I.
Did you watch that crash last week?
Yeah, he crashes.
How many times do I got to watch him do this before he cannot pick up his little girl?
That's what I'm nervous about. I
Like,
don't really
this is
care
like-
about.
The risk is definitely there.
The
but
risk
he
is
doesn't
all-
crash that fucking much.
Is that a joke?
Maybe he just needs.
Do you
to,
watch the same races we
hey,
do?
Man, hey, he was good on the 4. He didn't crash on the 450. Maybe just the 450. He'll be like, you know what? It's a lot of power. I'm good.
Calm him down some.
I'm on board with you. I don't want to see any of these dudes retire if they're not like
That
they're-
Dilla wreck was
But
bad.
I don't want to see him for the sake of his family
Yes.
not being able to be there in his kid's life folder because he doesn't remember his name.
I literally was back channeling, trying to be like, "Hey, we need to talk to this kid and get him to just
I
call
mean,
it."
call Eric and RJ are buddies.
I know.
You should have just called Eric.
This guy,
Pretty sure Eric and RJ probably have already had this conversation.
Way
at some
to
point.
blow out my back channeling.
this man has worked his whole entire life to get where he is.
Well, he should go to the MLB because it's much safer than what he's doing right now.
He didn't get into it because it's fucking safe.
All right, can
Oh,
we
I
get back
know
to silly
that.
season? All of a sudden, this got off way.
I got no problem with where we're at right now because this is something that as racers, especially as 30s racers, and when the family stuff gets involved, everyone has to face it. And it's really interesting. You get Ryan Dungey kind of guys. Mm-hmm. You get a lot of different ways guys handle it, right? Eli
Yeah.
Tomac is one of the first champions we've ever seen that had children already. Mm-hmm. One of the very first ones. So to think about where he is in his life, like late 20s, I don't know how old he is, let's say 27. To be already thinking about that, okay, how do I handle this for the next 70 years with my family? Because you're not done with fulfilling your legacy yet. Your legacy after racing is a whole different ballgame, but for now, he's right fucking there. He's so fast. So if you're gonna be thinking about hanging him up, well, that's already kind of if it's in your head, you're kind of halfway there.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I'm just saying, as many times as I've seen RJ ragdoll, because RJ doesn't just tip over.
Yeah, like me, right?
He ragdolls himself into the fucking ground in a bad way.
Yeah.
And like I said, normally, I fully accept. I've accepted this for a long time since I rode street bikes, and I accepted that a car can run me over and I can be fucking dead tomorrow. Like, I accept that there is a level of risk to what the fuck we do on two wheels. Period.
There is.
End of discussion. But there comes a point where that level of risk and how your luck is going with stuff that you got to really look in the mirror. I mean, does he have millions and millions of dollars in the bank? No. Has he made
Maybe.
a decent amount of money doing what he's doing? Probably.
Six-figure contract for a long time.
You got a beautiful wife. You got beautiful kids. Like, dude, it's time.
I think he's gonna run out his Husky contract, and then I do think he does retire after his Husky contract's up because he got a 2-year deal.
Like
Yeah,
I said,
I
I
just-
just hope
yeah.
it ends that way and not
Yeah.
in a bad way.
What's Zach Osborne say?
About what?
Well, he was a similar situation his whole career, and then he ended it at the pinnacle because he stuck with it and won a championship when he had children. Right? So if you're they're on the same fucking team, but if you're really considerate, like there are very few people you can talk to if you're RJ. There are very few because there's a bunch of other jabronis that are gonna oh, you should fucking hang him up. I'm like, well, who the hell are you to say, right? Like nobody is in his circle has been there except for him. And maybe one or two racers in the history of our sport, right? So, like, it's real. He's got to really be careful with how he handles this because once you pull, like, oh, I'm going to take a season off, you're not going to Ryan Dungey back your way back in and
Yeah.
be.
Dude, the last 3 that I remember from him, he impaled himself on a stake at an outdoor
And decided to ride with internal bleeding.
and decided
was
to ride with
RJ?
internal bleeding. Yes.
The only person I could think of was Kyle Regal that did
At
that.
High
He
Point?
then
Yeah.
he then
Yeah,
crashed.
I
He then
don't-
crashed at A2 this year and had internal bleeding that they didn't find for like 3 days, and that was a real bad deal. Because he was really fucked up from that.
Yeah, that
for
was
a
bad.
while.
That was one actually that it could have actually killed him.
And now he corkscrews himself into the ground. Oh,
One of the worst.
one of the
fucking
worst
places.
corkscrews and places that could even happen there at Dilla, and like is asleep for I don't know how long, but it wasn't fucking great. And then you go back even further. You go back to Red Bull Straight Rhythm, when he corkscrewed himself into the ground, and he's
already has concussion issues before.
I was gonna say he's got a lot of memory. He doesn't remember.
The concussion thing is real interesting because I've had a shit ton of concussions, but I honestly feel like I'm pretty sharp still. Like,
I mean,
my memory is probably not great. Probably more from smoking weed, but I didn't say that. Oops. But like all the concussion stuff you normally hear, like night terrors and stuff like that. Like there was one period of, I think my second season on 250s, I had night terrors for like a couple months in a row. But like I never have headaches. My memory's good. Like most of the stuff people are like, oh, and it's like I feel fucking fine. You know what I mean? Like I honestly, if I didn't retire from my shoulder being shattered, I probably could have gone a lot longer. So. I don't know. I'm saying fucking RJ, A, do what you want to do, and B, like...
He's a grown-ass man, so we can't tell him what to do, but
your life is so short as it is, let alone when you literally are one of few people in the world that can do what you're doing. Just do it. When you're not enjoying it anymore, which I've never met anybody like that, but when you're not enjoying it anymore, then that's a different story, but like, when you're already on top, fucking ride the wave, baby.
I don't know, man. There's bigger things at play than...
Well, you have a small daughter, so it's a different perspective for both of us. That's for sure.
Yeah, you're still in that single mindset there, buddy. He's legit family and kids. Like he's
back to Guillaume Perez.
Back to silly season.
Back to Guillaume Perez. That was weird. That was very weird. Especially the way his contract, the verbiage in his contract was like, oh, like if you do this, this, and this, like yeah, we'll retain you. And there was a lot of people that did. And then all of a sudden it's like, nope, we're just going to pull it out from underneath you, and he's going to Husky, which I honestly think is going to be very interesting, especially the dynamic, because he's been riding Supercross at the Goat Farm since last year. It's probably going to be a little bit of a learning curve for him because same thing, never rode Supercross before this. But outdoors, like, dude, he was very good at the first couple rounds, and it's kind of out of nowhere, his whole thing. There's not a lot of expectation.
No one really saw this coming.
Dude, I was really excited about him.
I've told you this story about when he was riding EMX 250s. Dude, he wasn't even getting top fives.
Yeah.
He almost won a title in EMX 125s, goes to EMX 250, and he's just, granted his team wasn't super great, but like he was barely even a top 5 dude.
He had a summer job, or off-season job, like so a legit like 9 to 5.
What about the contract stuff you're talking about, though? Because I have never heard about this.
There was verbiage in his contract with Yamaha that if he did like certain results throughout the summer, he would stay on the team. He was going to be on the team for 2024 because it was like set in stone. Well, obviously, he got hurt at Thunder Valley. He had gotten top 10, was close to top 5 the first 2 rounds, and then we never got to see it. So everybody was kind of on the same thought. They were like, well, are they going to give him a shot because he never really got to prove himself? And then it's like, oh, no, apparently he was actually in talks with Husky for like the whole entire time. So
most racers, and really not just racing, but all sports, like you think, okay, here's what's probably going to happen, but hey, what about plan B and C, right? So like,
here's my thing.
Do you think it's good for him?
I don't know. Do you think he saw the writing on the wall at Star, though? I mean...
Probably.
Because what do they got? So
Deegan, Thrasher, Romano, Bennick, Smitty, and Styles. And Styles is probably out after 2024.
7 fucking guys.
he's probably... And then you got 3 450 dudes.
Yeah.
But Styles is probably out after 2024 anyway. I think he's done.
I'm surprised, honestly, Romano's still there.
Well, because they know how good he is when he's healthy.
Yeah.
Look how good he was his rookie season in outdoors.
I guess.
It's just Supercross, and I think he's going to be East Coast for Supercross next year anyway. But yeah, I think it's an interesting move. I don't know if it's good or bad or otherwise because Supercross, like, I don't know.
Is Hunter Lawrence a 250 rider in Supercross?
450. No.
A1.
Supposedly he's going 450 all next year.
So we're going to see his last race then next week.
SMX.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the last time we'll ever see on a 250 is MX of Nations, but whatever. Carson Mumford to MCR, apparently.
Yeah, I heard that too.
That's interesting to me. Did you hear a little bit of the Triumph news that has been floating around?
No, I have not.
Yeah. So like,
I've been camping in the not the woods for the last 3 days.
So I don't know if the last thing you saw. We all know Little
With
Red.
Wi-Fi.
We all know Little Red Dog. That's like that's a given.
Yeah.
Triumph, whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a great idea. Whatever. We'll find out.
If they're good, then it's cool.
Jalik Swoll.
Yep.
And Michael Mosman.
I heard that.
Well, now apparently, you know whose name's been linked to him, and not only been linked to him, but a 250 ride until the 450 comes out. Joey fucking Savacci.
I've heard that too.
I like that. I think he's way better on 250.
Oh, dude, him on a 250 and Supercross, to me, he's a title threat right away.
Just like Jake Weimer. Jake Weimer was so sick on a 250, and then when he went to 450, he was like, Jake, who?
Actually, I'll be really honest with you, and this is, you can call me a Savacci homer because I am one. If that bike is actually really good, he might actually be an outdoor threat for a title, both Supercross and outdoors. But apparently, there's been talks of him doing that until the 450 is available, and it's something that he actually wants.
I'm really excited about these Triumph bikes. The one thing that's kind of driving me crazy is that our sport has like the biggest quantity of haters ever.
Oh, I know.
So when you get to like the reveal stuff taking its time, like on one hand you're like fucking just show us the bike. On the other hand, people are like shitting on on it all left and right. Like, oh, it's just like KTM. We're like, yeah, it's similar, but it's fucking not the same. You know what I mean? Like,
look, dude, you know how many people
let them unveil their whole change. There's 126 years or whatever they've been in business. Let them fucking do.
You know how many people are going to hate on the first time at A1 when Benny Bloss rolls out on a Beta, and people are going to be like, "That bike's fucking ugly."
Him and Nichols.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's another thing too. That was weird, right? Right? That was weird.
I mean, who else are they going to get? You know, that is right in the realm because Savachi's not going to go ride that bike.
I think Colt's a good grab for him because he's used to testing factory bikes, and he's like, I don't know the guy very. I talked to him twice, but
I think he's a great dude.
I don't think he has that dog in him. I think he's really good, and he's riding his career out. I don't think he's a threat for any kind of win ever.
No,
I think the guys they have right now are good because I don't know that bike's necessarily the best.
Well, they need guys that can develop them, right? So like that's where Colt comes in play. I don't know about Benny. He's very unusual.
Hey, look, when he tries,
Benny didn't even ride the damn bike. He literally signed the deal without riding the bike.
And then he showed up to Raynard's place on a 300. He didn't even show up on the 450.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys in this Michigan area that have the Betas, mostly 300s, I think, and they seem to like them a lot, but for Supercross, it's a lot different, right?
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
I mean, the bike, all I've ever heard, and obviously that's because of the GP stuff with the Lupino and Ben Watson, is the bike's just really fast.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I've ever heard about that bike is the bike is fast as shit.
Look, here's what I like. It's 2 more rides for a couple of guys who really deserve to have some sort of ride that at least gets them to the races and stuff so that they're not paying their own way.
Let's fast forward 2 years from now, 3 years from now. Forget about electrics, but just gas bikes. We got Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, Suzuki, maybe. KTM.
Maybe, yeah. Husky,
Gas, Triumph,
Beta,
Ducati,
and Beta.
That's 10 manufacturers.
Only 10?
Yep.
We're doubling. Don't make it sound only 10. No. But is that it? Or is there one more?
No, that's it.
Not until Starkvarg because comes into play. Which they've already actually signed up for their first ever arena cross.
Where?
Britain, one of the British Series arena crosses.
They got homologated and approved.
Mm-hmm. It's a professional one too. It's not just some rinky dink.
Because from what I've heard, is MX Sports and Feld have both told them to pound sand.
No, I don't know who runs this organization, but it's a British one.
I heard the MXGP also told them to pound sand.
Well, this is not.
I know. I'm just saying. But here's the problem: is that Stark wants to go ride, and they want to go ride the 450 class, and no one will let them.
Yeah, they need to work on their battery life.
I don't think
they'll have their own class, and you and I talked 2 shows ago when I was on about like the growth of that and like considering the business side of things, and I'm kind of farther along with it. And even this past week, I've been in talks with some manufacturers, so it's kind of gaining traction quick, and it'd be really interesting.
Hey, Nick Tomasunis, go watch his video. He went out to California and he tested.
Rode one. Yeah,
I thought it was good. I thought it was a good review.
I think the bikes are cool, man. Like somebody posted the other day, they were like, because there was one for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody's got theirs already, 25 G's for it, and they're like, "Oh, I can't believe this," and I'm like, "Why?" Like, think about it. You don't have to worry about valves, pistons, gas, oil filters, air filters, any of that. You plug the fucker in and you make sure the chain's lubed.
Till it doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean,
until the battery dies, that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the biggest thing with silly season, though, that I want to talk about, and this is where I'm going to get a little depressed.
Oh, boy.
Dylan.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about this. Here we go. What are you hearing now on this?
He's retiring.
Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
He's done.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, it's like Savachi. He doesn't have anywhere to go.
Which is bullshit, in my opinion.
So this next weekend is going to be Dylan Ferrandis' last race, not just in America, but his last race ever?
There's talks that he might go do SMX. There's talk he might go do MX of Nations for the French team because they gave him the go ahead to ride his bike. But I don't know if they're going to take him. I think they're going to take Renault just because it's easier.
Probably.
France has got the worst fucking way of picking every single year.
The French Federation is about as good as the Russian Federation. It's fucking terrible. But it sounds like, and I don't know if it was LeBig or somebody at Motovert, but he told him like he's probably done.
Well, he's not going to go ride for free, and he's not going to go ride a subpar
No, and
bike.
here's the thing. Why would he?
Yeah.
Why would he go ride for free? This is what's annoying me. Take the Dylan fanatic out of me. People are like, whatever, dude. That is not how I meant that. Hey, man, I like Dylan. Dylan Danger Zone. He's one of my favorite guys. He's been for a long time. People are like, well, he's asking for too much money, this and that. I'm like,
I've heard that is a problem, though.
Why is that wrong, though, knowing your worth? He's won 4 fucking championships. That's like saying, both of you guys, and I know this too, but I'm not a business owner currently. I was. You guys, busting your ass, knowing what you're worth, knowing your capabilities, and then somebody going,
I mean, I completely understand what you're saying. I'm just saying that he has literally everything working against him. Number one, he won that title, okay, which was awesome for him. It was great. However, that fucked him up because there was stipulations in the contract. If he won the title, you automatically get a whatever percentage raise, which from what I understand was like 50% or even doubling what his base salary was. So now you go from a $300,000 guy to a $600,000 to $800,000 guy. I'm not sure if you're aware, Tomac's only at 1.5.
Oh,
so,
no, I think
like making half that for a guy who races 2 Supercross races where he gets 5th and then fucking completely torpedoes himself, then goes outdoors and can't fucking get the bike set up, whether that's a team or him, whatever, new bike, like that's neither here nor there. But then he goes outdoors and it's like, yeah, he's okay, but like he's in that same realm. And then you combine that with all the teams are full.
Yeah.
Where could he go?
That his option is to go ride Pipes Motorsports.
Hep was talking to him.
Hep Suzuki.
Cowie was talking to him at one point. Club, but that was like, well, if they're going to stay on Yamahas, why would you even do that?
And he won't go ride Club because there's no way he's going to ride for free.
No, exactly. And then there was talks about MCR, but he's obviously doesn't want to do just Supercross. Like, that would be pointless. And Cowie was the one that was really servicing, but then the moment that they were like, oh, no, we're going to keep AC around, that went out the door.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's annoying me that people are like, oh, he should, why? The dude is a 4-time champion. Why would he ride for less money? Like, knowing your worth, I think it's ridiculous that people like get up on their soapbox and they're like, these guys should ask for less money. They should do this. Look, we can call them teams all we want. These aren't fucking teams. This is an individual goddamn sport. This isn't like with football when you go win a championship or hockey where it's a team thing. It's them. They're winning the championships. He won 4 championships for Star Yamaha, their first ever 450 title. The dude's worth the money. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Why would he go ask for less?
I guess.
It's a team sport, right? When they go to pay for SMX too, right?
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second because I'm going to rant hard on this.
It just pisses me off that people are like, oh, he should ask for less money. Why?
My thing is like...
I wonder what his rate is.
I heard he's between 6 and 8.
Yeah.
$100,000 a year base.
Oh, $600,000 or $800,000 is nothing for these guys. Who cares?
It is right now. Tomac is 1.5,
which is a bargain, honestly.
Eli Tomac won 7 fucking Supercross races last year, and he's getting 1.5 base. Okay,
yeah, that's super bargain.
There's no way that Dylan's worth that.
No, and I don't think Dylan's asking. And that's the thing. I don't think Dylan's asking for $1 million. I don't think he is. I think he just wants his salary that he's at now, which I don't think is unreasonable. The problem is you can't get it at Star because first off, he's not gelling with that bike. And you got Cooper Webb coming in. He knew he was never going to stay at Star.
The problem is that he can't even go in and ask for that 8 because everybody else who's a second tier guy, which it's not necessarily right to call him a second tier guy, but considering what he's done since his title, which is not a lot, okay? I understand he's got 4 titles, but we all know we have recency bias here. Last 2 years, what's he done? He rode 2 outdoor races and like 3 fucking Supercrosses.
And it's been that for a lot of what has Malcolm Stewart done?
I mean, that's the same thing. But
you can say that for everybody.
But what's Stu's salary? I'll bet you Stu's salary is probably maybe 3.
With bonus,
maybe
with bonuses.
3.
Really?
Plus bonuses,
No. I just meant of the fact of Malcolm has a ride.
Well, yeah. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I get it.
But if you have Stu...
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
And Dylan
and
walk into the room and they're fighting for a fucking position.
Oh no, definitely
and
not.
And Dylan's like, dude, well, I've got titles, but that was
motocross.
2 years, and it's a motocross stuff, and like I want 8. And Malcolm walks in and goes, "Well, I'll ride for 3." Like, who are you gonna fucking hire?
There's no debating that. I honestly wish that Gas would hire another because Dylan originally wanted to go to Gas.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Well, Barsha's more marketable," and I'm not
just Jarson at 450s, right?
Yeah, it's just Barsha. He wanted to go. Dylan wanted
from what
to
I
go.
understand, Gas won't put another 450 guy out until Barsha retires.
The sad thing is that I think if Dylan retires from over here, I think there is possibility that he could go back to the GPs and walk right into a factory ride over there with the Yamaha team. The sad thing, well, their owners got so much money. I think the sad thing is that if he does retire, the last time we see him this year, I think he does go back home. I think he's gotten accustomed to the lifestyle over here, and I'm not saying he's never embraced it. He knows the California, Florida lifestyle. I think Dylan is a lot like Marv, in my opinion, where he's adopted America as his second home. He's French American now, but I think he's
I definitely think he goes back to France.
He misses home. He's been here since 2017. I just think it's a bummer because I think he still has so much to prove, and I think that he knows he does. And it's a pity that he's going to retire because somebody...
How much do you think he's really going to prove? What is he, 28, 29 now?
I think he just turned 29. I think he just turned 29.
So he's staring at 30 here, basically. And I mean, he's another one, dude. Like, at what point are you going to just like say like, look, I can't do this Supercross thing anymore. It's too fucking much for him. I mean, it's not too much for him. But
sad thing is he was doing well before he got hurt. He was getting top fives, which is the unfortunate thing.
Yeah, I mean, his finishes
What do you mean by this?
What do you mean? What do I mean by what?
I can't do the Supercross thing anymore, is what you said. What do you mean by that?
I mean, look at how his Supercross seasons have ended since he's gone 450. What has it ended with? It's ended like at the most like 5 rounds in with a fucking like catastrophic injury. I mean, this year he literally was like unconscious for like 5 minutes plus on the middle of. Everybody thought he was dead.
Honestly, if I'm him, I go back home, go to a factory team over there, ride 2 years, and I think that they'd be just fine.
I mean, I think that just depends what kind of money they're going to throw at him. Which, if you listen to the Hurlings interview, isn't going to be a fucking lot.
Do you do it?
Hurlings made a lot of money. It's Jeffrey Hurlings.
Yeah.
Do you do it for the money, or are you doing it for the chance at winning?
I think he's doing it for both because I think for a long time in his GP career, he didn't make shit for money.
Once you already have championships and the money,
yeah,
it's kind. Truthfully, I never won a lot of money. I never won championships like that. But
if that
who cares about the money?
If that was the case, he'd be riding in the U.S.
Yeah,
if he had a bike that was going to be competitive enough to win.
Yeah, because I also don't think Dylan would want to get on a bike and be like, "Yeah, I'm just going to ride around ninth."
It is
clearly
interesting
he wants
though,
to win
because I heard the Hemp thing was pretty serious. And then the other thing I've heard about Hemp is that they're switching manufacturers.
Yeah.
So if they're not going to be on
everything.
Suzuki, it's like, okay, so why do you not want to be involved with them there unless they literally are like, yeah, we can't pay you anything.
Or, and I'm not saying this because I haven't heard this. This is just off the cuff because we're talking. Or maybe Kenny's just like, I don't really want him on the team.
No, that could be a thing too. That could be a thing.
Kenny's already causing waves. I don't know if you've seen the thing he's talking about Jet now.
I heard that he had...
He's talking shit.
Courtesy of... Do you remember that Abide Moto guy on Instagram? I read his stuff. So his notes... Kenny has FOMO tweeting from the couch during the motos yesterday.
He was talking about Jet yesterday over the internet and got blown out for that.
What did he say?
He was just talking about how like it annoys the shit out of him, just like everybody else, that all people can talk about is Jet. He's a really great rider, and he even goes, I'm not as fast as Jet or as good as him, but I keep working hard. But it's like you guys have never seen an actual guy ride a dirt bike well.
I don't disagree with what that.
But dude, you can go find it on whatever the hell it's X now. What is it called? It's not Twitter.
My
what
thing
is
is like, hey, look, if y'all want us to stop talking about him, go fucking beat him.
No,
Yeah,
I don't think
up.
that's what I don't. And you can go find it. Unless he took him down, you can go find it. I don't think it was that. I think it was just the fact of when you turn on, all they ever talk about is Jet and Hunter anymore. Not the fact of he's annoyed. I think it's annoying to him that he goes, did you guys never see Ricky Carmichael ride a dirt bike?
Speaking of annoying, every fucking time that Ricky Carmichael says Hunter Deegan,
oh my god,
I want to slam the TV.
Or the Hunter brothers?
The Hunter brothers.
The Hunter brothers.
crazy.
No, I think it was just the way I read it because I read the tweets or whatever the hell they're called now. It wasn't him being annoyed that it's Jet doing what Jet things or what he's doing. It's that all the media ever talks about is Jet. They don't talk about anybody else. And I think that rubs him the wrong way.
Rubs me the wrong way, too.
I guess.
Because it's like, have you guys never seen a guy ride a faster bike? I'm sorry.
mean-
Did Eli Tomac in 2015 not beat Ryan Dungey by a minute and a half?
Hey,
Every single year, there's very, very good guys. It just so happens to be that Jet is the very, very good guy right now. And don't get me wrong, he's fucking perfect season and he's super good.
Yeah.
But we have seen guys be very good before.
But what the fuck else do you want me to talk about right now? I mean, everybody's
Fine,
talking
then-
about Deegan and Hunter
And that annoys
battling.
me. Like, you got to talk about other people.
like,
There's other
that's-
people out there riding dirt bikes.
But like that's okay. You want me to talk about AP going 4-3 for second?
no, I don't care about the
because
results.
like
Just
I didn't
talk about
fucking
them.
see him
Just-
all fucking day.
It's just
You're
talking.
not blowing Jet the whole
I
race.
didn't.
It's the
I didn't
difference.
fucking. I mean, dude. Let's face it. When I went to Redbud, I didn't see any. But like even the 450 class, outside of watching Jet go by, the rest of everybody was just like, "Yep, dirt bike." Dirt
No,
bike,
I think it's just.
dirt
I think
bike,
it's just. I want to see them talk about. There's other people out there with other stories outside of Jet, Hunter, and Hayden Deegan.
The stories are cool for me.
Like what?
Really, for me, I
Name
love
a
watching
story.
Shit that they go through
Name
everything.
a story.
How about they go down through the paddock, guys, if they get the chance, be like, "Hey, man, what's been going on? What have you been up to?
I
What's
mean,
been going on?"
We talked about Ty Masterpool for a while there when he was really fucking killing it.
I'm pretty sure
so-
Joe Schmoda could find something to talk about training with Nick Way. That'd be much more interesting to the crowd than fucking Jet Lawrence doing what he's doing and the same shit every weekend.
That'd be
it's
a great
Nick
interview.
Way.
Because they just
I'm-
had
I
they were
don't-
in Michigan for July. That would be awesome.
I don't have
I
a
mean-
problem with them talking about the guys that are winning and interesting like Hayden Deegan, but it's like there's a bunch of other dudes out there that are going through a lot of shit too, that their weeks are crazy, and just like Jet, Hunter, and Hayden, that we could talk about. How about we go talk about Seth Hammock or all the shit that he's been through this year in the last couple of years with all the injuries and the Epstein-Barr virus? Hey, how about you go, hey, Seth, you want to do a piece? Like, is there anything you got to talk about? And if he says no, fine, cool. I'm sorry. I just don't believe that there's nothing anybody else has to say. I'm pretty sure Justin Cooper can talk about the fact that he got throat punched by his fucking handlebars.
I mean, I feel like we talked about that, but again, too,
We
that's like
did,
that's
but
like
they
one
don't.
flash
They
in the
don't.
pan there, and then, well, but
I'm sorry, hearing about Jet and Hunter's struggle, it's a crazy story, but everybody struggles at this level. James Stewart, his dad and mom were broke and actually broke. Like they were broke.
So were the Hunter brothers. I mean, let's face it. When they were in Europe, they were fucking broke.
No. They were broke, not as broke as Big James and Sonia. They were broke. They didn't have a house to live in. They didn't know where they were going to stay. When they were over in Europe, they knew that they had a place to stay. And I don't.
Yeah, they lived above a garage and split a can of tuna and a fucking baguette.
Is that a place to stay?
Eat.
Is that a place to stay?
Sure.
It's better than not having a place to stay. At least you're under a roof.
So let me counter this a
Oh
little
boy,
bit.
here we
So
go.
I
Now
love
we're going with my struggle was harder.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody fucking struggles, man.
I don't know, man. Like,
the story.
I agree. There's other stories out there, man. But like,
And it was also their decision. It was also their decision to go broke.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like, I'm sorry.
How far you want to? How far are they really going to dig here? You know,
Your sons are millionaires now. I'm not. I don't feel bad for you anymore.
Well,
is cool.
not now. Yeah,
No, I don't feel bad for you.
now they're
You
now
decided
they're
to do
now
it.
they're eating. They ain't hungry.
Anyways,
they ain't
Tom.
hungry no more, brah.
Yeah.
Tom,
well,
back
they
to you.
decided to do it.
So we talk about the storylines of things, right? So, and you say after a jet goes flying by, then you're like, okay, there goes AP, and you're kind of bored watching it. But me, I'm the opposite way. Like, the storylines are cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm a tactician. I watch the mechanics of what's going on because I'm a fucking rider, right?
Okay.
So, like, when AP goes by in 6th, I'm watching his ass, and I'm watching how he holds his bike a little bit differently with his legs than everybody else, which is why he's a good woods rider.
Yeah,
And I'm watching these guys, and that's what I get the entertainment out of. Don't get me wrong, listening to Jet Lawrence and all these other fucking guys, and their stories is cool, and like we like talking to guys like Kevin Branson, whoever else, and that's cool. But that's not why I watch.
Oh, me neither.
but my thing is okay. If you want to run down, like, none of these other guys are even really like battling. Like most of the motos,
there were battles.
There was good racing fucking going on this weekend. I don't know what you're talking
Like
about.
a little
the race
bit-
for third in the 250 class was a dog race.
Well,
they
yeah.
were going.
But I mean, it's like you go to 450s. It's like, okay, maybe we have like a little battle between Dylan and AP like halfway through a moto, and like they try to cover that a little bit. But like outside of that, it's like they're not battling week in and week out. It's like every single week's a different fucking person battling each other.
I can guarantee that if the camera would have tried to find Dylan, and let's be real, they can, especially with the drone, and they would have locked in on him that first moto, seeing him slice through the pack, it would have been just as interesting as watching Jet do what he did.
Because he was right behind Jet, too.
Yeah. Because Dylan had to come from even further back the second moto.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just don't buy into the fact. Look, Hunter, Jet, Deegan, I know that they're the most charismatic, marketable people. It's great. I know we got to talk about them. But there's a bunch of other dudes. How about we go talk to Tom Viel and talk about the fact that he just came over from across the pond, had to learn a totally new discipline, and things aren't going the way he thought it was. How about we go talk to him about that?
You think that's what you're going to talk about?
Best name in motocross right there. Mm-hmm.
Tom, I'm sorry. I've seen this before. They did it with Pastrana. They did it with Stu. They did it. They didn't really do it with Ricky because he was so dominant. They've done it time and time again. And it's cool for the casual fans, but for the people that are actually watching outdoors and watching these races every weekend, we get it, man. We get it. You went through some shit. It was your decision. We understand it. Everybody else went through the same shit you guys did. It's just their kids aren't as good as yours, so we don't hear about it.
I'll say that I don't think that it's quite the same thing if it's someone besides Ricky, James, and fucking
Chad?
he's the pit reporter right now.
Oh, Jason Thomas.
Yes, and JT. They kind of run out of things to talk about, right? So what are you going to talk about? Okay, well, let's go to the buzzword type things for the broadcast. The guys are winning championships back to back. What are you going to talk about? How they couldn't eat before, right? So it's one of those TV things. But like going back to the art of it, the beauty for me, like it's the man and machine thing, right? So like the drama stuff that's good TV, whatever. But for me, I'm watching the man and the machine dance, right? And one of the reasons that I love watch Frenchies ride is you get guys like Christophe Pourcel, where they're like tiptoeing around the track. Like I was at Redbud and I was out, and Christophe Pourcel goes around the top of the Monza wall leading the race. And he's just like coasting around, and I couldn't believe what I was watching, right? And then you watch him and Trey Canard battle at High Point, I believe it was, and they would not go in the ruts. They'd go in the flats right inside the ruts, and I'm watching. I'm like, how the fuck are they doing it, right? I don't care where Christophe Pourcel comes from for the story of it. Like, what I care about is what I'm really watching.
Yeah.
And what we have to watch, without listening to the stupid donut story again, is some real artwork right now, and I love watching it. So, like, AP is a great example for this because he's very different. And then one part of it, yeah, I do it for Dale, all that stuff, but if you really just sit back and watch the guy, his posture and the way he rides is different a lot. So I don't fucking care about where they come from. Like I do. Don't get me wrong. It's cool. But that's not the whole story to me.
Me neither. I'm the same way. It's why I love watching Hurlings ride so much. It's why I still say to this
Fuck
day
yeah.
that RV has the best technique I've ever seen ride a dirt bike.
Look, I really think if we had, especially in the 450 class, if we had two of these guys who were not Jet, who were just week in and week out dogfighting each other for like second place or something, I think we'd get a lot more coverage of that. But the problem is that there's like 5 of them and they all fucking rotate. So it's never the same guys like battling. It's always like Dylan and AC this week, and then Dylan and Anderson this week, and then Anderson and Barsha this week. And so, like, it's just, like, there's a storyline there, and there are storylines you can go dig for, but there's only so much you can do, man. There's only so much you can do.
Talking about how Jet and Hunter struggle, the same thing over and over again?
I mean,
dude, I've heard this story since they came over here.
Get ready, because you're going to hear it all Supercross next year, too, man. Like, by the end of Supercross next year, especially if Jet season goes well and Hunter's doing well also in the 450 class, the Lawrence brothers are going to start to see a lot more hate because they're getting shoved down our throats so much. Right now, it's still okay. It's still in the okay realm. But next year, come Supercross, like, if there isn't another story beyond that, like, dude, it's gonna be a thing. So
Ricky Carmichael's era, for the first, I would say, probably all the way to Suzuki. I was so sick of hearing Ricky Carmichael. I was so like, don't get me wrong, I love watching him. Yeah, but I was so sick of hearing about it. Like, okay, I get it.
Guy's good. Thanks.
Same thing for me because I was a Stu fan, so it was like always fucking hard.
Yeah. Anything else silly season that you've heard?
No, that's kind of it.
Want to talk the big silly season rumor
about SMX?
No.
Oh, what?
I've heard that Daytona Motorsports Group is buying Supercross.
Oh, we can talk about this now.
It's pretty.
Well, before we knew and we couldn't really talk about it.
So we've been talking about it.
All right, so we knew about this like months ago, but we couldn't really talk about it.
We've brought up a little bit here and there. From what I understand now, it's
chains are off now.
Pretty confirmed here that they are going to buy it off Feld at the end of the year.
So David Coombs is going to have even more money to not pay people.
Well, would he still be involved then?
Yeah. So what'll happen is Daytona Motorsports Group will buy Supercross off of Feld Entertainment, and then they're going to lease it back to MX Sports, just like they do now. So this is where I find this kind of interesting here. So they're going to do that, right? I'm interested to see how many. Next year, I don't think we're going to see it, but I think 2025 is when we'll really start to see it. How many speedways are we going to go to? Because
I would like to see more.
We're going to, because what I think is going to happen is Daytona Motorsports Group is going to cut them a sweetheart of a deal to go to these speedways and do tracks there, which Davey will jump all over because he can save $1 there and still run a Supercross series. Now, where I think this gets really interesting is now that Feld is no longer tied to Supercross, and Feld doesn't have, because Feld's got its fingers in all the stadiums, right?
Are they buying Monster Jam too? Because they go hand in hand.
No, I don't think so. I think they're just buying Supercross.
That's been a huge thing. So for fans that don't know about this, normally when a Supercross goes to a Ford Field in Detroit, 2 or 3 weeks at a time, they have the whole stadium, and they bring in the dirt, and they have it for Monster Jam, and then a week later,
I'm not 100% on this, so I don't know if they're both going together or if it's just one. But here, where I think this gets interesting is right now, World Supercross wants to come to the U.S., but they can't because basically all the major stadiums Feld is tied to, and obviously Feld and them are fighting. Feld, MX Sports,
Big Brother,
and World
Little Brother
Supercross are fighting. Okay,
Yeah.
So once Feld's out of the picture, then can World Supercross come and do 2, 3, 4 rounds in the U.S.?
Maybe. I mean, right now the best they got closest to America is Canada,
which I'm not going to.
No,
I would also like to see MXGPs come to America again. and have 1 or 2 rounds
Ben,
here, just like
that
the MotoGP.
is-
That's been in talk for a while. They've been trying to do it because remember when they did it back when Cairoli was still on the 350 and Alessi and whatever?
Have you heard the rumor about how there's some really heavy talks apparently about doing a combined round?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been trying to do this for a while. It's basically because Giuseppe's kid David has been taking over and Giuseppe's trying to
But I mean, from what I hear, like there's some serious talks about.
I'd love to see
round.
it. I'd love to see it because here's the thing.
Be super cool.
MX of Nations, we always talk about like what goes on with that race, what people's motivations. You don't always get the best guys because the countries can't afford it. But
or
look,
the guys
dude,
are hurt all the time.
yeah, but look, if you put a MXGP or USGP, whatever the hell you want, USGP, in the middle of our series and the GP series, where everybody's still fresh and actually in a battle for a championship, you're going to get the best out of those guys, especially if you tell them, oh yeah, this is also worth points for both of your series.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get. Like with Eli in 2017, even though Hurlings did what Hurlings did, Eli tried pushing, made a mistake, tucked the front, and everybody's like, well, Eli had a championship to win. Hurlings was still in the midst of trying to win a championship in his own series, so he had everything to lose.
Yeah.
Are you saying that they combine? So like,
Points for both.
Yeah.
so
And
you race Glen Helen, the USGP, and it goes towards the motocross or the GPs.
Yeah,
whichever one
it
you're
goes
in?
I mean, it won't
both.
be Glen Helen, but yes.
yeah,
just for
definitely.
example.
But yeah,
But yes.
it'll go towards American points and GP points.
Boy, you better fucking hope you make the program, buddy.
Well, that'll be
I'm telling
easy
you,
'cause it'll
outside
be
of it
40
being-
spots.
I'm
so
telling
all
you,
the top
outside of it
guys
being
will.
in-
Sounds easy, right?
Outside
All
of
the
it being
top
in
guys will.
California, wherever it is, I'm going to it.
Yeah, that'd be sweet if it happens.
Here's the thing, though. The unfortunate thing, it's funny, I wasn't even going to bring this up. You made the comment about, though. No privateer will make that race.
because you
no
got
fucking... What?
That's a huge problem.
Yeah, no privateer will
Yeah.
make that. No offense to
Yeah.
some of these privateers. They will not make
because
that
there's
race.
20 factory dudes over there, right?
Yeah, it's if it's not 20, it's like 18.
Yeah, and
So
then
there-
there's
yeah.
20 plus here. So yeah,
Yeah, no privateer. Well, you won't be seeing Grant Harlan make that race.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but you just won't.
yeah. So we'll see. All right, should we rant?
Sure.
For a rant right now, I'm looking up to see who owns Daytona Motorsports Group.
Then we can just...
I'm not supposed to be on my phone. Fuck you guys up.
I don't know.
Great
Then we-
podcast content.
Yeah, what do you got to rant about? Because the SMX shit we can talk about after we finish.
That's what I'm
250s.
ranting about here.
Oh, I was going to
Good
talk
one.
about something different, but you go ahead.
All
I say
right,
we do both. Let's go, boys.
all right. Holster Co. Reload rant here.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Make sure to check them out for all things go boom boom bang bang. Link in the
beep, beep,
description
pop, pop, boop, boop.
down below.
Yeah, they just expanded. There you go.
So everybody has seen now. Mathis dropped this on the Thursday show, his Moto 60 show.
Craziest thing I ever seen.
Surprised you
that-
still listen to him.
The teams
I don't.
have. Did you listen to my rant last week?
I did.
The teams lobbied the promoters so that the SMX
Get
money,
ready, dude. His voice is going up. I could tell he's about to start
the
screaming.
SMX money that for the last 3 months
Yep.
we've been hearing about. Oh, look, winner of the 450 class, another $1 million.
Yeah.
$1 million.
Yeah.
No.
It's happening right now. It's
This
happening.
money is not going to the riders. It's going to the fucking team.
Bomb drop.
This is what happens when you don't have your
A
own.
fucking riders
Union.
union.
Oh,
you don't
union.
have a union, or you don't have some type of agreement.
Shout out Chad Reed.
Yeah, well, he should be, but you got to have fucking balls to do it. So where's Chad Reed
So
at?
here's the thing. You don't have it in your contract to do these rounds anyway. Let's just start with that. But they dangle all this money in front of, ooh, look at the money, ooh, look at the money, ooh, look at the money, right? And all these guys are like, fuck yeah. Everybody's pumped. They're trying to make it in. That's why guys are coming back. We can get, if we can just get in the 20, we make 25 G's. And then what happens? Boom, month before, rug pulled out from underneath them, the old bait and switch. And this is exactly why I have issues with the promoters. Because this is fucking bullshit, man. Absolute fucking bullshit. Because not only do you not have it in your contract to ride these rounds, but you're willing to do it because the money's good. Now that money's going to get paid to the teams. And you want to hear my
curious.
conspiracy theory on this? Do you want to know why they're doing it? Because the money doesn't actually fucking exist. That 5.1 million, they're like, oh, look at this. We got all this extra money now being dumped in. It's not actually fucking there. No one actually has it. It's promoted that it's there, but it's not actually there. So now if they're not paying it to the riders, they're only paying it to the teams. Well, now, magically, yeah, that money's there. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's no fucking way. And I bet you, I will honestly bet you, that by the time we get to this time next year, there is lots of conversations about how these lower class teams didn't get the fucking money for their riders. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. And here's the thing. I listened to that Moto 60 show, and I can honestly not believe how Weege well, I can because they're Racer X affiliated, but
Yeah.
I cannot believe how Weege and Steve just kind of like swept this off to the side and like, oh, well, you know, these teams disappear and we're all like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Well, this is going to help them. Wait, what? What?
That's not true, but by doing it this way is not good.
No, this is complete and utter crap. I mean, dude, so I called Kev Friday night, and I was like, dude, did you hear about this? He's like, yeah. He's like, what do you know? And I was like, I don't know anything. I'm just like digging in. I was trying to see if you knew, because what do these privateer guys do that make it? They don't have a fucking team. Are you going to just pay them?
I just
there's
thought
no
about
fucking
this.
way.
There's no contract ahead of time. It's not like so for example, like we're gonna start my hockey season in like 6 weeks. Well, I'm under fucking contract. I read it all thing. But if you're going to the race, Supercross, Super Duper Motocross,
Yeah.
do you have a contract? I don't think so.
None of these guys are contracted to do this, as far as I know.
No.
They don't have to. And my thing is like, dude, literally at this point, these guys are going on a hope and a prayer, especially if they're on a team, that wherever they finish, the team's going to pay them. And Steve and them were like, oh, well, what if they take the money and they were like, okay, well, we're going to bonus the motor guy and we're going to bonus this guy, and you're going to, out of that
Which
100
the rider
grand,
usually does.
You're going to get 80 grand. What the fuck do you mean out of that money I'm going to get 80 grand? That money that I just earned, like if I want to bonus them as a rider, fine, cool, that's awesome. And
Which
you
is
should
normal.
do that.
Which is normal.
Which is normal. And you should do that. But to say that like, oh, now the team's going to get to decide, fuck off.
For the fans at
Fuck
home,
right off.
normally a racer. So Ricky Carmichael make this very famous. Normally a racer, when you earn a bunch of money to race.
Yep.
So Ricky Carmichael was Mr. 425, right? Because every time he'd win, Goose and all those guys would get tipped.
Yeah.
425 every time because he'd make fucking 250 grand or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's a normal thing to get tipped out. It's not like going to the bar where you make $4, let's drink or whatever stupid is, but it's a percentage. So even for lower end mechanics, it's usually like 5 or 10%. Well, it's not 5 or 10% or whatever the team decided. No. It's between you and the rider. So that was a little weird.
This is 100% bullshit, dude. 100%. Literally bait and switch. I cannot fucking believe it. And here's the thing. This is just proof that these teams, like, it's just about the teams. They don't really give a shit about the riders.
No.
It's about the show, and teams are the ones that deliver the show.
My thing is like, if you want to do this, if you want to pay this money out to them and everything, cool, then we need to go full on like Formula One, where like your base salary is like ridiculous.
Do they want to pay him out?
No, they don't. No,
Okay.
they don't. Let's face it. The promoters don't want to pay anything. The teams don't want to pay any. And this is where we get back to the entire system's broken. But that's a whole nother show of talking about how the system's broken and how it needs to be fixed. But this is,
So by Feld reinvesting into the teams, the money essentially stays in the sport. By Feld investing, we'll call it, that purse money into the riders. See you later, Dylan Ferrandis.
why don't you just split part of the fucking TV deal with the teams like every other fucking sport does? That would just be the way to do it. But hey, why the fuck would we do that? Because that's fucking dumb.
I didn't know that other sports did that, but I wondered because...
Oh yeah, that's
Well-
negotiate like NFL. That's a big deal.
Well,
like that
NFL and
TV.
team sports, yeah, but like
Yeah.
MotoGP, I didn't know that.
NASCAR is the same way. I don't know about MotoGP and F1. I assume that the TV or the streaming package stuff is
I don't think Formula
negotiated.
One is, because Formula One is their big, like, there's on ESPN, but their big thing across the pond is Sky Sports.
Yeah.
And I don't really think Sky
And
Sports does
Formula
business
One
that
is
way.
probably Formula One teams get paid out because of the Constructors' Cup.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Which is fine if we had that too. Great. If you wanted to bring this money in and say, hey, there's this much that we're going to pay to the riders, and then there's this much that will get paid to the team in the Constructors' Cup. Awesome. I have no problem with that. But this bullshit of literally they have been preaching this, and trust me, I listened to that literally today, Weege and Steve talking about this. This was known. They can say whatever the fuck they want. You could tell by the way they were talking. This was known that this has been a thing for a while.
Whoopsie.
They were trying to play it off like, oh, well, the teams said something about it, but like we didn't really know. No, you guys fucking knew. From the time the teams had said this bullshit, you knew this is what was going to happen. And yet you've still been preaching it. Playoffs, all this money for the riders. There's no money for the riders.
That's a tough look. I can't say we can compare this to like NFL, NHL, stuff like that, because the teams are worth $1 billion because of the franchise of the program.
Yeah,
It
comparing
runs
to
on its
football
own
is
show.
always
Yeah.
a bad.
It's very different from
very
what we
different.
do, right? There's no franchises involved with Supercross.
Yeah.
And I always thought that it was strange that on this level the manufacturers don't have to ante up, which would kind of drive the manufacturer's cup of it, right? Because then it makes them invest right away, and then they we want to fucking win then, right? Like if you just send a Kevin Moran, sorry Kevin, but if you just send a guy that doesn't cost you shit, then you don't have any skin in the game, right? But if you got $3 million investment to have your brand at Supercross Triumph, then you're fucking $3 million in already. You're gonna go for it, right?
Really makes you wonder if come next year, how many of these dudes are actually going to show up.
I think a lot of it's going to depend upon
World Supercross.
Well, if payouts get sent, if these privateer guys who aren't on a team go in and say,
because a lot of guys did outdoors this year.
Yeah.
We talked about this that don't normally do outdoors.
Yeah, in the expectation of going to do this. So the thing is like say Kev, let's just say he gets 20th, okay, and he wins 25 grand. If that 25 grand gets deposited in his account before the end of the year, I think he'll be cool. Yeah. And then guys will continue to do this. If it doesn't, next year looks completely different. Completely.
I mean, dude,
different.
look at like a Grant Harlan, somebody who had his best year in Supercross. We know he was an outdoor guy. He did the World Supercross thing for a little bit. Like he banked on having that fucking money.
Yeah, and
at the end of the year.
And to be honest, he's a top 15 dude. He's gonna win 50 grand or
so. So it's like he banked on that. Somebody that actually like a Kevin, not so much Starling, but like needed that fucking money. And it's like, oh nope, sorry. Like that's not really there for you. Sorry.
I mean, it really, like I said, it really just depends. I'm going to stay somewhat positive on them.
You can hope.
Paying. That's my hope, is that they actually pay. But I'll tell you, my conspiracy brain's working overtime.
You know what?
On
all this is doing right now is this is pushing dudes further and further into World Supercross.
Further and further, because World Supercross, they're paid.
Not the top dudes, because there's still restrictions on what they can and can't do. But it's a guy like Grant Harlan, like a Kevin, like a Justin Starr, all those guys in there, like an Enzo Lopes, guys that like, hey man, sorry, we kind of lied to you a little bit, and they're guys that aren't winning, they're making decent money. Well, we can just go over to World Supercross and actually make money.
Do you have to choose one or the other? Or can you do both?
If you're on a certain,
Depends.
it depends on your team and shit like that.
There's going to be some interesting contract negotiations after next year, I think, with a lot of these top dudes.
Like, first off, Honda, Kawasaki, and KTM, the Austrian groups, will never have factory teams over there.
And I 100% think that the Lawrence brothers and Shimoda are all going to
go to Ducati,
have interesting contracts where they can do it. Maybe not even the next one. Maybe the contract after that. Let's say they sign another 3-year deal or something here. So maybe we get into 2028, so that you really get World Supercross up out of the ground and going. But I think there's going to come a point, because there's no way Mertz misses out on that.
It's going to be a whole different
international
sport by then.
Yeah,
we'll be lucky to have gas bikes left.
World Supercross's biggest thing that they have to focus on right now, and it's not a big thing now because this is still their first inaugural season, is what are they going to do when the Saudi money runs out?
Yeah,
that's their big.
Does the Saudi money run out?
No. The Saudi money never runs out. Let's be real. Their money never runs out. It's the Saudi money given to them if they want to keep doing this. Because we've talked about this before. Adam Bailey is a businessman first and foremost. If he doesn't see that this is making money, he'll be like, I'm out. I'm not. He's made too much money as a promoter to get stuck if he doesn't see. And he's smart enough to see the writing on the wall. Too.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes here with that. That's a whole nother conversation.
We'll find out
too.
But I just think that's going to push more dudes further and further, and then we'll just get to the point that the only dudes lining up for Supercross and outdoors are factory guys that actually want to race.
I feel like I was pretty subdued on this rant.
You weren't fired up at all. The fuck?
Your voice raised a little bit.
I'm fired up, but I'm trying to do a more responsible, not just walk in and just.
Okay, David Goggins.
Just.
I had David Goggins my ass do a workout the other day, so I'm doing Copenhagen plates where you
For a minute, I thought he was going to say he's doing coke. I was like, what?
You don't know me, son.
I never have, but I was doing like
a
weird plank where you put your legs up on a bench and you do it on your side. I had to tell myself some David Goggins shit to get through it because
look, I'm still trying to hang out in the pits next weekend, so I'm being a little more subdued here.
Oh, you don't want to just walk in and Davey just locks eyes with you and be like, nope, get him out.
That'd be hilarious, dude. I would.
Not for me, motherfucker.
I would be more than happy to have a conversation with that motherfucker, dude.
And then if you see a Tim Cotter, if he kicks you out and you just see Tim Cotter, punch him in the face for me.
Can
suck a
You
fat.
guys don't like him, hey?
Tim Cotter or Davey Coombs?
Well, both of them, but Tim
Cotter.
Cotter.
Tim Cotter.
If Tim Cotter comes up and says something to me, you better get your phone out because there's going to be some fucking fireworks going on.
I can tell you
that
something.
Fucking guy.
I'll tell you something when we're done with this.
Okay.
Do you not watch any of Cooksey's shit?
No.
So first off, last year with the whole kid with the Deegan bike claim and having
Who
him
the fuck is Cooksey?
Chris Cooksey.
Chris Cooksey.
I've heard you guys talking about him before.
Yeah, he's homie from Vegas area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but he talks about all the shit that we talk about.
Okay.
And but he's got some more connections. So
Was he
he's
red-pilled?
No,
that's Johnny Hopper.
to an extent.
Johnny's-
I just got a little familiar with Johnny Hopper.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so Tim Cotter, number one, had a 17-year-old kid in a room by himself with no parental supervision last year.
Not
during-
what you think.
Yeah, during the
That's good because I'm about to get pissed off.
during the Deegan bike claim thing, which by the
Oh,
way
yeah, I remember hearing
they
about this.
changed
Brennan
the rules
Schofield?
this year.
Yeah.
You cannot go claim a bike without a parent with you.
Oh, don't worry.
So that was
When
interesting.
I get done telling, I'm not going to tell this story on the air because it's personal to both of us. I'll tell you a story after this about something that happened with Tim Cotter, and that'll definitely get you pissed off.
Okay.
And then
Because it's personal to both of us.
And then this year, Cooksey just did a video about a girl racing the girls' class who showed up, and Tim Cotter
Wasn't a girl?
huh?
Wasn't
yeah.
a girl?
Yeah.
Oh, this
we
happened
got
a
a dog
while
in
ago.
here.
Cassandra Regal went off on something like this happening.
Well,
once.
no,
I
and
love
Tim,
Regal. I
Tim
love
Cotter
her.
came up to her literally at the gate and was like, "You're not racing because your dad didn't pay your camping fee or whatever the fuck was going on."
Oh.
And like, I mean, was just an asshole to this
Oh,
chick.
That's not what I thought.
So,
I thought it was a girl that wasn't a girl.
oh no,
Oh,
no, this was a legit chick.
That did happen once, and had to race Cassandra Regal, and Cassandra beat him.
I love that
Her.
girl. She's so awesome.
Stuff. Anyway,
She's so great.
anyway,
We just got canceled again.
Anyways, so trust me, if he comes up to me, there will be fireworks, and we probably will not be in. Well, I won't be in the pits the rest of the weekend.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing some of these stories because I've only ever had good experiences with both those guys. I know there's some of the business type things that we talk about, especially with Davey, but both of them have just been
Look,
personal
I
note,
will
very
say
nice to me, so.
I talk a bunch of shit about Davey, okay?
Yeah.
But where I will give it to him is not once have I ever been stopped or talked to going into an outdoor race. So, and I know he knows who the fuck I am. I know he hears the shit, or his people do, so I'm sure he's well aware of the things I say and how I feel about it. But even when we've seen him and kind of just given him a head nod or whatever, not once has he ever confronted me about anything. So
He probably doesn't actually know who you are. He probably
Do you want to
is aware of
fucking
the-
bet?
I mean, he's probably aware of the show, but he's probably if he saw you, he'd probably not like, oh, that's fine.
I mean, dude, what is the show? The show is 4 hours a week of my face. He
you
knows who the
watched it-
fuck I am.
if he watched it,
Do you want to bet?
The reason why that I can only say he may not, he knows the name is because if Sean Brennan and the guys at Feld know who we are,
Sean Brennan quoted a show from 2 years prior.
Davey. Now, I'm not saying Davey cares, but he definitely
Well,
knows.
this is where I say I give him credit
Yeah.
because I never have a problem getting in. Not once. So that's cool to the extent of he lets me give my opinion and say whatever I want to, and yet doesn't be like he. It's interesting because Cooksey's basically banned. Like he can go, but he's just a normal person. Like he cannot go, he cannot pit pass, press credential,
Coach
anything.
is probably in that same.
We're like
Coach Rob.
Yeah, they don't like Coach either.
we're like I don't have that issue. So I'm
Yet.
yes. And that's why I'm still trying to be like
So I'm really glad last year when we were walking through after the motos at Ironman and we were doing the show and we came up on Bitus, I was so thankful.
I love that guy.
Because I love Bitus. I've always he is like and I was a little nervous when you stopped him. I was like, oh fuck. I was like, even though Bitus is not Racer X affiliated, Parts Unlimited,
he's still MX Sports.
he's tight with them. And I was like, oh no. I was like,
What? That he would recognize you guys or something?
no. That he would see us because we had said the name and he would say something because I really like Rob, and it would have just got me down a little bit if I was
yeah.
Rob doesn't like me.
One of those heroes things, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I really love Rob Bitus, and I'd have been really a little actually upset if he'd have been had a beef. I'd have been like,
He used to have my back back a long time ago now, when the pit bike thing was a real big deal. I would do a lot of the pit bike national, the
I just love
national
pit
stuff,
bikes, man.
like the Friday night before races. That's where
Yeah.
that's where a lot of my racing comes from, anyways. But he was always so good to me, especially because I kick ass. But like when people are in it and you can see the passion in them, I love that. And now when you think about Rob and Davey Coombs, there are very few people that have been in our sport and have seen all the eras like those two guys. Like think about Davey Coombs was a fucking pit reporter and doing stuff
it
like
was
that.
Moto World.
When
ESPN
David
Moto
Bailey
World,
was
dude.
racing, Davey Coombs was fucking there.
When Davey Coombs was a young whippersnapper.
Yeah, so it's the business side of things, the transactions of it might be not what we think is great, but the other side of it is you guys have been involved in our sport
I also
longer than
think-
we've been alive, dude. Like
I also
Davey
think a lot
Coombs-
has to do with Davey's sister, Carrie.
Yeah.
Like Dave Senior was in it a long time before, like way before I was born. But like
Start the
these
East-West
guys have been
shootout.
in it. They've been in it for a long fucking time. So even if the business transaction part of it isn't what we like, which I don't even fucking know, that some of the stuff I'm not pumped about, but they have to love the sport, right? So
Hey, man, look, maybe Davey just needs to get away from his sister and everything would be copacetic.
Yeah, I don't know. He's
I'm good with
interesting.
sisters, but I don't know nothing about that one.
Carrie's, she's
She's
devil
a
lady.
real
She's a devil lady. She's
piece of
she's,
work,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
So she's like the office side of the operations then.
Her and the Stu fam. Wow.
Back end.
Yeah. Well, maybe not. Well, I don't
You
know.
mean like
I don't,
Sonya and those guys? What are you saying here?
No, like she has a lot to do with the publicity side and the public. Like,
Okay, the promotion side.
yeah, like basically, if for instance, like the Richies. If the Richies were ever dealing with anybody, it would be her. But I've heard that she's kind of a devil lady in disguise.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not great.
Yeah, it's not. She's just really hard to work with and kind of just a.
I don't have too many specific stories with her, but I've heard she's not a great person. So
I
don't
could
know.
be 80 grit sandpaper myself, so I'm listening with wide open ears. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. So, all right, should we
Let's get to this 250 class.
jump in this 250 class here?
Where'd the
All right.
dog go? He was awesome.
I don't know. He's probably
dipped.
over there with mom. All right, 250s, 250 race recap from Bud's Creek here. Oh, sorry, that was Holster Co. Reload rant there. So we're all done.
We're doing our normal tangent when all of us are in the same room together.
Yeah.
I ain't mad about it whatsoever. And if you guys want to go on another, what'd you call it, tinfoil hat thing? Mm-hmm. I ain't against it either.
Well,
Not for this
That's all
show.
I got for right now.
Okay.
So, all right, 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co.
You don't want to talk about Hawaii?
Make sure not on this show.
Oh, no, we're not. We're not doing
We
that.
can talk at length next weekend. we got lots of time next weekend.
We're not doing that on this show today.
But not on this show.
yeah.
So, 250 race recap brought to you by our friends at Adept Creative Co. Make sure to check them out. All your graphics needs for all your bikes. They got all sorts of sick kits.
Is Canada really burning?
So, quiet. We're not talking about stuff. Yeah, so make sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. Okay, here we go. So,
Hunter Brothers.
Hunter.
Hunter Brothers.
Hunter goes 2-1 here. Comes into the day 22 points ahead. Leaves the day 22 points ahead.
He's awesome.
I mean, barring something catastrophic next week, we're good.
He's awesome.
Is part of you guys, since unfortunately I'm not going to be there this year, is part of you guys, even though it'd be cool to see Hunter get both of them like his brother, part of you hoping that the first moto, the bike grenades, and Jake Hoop wins just so we can actually
Boy.
see?
So, here's what I was
Nobody
thinking.
wants to see that bike grenade. I'm not saying I want Hunter to win this title because he's gotten this far, especially all the shit. But just for racing purposes, how insane would that be if that bike grenade's the
Be
first
super
moto
cool.
and
What's
it goes
Elon-
down
like-
what?
What's Elon Musk always say? What's the most exciting thing to happen? That's probably what's going to happen. So you think about like all the different years that we had the last round and something crazy happened. Like think about like Ivan Tedesco, Michael Essie.
Trey Kennard, Christoph Purcell.
Like there's always, it just so happens to work out this way. So
Actually, perfect would be is if Jake Hoop got second and then Hunter blew the motor because then it would be tied.
I love the little love tap that Justin
Oh.
Cooper gave.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna
Hunter
get into
Lawrence.
that.
We'll get
but
to that.
I want fireworks. Let's go.
But no, Hunter did what Hunter did. I know you got that on the. He does what he does, man. He's just on it, silky smooth. Second moto, I think when he ripped a good start, he just kind of was like, hey, That's
Yeah.
why I think it's funny, and I was going to say this after the Washougal show, what I was not. If I'd have been on for Unadilla, everybody was so critical about what happened at Washougal, and I'm just like, did he not? Did everybody just see what he did at Millville the week before?
Yeah. So let me ask you this: before the red flag there, that first moto, were you like, ooh, this is going to get real interesting next week because you got Deegan's running away? Okay,
kinda
Deegan
pissed
was
me off.
running away.
We'll get
and
to
then
that,
you've
yeah.
got Hunter. Hunter got to fourth, and like Hunter wasn't moving forward.
Hunter and Vial, like they were locked in a battle,
and they were way behind
Yeah, they-
third place. And I was
Ju-
like, okay, so then I'm doing math in my head. I'm like, that's 6 or 7 points. And like he's only 22 behind. So you do 6 or 7 in this moto. Let's just say they go 1-2 the next moto. So now you're down to like 12 points going in the last round. Like that makes things, because here's my thing, and say whatever you want. Deegan's one of those people that's not scared. So if it's 12 points in that last round, what do you think he's doing?
Oh, he's
Same
teeing
thing
him
he did
up.
in the
Oh,
front.
he's torpedoing
Same thing he did in
him.
the second moto first
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah, exactly.
Or was it the restart?
No,
It was a
the
restart of the first
and it was
moto,
on
yeah.
Vial of all people.
Yeah, fucking idiot.
Jeez.
So anyway, but I mean that was a good.
It's
barring.
because they didn't water the inside of the first corner.
Well, we'll get
that's
to
why-
that. We'll get to that. Hold on, pause. We'll get to
Honda.
that. But outside
Just
of that,
kidding. Love Honda.
that restart pretty much saved the day for Hunter yesterday, because
Yeah.
otherwise I think this is a 10-point, 12-point deal going into the last round, which makes things super interesting. I agree with you though. I do think whatever can happen will happen, and like it would not surprise me if all of a sudden, like first moto next week, we see Hunter standing on the side of the track doing this.
Or, and it's something that we on this show and other people that are kind of in the same mindset of us talk about. A lot of them don't like to talk about, especially Steve being one of them. But the team tactics thing.
Yeah,
It's very much
because hey,
Well,
we
here's the
know
thing.
Star loves to play
here's
team
the
bullshit.
thing. I don't even think it's going to be a team tactics thing. Deegan wants to prove that he's better than what people are giving him credit for at this point.
Well, and I don't even mean that, just Deegan being Deegan, because he's out there for blood no matter if you're
Yeah,
fucking
I want
Tom Vial or
fireworks.
Joe
Yeah.
Schmoda, he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking in the sense if they're like, hey, like Styles, Levi, Dax, we know what Hayden's going to go do what Hayden's going to do. We know that Jay Coop... What's up?
Do they even need to say anything, or do they just know?
No, I think Levi. I don't necessarily
they're
know
all
if
at the farm this week.
I don't think Levi
there's conversation
and Styles necessarily ride like that, and I'm not even saying Dax rides like that. But if they're like, hey,
the only one that's even close to him though is
I don't
Levi.
I don't mean speed. I'm talking about on the start. Hey, where's Hunter going?
Oh, he could get pinched off super easy.
Hey, is Jay Coop going to line inside? Because we know at Crawfordsville, it's like basically it's center, 3 out from center of the doghouse. Where? Oh, we're gonna split him. Oh, you're gonna cross over him on the start. Oh, okay, we're good. That's all. I guarantee. Depending on where qualifying goes,
Yeah.
they're gonna look at where Hunter's at, and those fucking star bikes are gonna follow his ass to that line.
If I'm Hunter, I am qualifying like 25th.
That would be smart, honestly. Like, it would be a smart thing because you know that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And here's another thing, too. Hunter, for whatever reason, has a history of not qualifying well at Ironman. Ironman has not been one of his, like, good tracks
Yeah,
he's
I
done
don't know.
well at. I guarantee this is a conversation that's going on right now at the Goat Farm. Like, hey, what if we just, like, all swarm him on the start? Because, think about it, dude. If they just...
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Because Hayden's going to
Anybody
do...
would.
Hayden's
Anybody.
going to do what Hayden's going to do, but, like...
Hayden's fast enough. So Hayden, if I'm Star, the plan is you put all 3 of those guys, Kitchen, Styles, and Dax, all around him on the start, okay? And then you put Cooper and Deegan
On the
kind of
inside.
away from
Yeah.
them so that way if there is something that happens, they don't get caught up in it. And then your backup plan is Deegan sawing off that front wheel in the motos.
I don't even think
Because-
you have
I
to
would love
tell
to see
Hayden.
it.
I don't even think you have to tell Hayden that. I think he'll just do it because
I
he
think
wants
so
to do it.
too. Because he wants to win.
And Jay Coop's thing is he knows he can win. He knows he's just as fast as Hunter, so he doesn't need to play those games.
Yeah.
But everybody else, like, hey, man, and look, let me make this clear. I'm not saying I want to see this happen. I'm just
do.
talking about the conversations that are going on.
Oh, man, it'd be great.
Because does everybody remember Shane McElrath and Chase Sexton in Vegas?
playing
doesn't-
games with the gates.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yamaha does not care. We know Bobby
Yep.
Regan and Brad Hoffman will play those games.
Which is why I'm still super mind blown that Cooper Webb did not show up for these last 3.
I know. It'll be very interesting, and I'm going to be sitting there watching it. And if all of a sudden you see those blue bikes start following that Honda, I'll be like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Boy, you want to talk about nerves.
We're-
Imagine being, let's just say, Deegan or Cooper out front and Hunter's somewhere
Like 7th.
nearby. Imagine having blue bikes around you and, like, how tight you would be, like, the nerves you would feel. Holy shit.
If I'm him, I'm just like, we're going to let the gate drop. You guys boys go, and I'll follow you to the first turn.
here's
All
the
you got to do is finish, but, like, if you're a competitor like that, like, I'm there to win. Mm-hmm. But
here's the downside. Jets going for the perfect season. Otherwise, you think there's a chance they would have put him on the 250
not
just
eligible.
to help?
Not eligible.
He can ride outdoors. There's no thing with outdoors.
You're sure?
Yeah, outdoors is a national championship.
That honestly
Any-
didn't even really cross my mind.
I'm just saying, if it wasn't for the perfect season, like say he gets beat this weekend, why does he not? Why would you not?
I
That
got a
way you have
bigger
another red bike
I got
out
a
there.
bigger question to ask you. Say just hypothetically, because this is what we're talking about hypothetically. We don't know what's going to happen. Say something does happen to Hunter.
This is fun.
It is good. It's the part of talking about championship stuff, especially because there is a bigger deficit. But just say hypothetically, say that first moto, something does happen to Hunter. Whether he crashes, Star does some fuckery, bike blows up,
breaks,
whatever.
whatever.
Say Jay Coop wins. Who's your pick for that second moto to win the title, Hunter or Jay Coop? Because I'm going to be honest, if Hunter goes through some shit, Jay Coop's winning that title.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jay
man.
Coop's taking home that first title.
I don't know.
Hunter is going to be
It's a
so
toss-up in my
mentally
mind.
rattled.
I don't see him get rattled, though. I see, like, even if he's down, he's still...
But here's the thing, though. If Jay Coop does win, Hunter's going to have to lay it all on the line, and he's going to have to go beat him. He's going to have to win, which we've seen. Obviously, he's done it, but he hasn't really been in any situations outdoors this year where it's like there's been the pressure to win. He hasn't really needed to win since the first round.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, hey, man, no, you got to go win.
Here's the crazy thing, and they pointed this out on something I was listening to today. So Justin Cooper's only 22 points behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about the season, do you think that Justin Cooper's anywhere close as far as like the way things go? Because when you really think about it, he's only lost 1 point per round,
which is crazy because of how harsh we've been on him. But yeah, you start thinking about he goes to High Point, and Ricky made this comment with the way he was riding in practice. It's probably going off the way he rode, he was going to either win or get second. Mm-hmm. So you go to that, and then you go to the fact
that's tough playing that if, ands, what's, or buts too, because you've got two motos that Hunter didn't race either.
No, yeah. So they're lot. So yeah, no, you can.
Plus Hunter got 7 point thing where
you can look at a lot of these. Same thing
Cooper
with Hayden.
only got a 5 point penalty. You can look at a lot of there's a lot of stuff there.
You just got to look at the way Jay Coop is ridden this year, and you go, if he would have had those two motos back, and then he would have been healthy going into Redbud, where would those 4 motos have given him?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that you got to look at it and go, hey, you know what, Jay Coop right now, maybe he's not the points leader, but he's probably a hell of a lot closer than 22 points. And he's had a good season, man.
Because if you do that, then you got to go, okay, well, if Hunter doesn't have those two motos, even with the penalty, we'll just leave the penalty. Let's just say Hunter has those two motos. What does Hunter go? 2-2 in those two motos?
To me, I only look at Hunter. I only look at the bike grenade as the biggest thing. The first turn stack up, that's part of racing.
Yeah.
Just like what Jay Coop crashing is. The bike blowing up, to me, is the only one where I go, yep, nope, that was the big one that had nothing to do with him.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. But he's got 22 points going into this last round, and I can't wait. Like, we should make our way down by that. Well, I guess, are you pitting for?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll make my way down by that start grid here.
Well, if the 450s are first, then I'll probably be free. I don't know who starts this year.
No, I think the
450s will be second.
Yeah,
they only did that for TV.
Yeah.
Isn't that why they would do the 250s first?
Yeah, 250s will be first, and then the 450s will be second. So yes, but I'll make my way down there because I'll be super interested to see if they line up next to each other. So
yeah, for the fans at home, I'll be wrenching for Kevin Moran's this coming weekend.
Yep. Justin Cooper goes 1-2 for second. I mean,
made a boss move after that restart. He's like, Hunter, your front end's wide open. Nah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna pop you out of this.
That was impressive.
Was a gentleman's pass right there.
Oh, it was. Ricky's right. Like if he wanted to, he could have just center punched him right.
I kind of wish he would have.
I mean, was anybody else like really wishing Hunter was gonna get back to him? Because I really think we would have seen Hunter try to pay him back.
Made for a great race because the whole time I'm like, watch the fucking fireworks coming.
Yeah, but Hunter just couldn't catch him.
I think and that's a testament. That's a testament to how good Jay Coop actually is, though, when he starts in the front.
Yeah,
he's still one of the best 250 dudes in the world when he's not working his way through the pack. And we've talked about this a million times.
There was one thing when we were just talking about points I didn't think about last week when they put that stabilizer on his bike in that first moto.
Yeah, let's just take away more technique.
I'm so glad you just brought this up. Go ahead and finish with this first.
Because that is something that, like, okay, you could add those points back in.
Yeah, because I think he probably could have won. He should have won. He rode the second moto.
Won or got second, so you add another 10 points on there.
Stupid.
And it's closer.
Stupid on their part.
Yeah.
That was so dumb. I don't know
why you would test that with someone like that. But I guess last week it was more of a Deegan was in the race there. In the championship.
It was on Jay Wilson's bike when he rode the factory 250 in Japan.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from.
Yeah. It's been something they've been testing and
just take away more technique from riding on their bike.
Well, here's the thing, though. So you think about EPS, you think about power steering on a motorcycle, and you're like, I don't really turn the handlebars that much. But it's not about that at all. It really isn't. I haven't ridden one, so I can't say firsthand in moto, but just like with a car, so okay, I drive a 55 Chevy a lot of the time. It doesn't have power steering. And if I hit a bump or like a curb or something, it yanks the wheel. It yanks the fuck out of the wheel.
Yeah.
Right? I thought I broke my arm one time straight up because it hit the door handle when I was going into a weird driveway. Now you think about it's not about turning, like it's for turning it easier, but really it's not about that. It's about having the wheel be stable.
Yeah.
So you could like, with one finger.
So, and they talked to Jay Wilson on Pulp on Monday, was it Jay Wilson? No, it was what's his name? Travis. He's test rider for Yamaha. Old '90s dude, early 2000s guy.
Preston?
Yes,
Travis Preston.
Yeah. So they were talking to him. He said he rode it. He said in the woods it's great, and basically on tracks that are not super deep ruts like that.
Because it
it's
locks
great.
the front end down. Because it locks the front end down. The
Yeah,
front end's
he
almost
said the
too
super
planted.
deep ruts, it doesn't work. But so
a
that
rough, choppy track would be crazy because, like, you don't ever have tank slap again in your life. But even when you come into, like, these, like, I ride a 125 because I love diving deep in the corners. And you come into it and you got to really muscle it around. You got to really dance that front end around. Well, if you got EPS, you're very casually knifing your way through that. So it takes a lot of that energy out of it. So, like, you get an Adam Ciancerulo who doesn't want to wrestle the bike around. It probably is a huge advantage.
I definitely can see how it could help a lot of people, and also I can see, especially on your style, if you're somebody that's more extended with your upper body and that front end's locked all the time, you're gonna have this hesitation where, like, your chest is gonna get behind your arms and your arms are gonna want to tuck.
Yeah,
because that front end is actually, and Stu made this comment, it's almost too planted to the ground. Because obviously, you know, with certain tracks, you want a little bit of float, you want the feedback from the front end, but if that front end's always locked down, it's gonna go one way or the other.
Yeah, like I said,
for like AC, it'll be good, but other guys that are like Jet Lawrence would not be able to ride with his front end being that squatted.
They basically do that anyway by just over tightening the fuck out of the steering stem.
I mean, we all do that, but it's not even close to the same effect you get out of it, though.
No one seems to know the exact intricacies of this system that they put on there.
They put on pit bits.
Okay.
They did a thing on it. Whoever, I think it's Michael Lindsay that still does pit bits. He actually did like a whole like sketch.
Oh, okay.
Of what it kind of like what they know of what it does, like a diagram. And I can't remember the specifics because I was just looking through it. But go back and look on Vital's website and go to Pit Bits, and they have a whole thing of like it's almost like a cylinder or a solenoid, I should say. I don't know how it works. Like I said, I didn't read the whole thing, but he has a whole article on it of like what it actually supposedly does.
Interesting.
As we get into electric bikes, things like this become more and more not only prevalent, but like it's a smaller thing to add to a bike when it already have all the rest of the electric shit there.
Yep. So, all right. So Joe Shimoda goes 7-3 for third. Okay.
Was really pressuring Jay Coop that second moto, man.
Do you think he's ever going to win a title?
Well, he's going to Honda.
Do you ever think he's going to win a title?
Yeah. Well,
he's still 250 for another year, right?
Yeah, he's 250. Well, he's going 250 probably for what, another 2 years?
Gotta be 2.
I bet he does.
Probably win Supercross this year.
I think he's going to be a favorite for one of the Supercross titles next year.
But does he shit the sheets?
I guess it just depends. I guess it just depends
on
who's on his coast.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, he's always a threat for wins, but I think the fact that he's afraid of that bike.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if that bike's going to grenade.
I'll tell you what, if he shits the sheets next year with that Honda, we'll know it's a mental thing with him.
Could you imagine, though, if he comes out and he just is like fucking dominating?
That'd be
cool. I wouldn't be surprised at all, honestly.
I wouldn't either. With the way he rode last year.
But I don't know if I see it, to be honest.
I don't know either, but he was one of, outside of when Jay Coop was having Jay Coop moments, the only guys to actually beat Jet straight up on a 250.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you could find that,
yeah,
you could be the best dude in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a good thing that they got going to Honda with him going there, too, is that he and the Lawrence brothers get along very well. And
yeah, well, here's the interesting thing. He's going to be training with them now.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, he is going to be on the program with them. He's going to be he's going to really sponge off of a lot of their
Here's another thing.
Yeah.
Here's another thing to think about. And I know he's got Nick. Nick's in his corner.
Which is awesome.
I don't think he's going to work with Nick next year.
Well,
shout out to Nicholas Way, Team 27.
Michigan Mafia. Here's where I was going with this. You know who's over at Honda right now that knows how to ride a dirt bike pretty fucking good? Trey Kennard.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine Trey working with... This is not... I'm actually think that a lot of people think Nick Way has been a problem for some of these dudes. AC, McAdoo. I was on the other end of this, and Cole and me got into this during Supercross.
Mm-hmm.
Nick's but the mental.
Could you... Exactly. I think it's more the
thing.
mental. Could you imagine, though, Trey working with Joe on some technique things? Because I look at Joe sometimes, and I'm like, man, I don't really know if that's working for you. Trey, we all know how Trey rides. Chance Hymas rides exactly like Trey does. Chance is butter on a bike.
Mm-hmm.
Trey get in there, tweak some of the technique things. Dude, Joe might go out and set the world on fire, and all of a sudden he just wins everything next year. I'd love to see it because I love Joe, and so do the fans, because that Joe chant was fucking awesome.
Yeah. All right, so Faulkner goes 8-4 for fourth.
Love to see it.
There's sparks.
I didn't even like the guy fucking 6 months
There's sparks
ago.
there. He hasn't
it's working
raced
for
in
him.
so long.
It's working for him.
Yeah.
And honestly, that second moto was impressive that Hayden got to him, and I don't know about you guys, but I was thinking, caught him. He's going like a second faster. I understand Bud's one line off camber, whatever. I thought Hayden was going to like get to him, and then all of a sudden either Austin was going to just backtrack or Hayden was just going to drop him. Austin wicked it up, and he's like, nope, sorry, kid. Like, it's not going to be this easy. I'm Austin, and I'm going to ask this when I go to my SMX thing. Austin is one of those dudes that, because he's going to get into the playoffs now. He's going to get in. Outside of something crazy happening at Ironman, he's going to get in. I looked at the points. He's somebody that could catch fire going into those SMX rounds.
Yeah, he could.
It's weird to think about Supercross coming up and the people that will be contenders and not consider him to be a contender.
You have to. If Austin Fortner is healthy, as much as he has screwed up his career, the one thing you can say about Austin Fortner, if he's healthy, he's always a threat to win everything.
Yep.
It's just if he can put the whole season together.
Well,
again.
maybe that's-
But boy,
Maybe that's what Rhino's going to help with.
Maybe
here.
Ryan's doing it, man.
Is
Because
he working with Rhino?
Yeah, he's been working with
I
Rhino
love
since
that.
before he came back. And you watch Austin, and you big with the way Rhino is. You watch his foot positioning. It's changed. His style has changed dramatically since he started working with Rhino. And hey, hasn't hit the deck yet.
Ryan Hughes is fucking crazy, but boy, is he awesome.
Yeah, he's a little.
He's really smart when it comes to this stuff. Again, the tactician of the
Oh, yeah.
of the fan
Yeah.
that I am. Like
like I said.
Ryan Hughes even changed the way that I ride.
He's super smart with that stuff. So, Tom Vial goes 5.6 for 5th.
Greatest
Okay.
name, greatest name in motocross right there.
I think, and I agree. You said about Unadilla having to go from Supercross to outdoors. I think that it's
He's
catching
getting smacked in the dick about like having to transition and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
and I also think too some of his like little crashes that he's had throughout the year are starting to catch up with him because even though he didn't get hurt badly,
Yeah.
he had some pretty big get offs in Supercross in the mains. Some of them were his fault. He had to get off at Thunder Valley. He had to get off at Washougal. I just think that it's catching up to him, and he's just like, hey man, like it is what it is. I haven't heard anything that he's bitching, complaining. Like he's taking it on the chin, and I think he's realizing like, hey, this is tough. It's not going to be. But all the dudes that came over from Europe, their first year was a struggle, and then they all did fine. Dylan did fine.
all of
Kenny
them.
did Marv. I just keep going. He'll be fine. Just is what it is. And hey, it's not going as well as you thought. He knows how to recover.
Yeah,
He's a 2-time world champ.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fine.
we'll see. Jalik Swole goes 3.12 for 6th. That third was pretty good. He rode really well that
Good
first
ride.
moto.
Hey man, I told you this last time.
He actually
I can't hate on Jalik anymore. He's actually pulling his head out of his ass.
Wasn't he doing pretty
was
well there
leading.
before that restart too?
Yeah, he was. I think he was like 7th.
Yeah,
6th or
he was
7th.
up there.
He was inside the top 10. I think.
I didn't say because I think I had him on fantasy. Yeah, I had him on fantasy because I saved him for Buds because Florida style dirt at Buds. I was like, okay, sweet.
He's a Florida man, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's Hey man, if Jalik's top 10, I'm cool with it.
yeah, I think so. So
I'm cool with it.
Dax Bennett goes 4.11 for 7th. That
Definitely.
4th was restart.
Are we gonna get to that when we talk about Deegan, the restart?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. Okay. Good for Dax Bennett. Like, hey man, he got into the SMX rounds.
Look, here's what I say. When he came in, if he was running like the top 12, good to go. That's where he's basically slotted in. I think that's fine.
I think he's gonna be good in Supercross next year.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
see.
he proved in futures that him and Juju are gonna be just fine.
Yep. Carson Mumford goes 12.8 for 8th. Okay.
Quiet.
Where's he going next year?
MCR. Moto Concept.
Yeah, Moto Concepts.
Quiet. I mean,
Yeah.
quiet. I don't think it'd be good for him because I think the MCR thing is also tied to World Supercross.
Yeah.
So I think honestly Carson is one of those dudes that's fine just riding Supercross. Quiet though. Good for him though that he's going to get a ride. Deserves it.
Julian Balmer, a.k.a. Juju, goes 11.9 for 9th.
I didn't know that's what you guys were talking about.
Yeah,
with
Juju.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good because everybody says he's way better indoors, which we've seen. He is.
Those guys both were right up there in the
Yeah.
in the standings.
Well, Juju was running like 5th, and then I think reality set in, and it's like it's hard to do this for 35 minutes.
Here's a fun thing to
He's
think
going to be
about.
good though.
Here's a fun thing to think about. He outqualified Deegan at that Anaheim Futures thing by like
A lot,
multiple
yeah.
seconds.
Qualifying means shit to me.
Well, I'm just saying he was super fast that night, and then he crashed. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think he broke the bars.
yeah, he broke the bar mounts. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yeah.
So
well, he was on a stock Yamaha.
and here's the other crazy thing. He's going right to the truck next year.
yeah,
He is factory.
he's not doing mini-Os
KTM.
like Dean did. He's going straight to get ready for Supercross. I think that's
Bummer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'll be on one coast in Viality. on the
yeah,
other.
no, he's taking Volan's spot.
Yep. Oh,
In factory
yeah,
KTM,
because Volan's going to Pro Circuit.
which is super interesting from no ride to factory KTM in 6 months.
250s. You just have Tom Vial
and Juju. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Yep, that'll be it for
Because
next year.
Volan's going to Pro Circuit.
Yep. Well,
Well, he's been talking to other teams, but I think it's going to
no,
be him.
I heard the other day that the whole pro circuit deal, Mitch wants him, but it's all coming down to Big Calorie saying yes or no.
Well, if they don't have him, then they're just going to, for the first time, have a 4-rider team.
I'm just
it's
saying.
It's going to be McAdoo, Fortner, Hammaker, and Kitchen.
Well,
Can we get a fucking pro circuit championship already?
Yeah, how the hell is Kawasaki? I didn't realize this. Kawasaki has not won one race this entire season. Holy shit.
I mean, yeah.
I'm,
in either
like,
class.
I haven't ridden Kawasaki since like 2000.
I don't like
I don't
them.
even want know when, but
I don't like them.
come on.
No, I
For
don't.
Mitch. Do it for Mitch.
I just don't like those bikes. Like, I've rode them. They just don't fit my style at all.
Hey, kind of weird that Jet Reynolds still has just yet to show up since his sickness.
Well, it was food poisoning.
There's food poisoning, and yeah.
That's an interesting. No one really knows, from what I understand right now.
They're just like,
I'm gonna do
Jet,
some.
go
I'm
away.
gonna do some digging this
Go
week
away,
on
Jet.
that.
Go away.
Yeah, that's something else.
Is he another Nick Way guy?
No,
No.
he's just
a
hang
cow.
out at the hang out in Baker's what is it, Bakersfield?
No, he's a SoCal.
Yeah, but that's
dude.
where he's from. He's
Yeah.
from Bakersfield.
Yeah.
California. Bakersfield. Yeah.
So he's not on somebody's program.
Dude, he's
I don't
got
know.
well, he's
I
got
don't
like
know
his
what
own
his deal
fucking
is.
compound at his house. in
Yeah, I don't know what his
California.
deal
He's
is
fine.
exactly.
Sweet,
Here's what I
sounds
know.
good.
He didn't show up because of food poisoning. To what round was it?
It was after Redbud, so it would have
Yeah,
been
Millville. And then he just hasn't come back since.
which is
And-
wild because he was actually good at Redbud. He was top
Yeah.
10.
I don't know. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Just pay him to go away.
Let's see here. Where were we? Hammaker goes 614 for 10th. Okay.
I think Seth, and I'm a big Seth Hammaker fan. I think Seth is literally one less mistake away from being consistent podium guy.
yeah.
Because he's clearly showed since he's come
He's
back. He has
fast, yeah.
it's that one mistake at the end of the motos. Because like that 6 was good because I think he came from like 11th or 12th.
Yep.
I think he'll be good at the SMX rounds, but it's frustrating every time I watch him. I'm like, dude, if it was just one mistake, one less mistake,
Yep.
you'd be podium every weekend because he's got the speed to win.
Especially at Super Duper Cross. He's so fast.
Oh, he's good. He's good. He's going to be interesting, yeah.
You guys know that McAdoo is probably not going to make Super Motocross.
Which is crazy because he's been riding. Mm-hmm. You know,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the
But
deal?
he's going to point. He's going to get.
He's
bounced
going to
to the
get
points.
bounced out. But
there's no LCQ for
this is a whole
No,
other
he's
thing.
going to be
We
out
will-
of the 20 to 30. Like 20 to 30 is LCQ.
Yeah,
he's not
actually,
even going to be in that.
let's talk about that at the end because there are some things I have to say about that too.
Yeah, well, it'll go into my question for you guys about
Okay, and here we go. Your Isaac Nelson Designs Deegan Danger Zone. So Hayden Deegan goes 16.5 for 11th. So
He only got 16th that first moto. The second half of the first moto. Man.
that. Yeah.
that
Well, you know
was
when he
a
bonsai'd there.
hell of a ride, though.
Yeah.
The first-
Because
before the red flag, it was a
dude,
hell
so
of a
yeah,
ride.
let's start off before the red flag. He was gone.
Yeah, he was
He had everybody's number, and he
Oh.
gave him the bird and took off.
Hey, here's the thing. I know you haven't. Have you ever been to Bud's?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know where he passed Joe on the outside? You know how cambered that is?
Dude.
That is him. When I watched him, I'm like, there's no way. Because, like, TV,
Dude.
like,
He kind of
Unadilla,
let him go. He Joe didn't push it. Like,
But
he
to
was
have-
going.
to have
get
the
that
balls on how much of an elevation drop that is to
Yeah.
push it that deep.
How about that? How about going up that triple and just sending it
Dude,
behind
that's
Joe?
You're looking for credit
he
to Joe, though,
was-
for like, fuck no, dude, you are not going to go around the outside of me twice.
Dude,
That
his
triple's so scary.
his
Oh,
crotch was beyond the rear fender, hanging off that thing, trying to get traction, get up that triple.
It's just like McCarthy's log road.
No, I
we were
know.
talking about earlier.
Elevation, just like Unadilla on I don't know what the hell they call it now, but like I used to call it screw you, the whatever. It doesn't do it justice. Where
Yeah.
he passed Joe, the commitment and the balls that you have to push it, because if you blow that berm, it's a long ways down, buddy. And he's just like, nope, I'm gonna do it, and I don't give a shit.
I was super impressed that first
Oh,
half
dude,
of that
he
first
was-
moto, dude, because he got the lead, and I was like, okay, cool, like everybody's gonna
running
stay
away.
pretty close, and then all of a sudden it was like 7 seconds. I was like, wow,
Yeah, very good.
we're here to party.
He
And that was when I was like, Hunter's in fourth. He's not moving forward.
and Jay Coop was behind
yeah,
Hunter.
yeah, and 22, and we're 22 points here. Like this is all of a sudden going to cut 7 or 8 points right out of that.
The kid, look, man, he is all the credit in the world to him. I didn't get to talk about Washougal. Killed it. I'm still not on the Hayden Deegan bandwagon, but I got to give the kid credit. He has definitely proven himself and then some. I feel bad for him at Unadilla.
Any problem with what he did to the bike there? at Unadilla where he kicked it? I know,
no.
me
Even
neither.
and same thing with us. Like a lot of people would probably think with us like being mechanics, I'd be like, no, dude. It shows you care. Like
Yeah.
if you just
Invested.
walked off and just looked at it and like, yeah, what the fuck? Okay.
You can be a gentleman, but fuck that.
fuck
I was
that.
gonna
No,
say-
man, I got no problem with it.
There were people that were losing their minds about that. I'm like,
Was
dude,
Steve one of them?
No,
surprising.
no.
Oh,
He
that's-
actually wasn't, which is amazing. Yeah, no. And I watched that video and I was like, dude, I mean,
Shows he cares, man.
all he did was like he jumped off the back. He's like, no, it's broken. Then like kicked it once, which like, fuck, probably I would Well, no, I wouldn't because
You'd never be in that position.
yeah, but
None of us would be.
But knowing the position he's in there with the title and everything, I'm like, dude, I would do it too. And then like he like went to slam his helmet, and then he was just like, ugh.
Hey man, and also he's a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
We talked about this. Lucas Kunin, when he was leading at Toyshintal, the
Oh,
bike
yeah.
let go, same thing. He fucking late, and he's like, yeah, and he wasn't even battling for a title. It just showed he
No.
cared. He's screaming. You could almost hear him
Yeah.
over the bikes. It's like,
Now, if he stands there and stomps on that
Yeah,
bike,
no, that's
a
different.
different story.
That's a different
but
look.
for what
but
he
there were
did,
actually people like I'm like reading. I'm like, dude, I'm not even a Hayden Deegan fan. I'm a
Oh,
hater,
man.
and I'm just like, dude, that shows the kids care.
did you
Yeah,
see the crazy
ultimate
conspiracy theories coming out about that? Oh, they did something to his bike.
Who?
I don't know.
fucking some rando
Then
from Honda
somebody-
just went up and like.
Then
what?
somebody was like, "Oh, his mechanic didn't put the air filter in it or something." Like all sorts of dumb
Yeah,
shit. And I'm
'cause-
just like, "Oh my god, stop!"
Yeah.
People say all types of things.
They're running those bikes on the razor
Especially Hayden of
edge.
all people. We know
Yeah.
how it was, dude. It was bound to happen.
It was
going to
bound
happen
to
at some
happen.
point.
The way he rides.
I feel so
No
bad
way.
for him. Second moto was just at Unadilla at least. Bad start, shit gate position, but I feel
Well.
so bad for him. At
I mean,
Bud's.
we got robbed because we had a 3-race race off here to the title, and we got robbed that first moto of the 3 races. That happens the last moto. Okay, cool, whatever. Some poetic justice for the end of the series or whatever, of Hunter winning and Deegan being the rookie and like, man. But like the first moto, I'm like, man, this really
Dude, he's gone.
fucking sucks.
He's gone. I
It
will
took
say
his
though,
chance at history out of his hands.
But I will tell you what, I don't think it doesn't fucking matter because as we saw, he's fucking going for it. Now, can we
Yeah.
talk about that restart there?
and this is where I'll go in the fact you still see he is a rookie and he shows because he got amped up as he should be. He's like, hey, dude, I'm walking away from these guys. They got nothing on me. He got
Yeah.
amped up and he just drove it in deep.
Way deep.
And it's
I
like,
would
inside, way too
watch
far
that
inside.
too
happen.
far. And like, dude, he hit VL. He obviously didn't mean to. He hit VL hard as shit.
yeah, they didn't water the first turn. Like they left a lot of the rest of the track dry at Bud's, and it had that slick dust base. And you come into the first corner and it's not water. You're fucking.
He was.
Oh,
I'll
dude,
tell
he
you
was
what.
sending it.
He was going to that whole shot
He
line.
was sending it, and I'm here to tell you, if he gets that start or even in the top 3, he's gone again.
Yeah, oh,
he's
yeah.
gone. He was on it.
If
So
that was 96 instead of 128 he ran into, this would be a very different conversation.
Oh.
100%. But
hey, man, all the props to him. He has definitely proven all of us naysayers wrong. The kid is good. He's gonna win championships.
Yeah, I love to see
and
it.
I'm going to
just-
stop this right here too. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I'm going to stop this right here too because I'm going to pull all the Deegan fans in and they're going to support me this week. Any of you dumb shits that are out there complaining about how Star broke the rules in the first turn because the mechanic helped him pick the bike
You
up
can do
and
that in
stuff.
the first corner.
You
Yeah.
can fucking do that. There was a whole thread on some group I'm in Facebook about it, and this kid's like, "Oh, they can just cheat whenever they want," and I'm like, "That's allowed." In case
been
you
allowed for
haven't ever
years.
been to a race, dumb fuck. Every single team has 1 to 2 guys in that first corner to help in a position like that.
Yeah, it's been going on. It's been the rules forever, and that just shows the ignorance of people that don't actually follow
Literally, a
this
guy's
sport.
pointing it out, and the guy who started the thread is like blocking him, taking his comments down, all this shit, and then he finally just made another post with that rule in there of like, before the whole shot line or something, you're allowed to help. And he's like, since you won't, let me comment anymore on the original post, here you go, dumbass. Which you're a dumbass. Like, they're allowed to do that. Every fucking team does it. Supercross and motocross. Every fucking first corner. Go to a race once in a while. You'll see it.
It's a safety thing mostly.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times I've been in some doozies in the first corner, and if you got nobody to help you out, like I've been one. Who was it recently? Faulkner got caught in the back wheel. Like you get a spot like that, you better fucking pray there are people around to help.
Well, and in the first corner, if you have 14 guys all go down at the same time, 3 AMA guys cannot pick up
did you guys-
14 bikes
did
and
you
move
happen
them
to
off the
see
track.
did you happen to see? I don't know who that dude was from Star, but he was helping other people, not just Hayden.
Yeah.
Like it's not like he just went straight for Hayden. He was helping
He
everybody
was
around.
moving everybody's bike and everything. Yeah,
So he was. I don't know, man. All the props to Hayden. I feel bad for the kid. Same thing with Unadilla. The only funny bit, and this is where people are like, "Oh my god," I'm not even gonna say anything bad for him. The irony in the last 2 weekends, and this is straight up irony. How crazy is it that in Unadilla, when Stu and Ricky are talking about everybody be like, "Oh, Hayden style," nothing ever happens to me waiting a long time. Bike grenades a lap later. Bud's Creek, same thing. Ricky's talking about style, same thing again. What do we see? Hayden knifed the front end. it's a little bit of irony that as Ricky's talking about nothing ever happens to Hayden Deegan, something happened to Hayden fucking Deegan.
Yeah.
And I had to laugh. Not that I'm like glad it happened. I'm not.
Here come the comments.
I just laughed because I'm like, dude, it's been coming. It's been coming. Nothing has happened to Hayden all year long. And then, of course, the moment that Ricky is saying something positive about nothing ever happened to Hayden Deegan, shit just seems to happen. I'm like, what? I'm like, seriously, dude? Seriously?
I
Jesus.
read now 6 times a book that I don't even fucking like, called The Secret. And it's not a good read, but some of the information in there is very valuable. And one of the main topics of it is manifestation. And speak it, and it becomes kind of one of those things. One of those things where if you want to be that guy, you got to fucking be that guy first, right? Maybe these guys like Ricky Carmichael are speaking it into existence because it keeps happening the last few weeks.
It's kind of like what they talk about with team sports. They're like the announcer's curse. Like they get a kicker out there that has not missed one fucking field goal, and then the announcer's like, "Yeah, he's never missed a field goal." Shanks the bitch left. Like,
Total
what?
left.
Like what? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know.
I obviously for me, like it's a bummer, but there's a little bit of irony in that because literally both times Ricky and Stu were saying something about Hayden.
Yeah.
Something happened to Hayden.
Yeah. So what I'll say here, just kind of wrap this up. So that first moto,
He's gone.
he was gone,
He
and
looked
then
sick as fuck too. He wasn't just
Yeah.
gone. He was like, wow, he's going so fast.
and he rode so good after that restart, after hitting the deck there, and he sat there forever. He was way behind. So to get back to 16th, that was impressive.
in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and second moto, I mean, it is what it is.
He was pushing it. Track was dry.
The kid's passionate, so probably after that, the way that first moto got kind of swept away from him, it's just a situation of what do you do, man? Like you're in your head of like, God, that sucks. I should have done this, and to still get a 5th place, like, okay, cool. I give props to Brian and them for putting it out on social. Like, look, we believe in rider safety, so like if that was my kid laying there, I'd want the same damn thing to happen no matter what. Is what it is.
Yeah, because there were a lot of people, and I think it was some of his fans. They're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah,
like,
and that
what?
Hardy crash was gnarly.
And I'm like, dude, did you guys watch what happened to Hardy Munoz? He literally bounced off the face with his head.
I would say he ragdolled himself into the face
Like,
and then
dude.
bounced over the jump.
Yeah, so
The red flag thing is kind of I don't know about that, but the way that he crashed, I only saw from the landing
yeah.
where we just kind of like saw him slam and then bounce over. I didn't really see like what it looked like from the other side.
Yeah. I assume with what happened there, I assume he was out for a while.
Oh,
And
his
that's why
body went limp.
Yeah, and that's why they red flagged it. Because otherwise, I don't think they would have. But that's what I assume. Because that's what a lot of those red flags end up being if they're not in a precarious position, which I don't believe the position he was in was super precarious because he was kind of off
At the
the side
corner.
of that jump. Yeah. But I believe he was out.
The funniest thing to me that was coming up, and even Ricky and Stu didn't know, which really surprised me, they were like, because when they had Mike Pelletier on, they were like, are we going to do this like Supercross? Is it going to be a single file restart? And I'm like, guys, you know how hard it would be to do a single file restart
with
on that?
40 dudes.
I'm
Thank
like-
goodness I don't.
I'm
I
like-
had people say something to me and like that's the shittiest way you can
Yeah,
do it.
I
like
don't
those
honestly.
either.
I don't think that's ever been a thing. I've never seen a single file restart ever, and I don't think it's a thing.
It's not in the
Yeah.
rule book. There's nothing
I was
for
about to
that.
say,
for
like,
outdoors.
there's no fucking way you're going to do a single file restart with 40 dudes. Like, the
No.
dude in 40 is just going to be sitting there forever.
No, yeah, outdoors, that's not a thing.
But I thought it was funny that
somebody
Ricky and
posted the
Stu,
rule book.
that also
Yeah.
shows how much Ricky and Stu were never, at the back of the pack
Yeah,
and
right.
like never had to deal with anything because we were like, is that a thing? Like, is this what? Like, no, guys, it's not
Yeah.
a thing.
Mike
So-
Pelletier being at the races has been nice on the broadcast stuff when things have come up. As long as he's not giving somebody a number 1 plate because he talks like he's fucking mushmouth.
He also
Yeah.
acts like he's a kid. He's like, I just want to give it to you.
All right. So that's been your Deacon Danger Zone presented by Isaac Nelson Designs. Make
I'm
sure to
sure
check them
you
out for
guys
all your
will-
graphic design needs.
I'm sure you guys will find something to bitch about, and we didn't even say anything bad about
Oh,
it.
they're
were
coming.
nice.
Don't worry, they're coming
We
for
were
you.
good.
So.
Oh, you guys weren't nice enough to him.
All right, let's move on here. So Styles Robertson goes 10-13 for 12th.
He's also going to make it into the playoffs.
Yep, which is interesting. Levi Kitchen goes 14-10 for 13th.
What?
I don't know. I don't know.
His mental thing
I
is
don't-
the
I don't
most
fucking know.
flabbergasting thing I've ever seen in my
I mean,
life.
like last week he comes out ripping, and this week he goes 14-10.
Yeah, he's really good. He's just got to put it together.
that is the one thing that frustrates me with Levi. I'm like, dude, you've already proven many times that you have the speed to win, and not only win, but like check out on dudes. And all of a sudden, like if you get a 10th place start, you just don't know how to work the way through the pack. Like this was where I said like some of these 250 dudes frustrate me. Why it proves like
I just came up with a great T-shirt while you were talking. Finish your statement.
outside of somebody like Jet and Chase, why none of these 250 dudes, as talented and as fast as they are, will ever be great.
It's a mystery, right?
It is a mystery.
So guess what the T-shirt we're going to come out with, because we've got multiple guys here that are this mystery.
Yeah.
We're going to do the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine, and then we're going to put Kitchen's face, Max Volan's face, what's his name, Jet Reynolds' face, because who knows where Jet Reynolds is. That's a mystery.
With a big question mark?
I don't know who else we could put on there, but yeah, we're just going to put these guys' faces on.
I just don't
like
get
the
it.
Joker.
I just don't.
It's like a mystery machine. Like,
I just don't get it, man. Like, I don't understand. Like, is he mentally weak? Is it like he just
that's
doesn't
a good
care?
idea too. We could do like the Joker, and then in all the question mark dots, we could just put the faces of all these riders
Well,
that are just mysteries.
With the color faces.
Yeah.
Here's
Kenny,
here's this like really scary thing for him, because I think he's going to be good on that Cowie, because I think the bike, the geometry of the frame will fit him better. It's a longer bike.
Okay.
If you can't get a start on a star bike consistently, no fucking way you're getting a start on that PC bike.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This is it. Like I said, we need to make a mystery machine or something T-shirt. With
Somebody
them.
has got to go to him after the race and be like, dude, what's
I don't
happening?
understand. I don't know. I don't get it.
I haven't ridden the very cutting edge factory bikes, but they're so fucking good now.
Oh, yeah.
Even the Suzuki, that's the same bike that I sold like 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good.
Yeah.
So it's like, does it really matter that much right now? Like, don't get me wrong. I've had a number of times. There was a time when I lived in California, and the last time that I was riding Pala, and I told you this story earlier this week, I think. And one of my roommates out there, who actually lives right around the corner from here now, he had a kit on his Kawasaki, and I was riding stock-based suspension, and I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good on my bike today. It feels good. And I rode his bike, and I was fucking laughing in my helmet. I'm not even slightly like, when you go out there and you go from like, yeah, I feel pretty good today, to just cruising around the track, going way faster, like, it's silly how much of a difference it is. So maybe some of that stuff comes into play, but bikes are all so good now.
Yeah.
Like, really, how much does it
Well,
matter?
we've talked about it a lot too. All these kids, everybody's on the same program now. Like, there's no secrets anymore. It's not the old days of Ricky and Stu where you got a compound and you're off doing your own thing and there's secrets. Everybody,
and you go to your motorhome.
everybody's doing the same thing. So like now it really comes down to who's got that dog in them or that
Which I don't think a lot of these kids do.
Which is why you have people like Deegan, the Hunter brothers, all that kind of stuff.
Stop saying that.
And I don't think
I'm getting Hunter Brothers T-shirts made.
And just go up
I've
to
got
Hunter
T-shirt
or
ideas
Jet.
here.
Jet would be funny.
I got
I'm gonna
T-shirt
buy
ideas
one
like crazy.
and burn it on the
I
show.
don't and I don't think a lot of these kids have
I'm
that.
still
dog.
making money. I don't
Which-
care. It's like the commenters who hate com. Like, I don't care. I'm still doing this.
Which
so.
is, I think, the difference, and I talk about this all the time. The old guard, the older
Mm-hmm.
generation. Because I had this conversation with Wyman last night. Like, you look at the 07 A class, like Stroop, Izzy, Kennard,
and those
Les
guys
Smith,
came to fuck.
Taylor Futrell, Chris Johnson, Vince, all those dudes. They had dogs in them.
No, they wanted to fuck.
Yeah,
Taylor
Jay-
Futrell was my teammate one time. What
Dude,
a great family
he's,
that guy
He's a
comes from.
badass man. I'd like to do Where Are They Now? Well, I know he's a family, but
Man,
where are they now?
Sometimes in this adventure, you go and you like see where people come from, and like you see the different walks of life. And some people come from, like allegedly Justin Cooper from some money. I have no
Yeah.
idea. But then you go to other people that Sean Rifes, the
I love Sean.
Futrells, those kind of guys, and they come from.
Justin Weeks.
Justin Weeks is a great guy too. But you go and you see where they come from, and you, like, I got goosebumps telling the story right now because like you see that they come from fucking nothing, and they really put their heart on the line. And they, like, I worked 3 jobs my whole racing career to pay for it, right? Well, you see the guys like that, and the ones that go and have a lot of success, and the most successful people typically have that passion, and you can't buy that passion.
Nope.
You cannot buy it, and usually money makes it a problem. Normally, when you have the backing, you lack passion because you don't have as much skin in the game. So you see a lot of guys that fizzle out with a lot of money backing. You know, so we have right now in the 250 class, we have a lot of guys, Levi's. We have a lot of guys that are very good that have yet to make a long, successful reign of it because they're still young, right? So like. You even get into it sometimes with like Ryder D and those guys that are like teens, maybe early, maybe 20, maybe. And it's like, well, they're not really working out. It's like he's fucking 20. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't know his ass from his elbow yet.
Yeah.
So let him develop some. They gotta stay in the sport long enough to where they can do it. But like most of these guys, most of the Zach Osbornes, most of the RJs, they don't find that edge that they have until they're like 6 years in.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when you're making 6 figures as an amateur.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Hunter Yoder story. Did you hear about this?
No, not yet.
Hunter Yoder, I don't know what podcast it was on, but he went on and he talked about how, like, him racing this year, like, he didn't know. He thought he was going to hang it up.
Yeah.
And he basically laid it all on the line. He had the money that he made when he had the Geico contract, when he was making 6 figures a year, he basically goes, I'm going to lay it all out there, and if I make something out of it, I do. If I don't, then I got to get a normal job. Mm-hmm. But he's basically taking all of his winnings that he took as an amateur, and he's putting into his racing career this year.
It's wild shit.
Is he a rookie?
No, man, he's been pro for a few years, but he
was on Geico. He was like the next kid on
got
Geico right
screwed.
when they shut down.
Like, he was supposed to get the factory ride, and then Geico was like, yep, sorry.
Yeah. So, all right. So Ryder D goes 21-7 for 15th.
Another example, man.
We can put him on the t-shirt.
We can put him on the list. Like, how are you so good one moto, and the next moto you're just like, yeah, fuck it.
Who knows? Actually, I heard part of his problem is endurance.
Where's he going next year?
Gas.
Okay.
Gas would be a Pierce Brown.
Pierce ate shit this weekend.
Yeah.
Pierce is down in the brown.
Down in the brown a lot.
It's the thing, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a thing, bud. Love the kid to death, but he's down in the brown a lot.
Dylan Schwartz goes 13-18 for 16.
He's slowly getting a little better every now and then.
Do you expect him to grow into a
I don't know. He was
Premier
way better.
racer?
He was
Dylan?
way better than this in years past, though.
No, yeah, he was way better, dude. Like, I remember 2021, he was like top 5 at Washougal when he was on like a satellite collie. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's happened to him.
Varese goes 18-15 for 17th.
God, it's got the reddest hair I've ever seen.
Pierce Brown down in the brown and 15-24 for 18th. Jorgen Talviku goes 24-17 for 19th.
Wait a minute. He took 24th in that second moto. I thought he was knocked out in the starting.
Jorgen
he didn't even
Talviku?
make it to the first corner. I thought he was knocked out.
Yeah, no, he got 24th.
Hey,
Pierce
man.
Brown, wow.
Oh, Pierce Brown, yeah.
Yeah, and then Talon Hawkins rounds out our top 20, going 17-21 for 20th.
That is a kid I feel super bad for because he's going to be left without a ride for 2024.
So
yeah, dude, he's getting bumped from Husky because Casey Cochran and Guillaume Perez coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
He looked great so far. In
That's
his
the
rookie year.
problem. He's getting bumped, and he wasn't even supposed to be like pro this year. They just had to bring him up because everybody was hurt. Mm-hmm. And he's just doing what he was asked to do, and they're like, sorry, we don't have room for you.
So he'll get like a Firepower Honda or something like that then, right?
Maybe.
Who knows? Shout out to Ethan Day, Michigan kid, goes 36-36 for 37.
Gross. I think he's a
Mitchell
gross point.
Harrison had bike issues,
Yeah.
so he didn't even line up.
Poor Mitchie.
Yeah.
You got any comments on Phineas and
Casey Cochran?
Casey Cochran there.
Well, Phineas, I don't really expect a lot because I don't really think a lot of people had him on a radar to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, he's got really good sprint speed. Cochran, I think, is going to be really, really good, but I think it was a big reality check about how fast everyone is. Because you kind of think about Casey, like this last year, he's kind of just been used to getting the start and sprinting away. And now over here, like, you pass a Josh Varese, like, you may be faster than them, but hey, man, you leave that door open, he's going for your front end. Mm-hmm. I don't think Casey is really used to that, and plus, he's a kid, he's small, wasn't even really supposed to be doing this at this point. He was supposed to have a year in A. He's not doing that. He's doing the Hayden Deegan thing, I think. I think he's going to be really good. We know how fast he is. It's just, I think, for a lot of these kids, it's kind of a reality check that everybody in the 250 class at that level is fast.
Yeah, and you're wet behind the ears, still so young.
Well,
He's like 16 or 17 now?
I don't know. Juju made the comment. He's like, dude, here's the thing that tripped me out the most. He's like, the pace just doesn't stop the whole moto.
No,
it
which I
is
think
that
is-
pace for 35 fucking minutes.
Which I think is funny because when they did the restart, like Ricky got all hyped up. He's like, yeah, these kids, like, this is what they normally do, 15-minute sprints. Like, they should be really good. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you're not wrong, but the problem is that,
they did
like,
a 15-minute sprint.
they did
Now
a-
they got to immediately do another
yeah,
one.
the 15-minute sprint, and not only that, but usually the 15-minute sprint, like, it weeds its way down to 3 dudes after 4 laps. Everybody's still there after the 10-minute mark.
I would have loved to have seen how it went in the pits because normally as a mechanic, you go to the line with the bike full, they do the parade lap. You have a stainless steel bottle of fuel,
Yeah.
you dump it in, and there's like a pint of fuel left.
Yeah.
So after that 15 minutes first thing, I wonder how they handle fuel because I didn't see anybody, like, I literally, for Adam Enticknap one time, fucking sprinted back to the truck to grab, I think it was a pair of goggles for him, and sprinted my ass back. I didn't see anybody running for fuel.
Duffy was the only one that I saw do this, and I think that he actually had to run back and get fuel because I saw he was filling up Hayden's bike.
The Adam Enticknap story was Toronto Supercross, I think 2014. It was the year that James Stewart came out and
Oh boy, epic race to be at.
wow.
I think the only thing I have to say left on Phineas, not really like anything about his race. Did you guys see the comments about when they were going asking him, Juju and Casey, about like what they were thinking going to the weekend? His thing was the best. So what are you thinking? Well, I mean, like I don't really have an expectation. When I think, bad things happen. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm not gonna think. And I'm like, what?
That's like that. That's like the Yellowstone. So did you come up with a plan for this so we don't die? Well, we thought about it, sir, and we just decided, fuck it.
It's so true. The best thing about that though is everybody. I don't know who was interviewing it, but the best thing is they were probably thinking, "You're joking, right?" That's just kind of know who Phineas. That's Phineas is like that. He's like, "Yeah, no, man, I'm just not really gonna think because when I think, bad things happen."
I'm going to sound really stupid right now. Is the Yellowstone thing about a Yellowstone person, or is that the TV show thing that I've never seen?
It's a TV
show.
Oh.
It's fucking great.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't fucking watch TV.
It's like the only good show on TV.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So that's been your 250 race recap brought to you by Adept Creative Co. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description down below. Okay. What do you want to talk about with SMX here?
So SMX, and I'll give this question to both of you, and then I'll give my take as well.
Super duper cross.
Yeah, super duper Humpty Dumpty set on a wall motocross supercross. I want you to take both 5 guys right now, not necessarily like what you're seeing from them through outdoors, knowing if they're building momentum, the way they feel about supercross and these hybrid tracks. I want you to take 5 guys from 450 and 250 class. You don't have to rank them. 3 of them are going to be pretty obvious. 1 in 250, 452.
Jeremy McGrath.
Yes. Your 5 guys that you expect to have the most impact throughout the 3 rounds in both 250, 450. Jet, Chase, and Hunter, I think, are the most obvious ones, so we know they're going to be in there. So it's really 3, 450, 4, 250. So 5 guys for each one of you. Who do you think will have the best impact? Not how you think they're going to do.
Who the hell is showing up for 450s?
Well, basically everybody will be healthy, right?
Everybody outside. Well, have we heard if Coop's going to actually show up?
Supposedly, that's what I've been
All right,
hearing.
so say hypothetically Coop shows up. Kenny's going to be there. Anderson. Craig's not going to be.
Is
Barsha, AP.
Cooper Webb signed, sealed, and delivered for Yamaha Star?
Yeah.
He's at the goat farm right now.
So just
Yes.
everybody.
It's just not rubber stamp, but it's
Oh, no, it's rubber stamped.
Okay.
He's doing it. That's why he's not riding the KTM
450s
anymore.
is pretty much going to be everybody outside of Christian Craig, Eli, and
maybe Eli. I wouldn't rule him out.
No, Eli's not riding.
Yeah, no.
He's not getting on the bike till October.
So basically, most of the 450 class is going to be back by then. We know Kenny's going to be there.
Oh, too bad he can't make Yamaha $1.5 million. Huh?
So
Oh shit!
I'm
Chase and Jet are
yeah,
obvious. We
exactly.
understand
I don't know about Coop. That's a big question mark for me here. You got to see what that blue bike looks like underneath him. I do think Kenny's going to shake things up there because
So
these
that's
are
3?
short sprint races, and he is. We all know
Yeah.
he's really good for the first 10 to 15 minutes.
that. So that's 3. Because
Um,
Chase and Jet once again are pretty fucking obvious.
yeah. Outside
What
that,
about
dude,
Marv?
Marv's
will-
not. Marv's not qualifying in.
He didn't ride any Supercross, did he?
No,
No, he got hurt. He's been struggling with a elbow injury.
Yeah.
He had a newborn baby. Right?
Well, that too. Yeah, but he had
Good for
he had
them.
an elbow injury.
Love it.
Dude, his wife.
Man,
Mattel.
I don't know, man. To be honest with you, I don't know anybody else who's really going to shake things up. I mean,
There's going to stick there, not even battling for wins, like just somebody you could think, oh, they could get on the box every round. Barsha, Anderson, AC, Dylan, like
I
who?
think it's going to be a rotation. To be honest with you,
Okay,
And
so
to be
who's the
honest with
rotation,
you,
though, because
it
it's only
could-
3
to be
rounds.
honest with you, it could be boring because I could really easily see Kenny Chase and Jet just running that podium.
You don't think
for
Barsha's
3
going to stick
rounds.
his nose in there?
I mean,
Barsha was faster than Kenny for most of Supercross.
I mean, he might try to, but I
you don't think
know.
Ando,
There's hardly any mention of our reigning champion.
Chase?
Chase Sexton is so fucking good.
Well, I think Chase and Jet were
Can you
givens.
tell me that he's going to get through it without pushing the front end?
well,
I'm
Ricky
here to
Carmichael and James Stewart be telling you, don't go pull a Chase, but I'm telling you, he's so fucking
You
good.
don't think
he's
AC?
super fucking good.
You don't
but
think AC is going to beat Ando like Barsha, AP?
I don't know, man. I think you're going to see.
He's no help on this.
I think
AC
you're going to
needs to be
see.
on that-
I think
on
you're
that
going to see a
t-shirt also.
rotation. I think you're going to see a rotation of Kenny, Chase,
So who are the other 2?
and I don't know. What do you want me to tell?
Just give me some fucking names.
to do.
do you think it's gonna
to
be Barsha
do
and
what
Ando?
though? To run around 4th and 5th? I
That's
mean,
not running around. You're still getting top 5 as one of the best Supercross riders in the world.
I think Kevin Moran's.
Oh boy.
Can you tell me what the tracks are going to be like exactly?
All right, then I'm going to give mine before Tom. I think Chase and Jet are a given. I think Kenny. I think Barsha, and I honestly think people would say Ando. I think AC is actually going to show up and surprise people.
Maybe.
AC is on his rise. Jason Anderson's a champion. So it's hard.
Yes, but I think that AC is coming in with it being knowing that there's going to be no whoops,
Yeah.
a little bit more confident. So what do you got?
For 450s, Jet, Chase.
Yep.
Cooper Webb, if he's out there, I ain't never put my money against Cooper
Okay,
Webb,
so that's
ever.
3.
Does Dylan race it?
Dylan is going to race him.
I gave it to Dylan because
Okay.
he's going to be hungry.
Yep, okay.
He's either going to be hungry for a contract or he's going to be hungry
Just prove a point
to
before
win
he
as
leaves.
a fuck you guys.
Yep,
I'm on my
okay.
way out. See you guys later.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a lot of kids watching and whatever. But,
And your 5th guy?
boy, you got 5th. You got Barsha, Anderson,
AP, AC.
AP. I feel like I'm forgetting a hitter, though.
I mean, you got
Eli's
some
not in it, right?
Yeah.
But
Ty Masterpool could get in there and shake things up.
I wouldn't give it to Ty.
I wouldn't
I'll give
either,
it to
but-
Jason.
Okay.
Jason Anderson, because he's so nasty on a
All
Supercross
right.
truck.
All right, so 250s then. I feel like 250s is a
This
little
is the
bit-
real. This is the real story.
So Hunter's a given. Hunter's a given. So we got 4 people to deal with. And I don't think you can pick the points too because you got guys coming in like a Faulkner. I'll just give you mine. I think Hunter's a given.
'Kay.
Well, you're not good at this shit. Like you, whatever.
right, sure.
he's ready for
Hunter,
bed.
Hunter, J.
I
Coop,
am tired.
Faulkner. Okay.
Hunter, J. Coop, Faulkner,
Levi Kitchen
Levi. You're fucking
Yep.
high.
and Hayden Deegan.
A lot of Yamahas.
And Hayden Deegan.
I'm so far out on Levi.
Why? He just got 3rd in Supercross.
And then he
points.
just went 10-14 in fucking.
But what did he do the
what's
week
it
before?
called?
All he's got to do is get a start.
Okay.
Levi won 2 Supercrosses last year.
You
Correct?
tell me all 3 of those rounds he's gonna get a start and fucking do good in however many motos. I don't even know how many motos we're fucking doing
I
in
don't
these
either.
things. No one fucking knows what's happening.
All right, then I'll take Levi out and I'll put Joe in.
Let me ask you though, before you leave Levi, he won 2 races last year in Supercross, correct? And both of them were outdoor races.
No. No.
Was that the previous year?
No. Last year he won the Triple Crown, and I don't know what other one.
Hold on. Let's see here.
All right,
I
fine.
got to scroll to find him. Hold
Then
on
I'll
a
take
second.
Levi out. I got Hunter, J. Coop, Deegan, Faulkner, and Joe Schmoda.
He got 3rd in
love
Salt
that.
Lake. He got 2nd in Denver. 3rd in Glendale. He won A2, which was a Triple Crown round. That was it. So he won A2.
And he got 3rd in points.
So it was the previous year that he won Daytona and
No.
Atlanta.
No, he didn't win
No.
Daytona Styles. No.
No.
Haymaker.
Hammaker, no.
Thrasher.
Thrasher's what I was thinking.
Thrasher
What
didn't win
about
it.
Thrasher? Hey,
Thrasher's not going to be healthy enough
No.
for that. As much
well,
as that.
what's his next year look like?
Oh, he's going to be a title threat because I think they're going to put Hayden on West and him on East.
Star.
Yeah, he's a star. I think you're going to have Star winning both titles next year.
Bold move.
If he can
Cotton.
stay off the ground.
Bold
Dude,
move,
don't
Joe
give me that
Shimoda.
shit. He was the 3rd fastest guy in all of Supercross.
And then what the fuck happened?
Everybody else crashed.
And then what the fuck happened?
What was he doing up until that?
Great.
Was he crashing every weekend? No, he was out there being the second
No,
best
actually,
dude behind Hunter.
actually, the rookie was fucking beating him. So
Was he? Was he?
Yes.
Where was he in points? Did he get a
Yes.
win? No, he
Yes.
wasn't. Hayden was not beating him. Hayden
Yes.
beat him one time the whole season.
Hayden was beating him in points.
No, he wasn't. Nate was 2nd in points. Go check it right now because if you want to put a bet on it, we can. Nate was
Let's
2nd.
put a wager on this.
Nate
please.
was
Dude,
second
Nate
in-
Thrasher is like a fucking touch point for
Do
him.
it.
Dude.
Do it. Do
It's
it.
like
As you guys know, if it-
get the doll out and show me where I
Do
just
it.
touched you.
Do it. Nate was 2nd in points, bro. I don't know how you don't remember this shit.
As you guys know, I like making dumb bets about stuff that I don't mind losing.
Before Atlanta, Nate was 2nd in points because he was the only other person to get a win. Don't you remember this? How do you not remember this?
Nate was 2nd in points.
Yeah, he was up
Before
by a lot.
Atlanta.
Yeah, before he got hurt in Atlanta, he was 2nd in points. Don't you remember? He was the only other dude to win a race not named Hunter.
Well, my
Wentz.
search bar is not working right now.
Of
so
course
I
it's
can't
not.
fucking-
Of
I
course
don't
it's
remember.
not.
I mean, what you fucking think I'm over here just
Can
like
you- can
fucking
you- hey,
pulling your fucking dick
Get
or
it
what?
on your phone. Get it on your phone
Like,
then.
goddamn, like what the fuck do you think I'm
I
over
didn't
here
hear a
doing?
wager yet.
No, because he knows. He knows right now. He
Oh
just
boy, here we go.
So Justin,
Oh, I wonder
if you're coming at him with a proposal as a wager, what's the wager?
right
here?
now it's just all that Nate was 2nd in the points. I bet him $20, but I'm not.
20
gonna
bucks.
do it.
Okay, $20 is on the table, folks. This makes it way better. I love
He's not
watching
gonna
people
pay
win and lose
anyway.
here.
No, because you're gonna have to pay me.
pay you for what?
That Nate was 2nd in points. You just said Hayden was beating him. Hayden beat him what, one fucking round the whole season before Nate got hurt? The fuck are you talking about, dude? Nate was the 2nd best dude in that series, and it wasn't even close. Because I remember him in Detroit, he got around him and walked away from him. Then Hayden closed on him. He still got beat. The fuck? Oh, Jesus Christ!
What about Pierce Brown for Supercross or for Supermoto Super Duper Cross?
I would love to see Pierce get in there and stick his nose in there, but the problem is that he doesn't have Jet Lawrence to push him through the pack. I watched Pierce so many times in Supercross when Jet would get behind him. All of a sudden, Pierce was like one of the best riders in the world. Jet would go around him, and Pierce was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna ride around."
I don't know. I'm having fucking trouble.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
Oh my god. would
Okay,
you
so for my
fuck
250s,
off?
I'm gonna go with Hunter's obvious,
Hunter's obvious.
Deegan's obvious.
Yep.
Justin Cooper is not obvious to me, but
You don't
I
think so?
I believe in him. No,
You want?
he's
He's,
got
a
a beautiful.
Supercross.
He's got a beautiful name, by the
He's a-
way. But I
Yeah, no,
just
Justin.
think that he is.
He's got a Supercross title, man.
He's
Remember?
very fast and he can do it. I just
I think that mental toughness is a huge thing, and I'm not saying that he's not mentally tough. I just don't think he's robust.
You don't think he's got the dog in him?
I think he can. I've never looked at Justin Cooper one time, including at Designations and things, and was like, he's fucking hungry.
Which is wild because I honestly believe Designations, he's the reason why we won that.
I think he's very good.
Because he came out and he was like, you guys are all counting me out. I'm going to go out and be the best 250 rider in the world.
I just, you know, when you see like sparking somebody, and you're like, nobody's beating him today. I remember seeing that with Ricky Carmichael where he was pissed off at Kevin Windham, and then he's jumping up hills. He's going. He like there's a double here, and he's going fucking see you later because I'm gonna beat everybody. And you see like no one's beating him that day. Or I've never once seen that in Justin Cooper. Maybe he has it in him. He's got all the talent you could want, but heart is a lot for me, especially. So if I don't see the heart in you, maybe you can do it, but I'm not picking him. I'm picking him for my top 5 though because I think he's fast enough to do it.
So that's 3.
So that leaves a bunch of guys for 2 spots. And Joe's still on a Kawasaki.
Yep.
Shoot, that's a tough call.
All right. 250s is tough.
Yeah.
You got to put Faulkner in there?
For one race.
Okay.
Not for all of them.
Okay.
I think he's got the hunger.
Okay.
I don't think that he's got the resilience
to
do all 3.
Maybe Rhino will beat that out of him.
I hope he does.
Yeah.
If he gets Rhino mental toughness, good fucking luck beating the guy because he is so fast. He's got like we talked last time I was on the show about how some guys have skilled fast, and then some guys have like wild man fast, where they will hang it out and they have this ability to like barely stick on the track. Josh Licht was always my example for that because he was talented, but he was wild man fast. And I think that Faulkner has wild man fast. And there are very few guys that have it. Now he has to have the mental resilience and the sharpness to do it, and do it for a long season instead of just being a bottle rocket.
Yeah,
he has a tendency to be a bottle rocket. We can't have that. So I think he'll win one. He'll be a contender for one race. I don't think he'll win or be a contender in all 3. I would give that to Joe Schmoda though. So now I have one of my picks left. Now we got. Nobody on Gas, nobody on Husky. I didn't pick anybody but the obvious contenders. So for my last guy, all right, I'll give it to Levi Kitchen.
Okay.
I'll give Nate Thrasher.
He's over here doing math.
I'll give it Nate Thrasher, not Levi.
I'm not even doing math.
Levi,
I'm just writing down their point standings where they are here after each round.
Yeah, because obviously he got hurt in Atlanta when he fucking lawn darted himself. But his only bad race up until that point was the first round.
By the way, you're not starting off good here.
Travis, you got gray in your beard
Are you talking about Hayden or Nate?
I'm talking about Nate.
Okay, because I know the first round was bad, and then he goes out and wins, and then he was pretty much second outside of Daytona when Hunter bonds on him.
Let me just continue this here. So, will that $20 be on PayPal, cash, or
Are you looking at points or like what are you
I'm looking at points?
Okay, all right.
Because you're fucking wrong. You guys keep talking about whatever the fuck
I
you're
love
talking
it.
about.
Okay.
Here's what I'm talking about. Travis, you got gray in that. You got salt and pepper in that beard over there?
Yes, I do.
Woo!
It's red, brown, and a little bit of gray in there.
There you go. Not for me yet. I can't even grow a good enough beard to do it anyways.
Guys, this is great radio. I need
No,
to
it's
keep
not because I
talking.
got nothing else because he answered my question.
What do you mean?
I was talking about who's the top 5 in SMX, and somehow you went down on Nate and Hayden Deegan.
That's because I touched you in the no-no spot here.
When I'm pretty sure Hayden was never second in the points until after Thrasher went out.
Okay, well, your boy Thrasher here. Let me just run you through the first fucking 4 rounds. So, first round, Deegan, 4th in points, Nate, 15th.
Yeah,
Second round, Deegan, 3rd in points, Nate, 7th. Third round, Deegan, 4th in points, Nate, 3rd. Fourth round, Deegan, 3rd in points, Nate, 6th.
That was Daytona.
That was Daytona.
What happened after Daytona? He went out and he was, getting second every race.
Hold on. Here we are. We'll go to Indy. Let me just fucking continue.
Which was not
here.
a good race for Hayden, if anybody remembers correctly, and that was when Nate got second.
You guys went to Indy, correct?
No, I didn't go to Indy. He
Travis
did.
went.
Nate goes to 3rd. Deegan goes to 5th. So far, your point's fucking irrelevant here.
No, it's not. Because
you just told me Thrasher was so fucking good until he got hurt. 15-7, 3-6-3.
Are you looking at points?
These are literally the point standings after each round.
Can I remind you of something? Why it started off?
Here we go. Here we go. His boy Nate Thrasher, he wants to fucking talk about until his my point's fucking proven. We've been having this argument for years now about Thrasher.
Hey, listen to me.
Because he comes out, wins a fucking speedway round, doesn't do fucking shit the rest of the time.
What did he?
Comes out the next year, wins 2 speedway rounds, doesn't do shit the other fucking 7 rounds.
Where's
this
he
year,
in points?
he's finally had a semi-consistent year, but yet still gets hurt midway through the year and cannot fucking finish. And he's like, oh, I fucking not. He's fucking title contender. Okay,
he is.
Sure, great.
He is.
Dude, it's so weird having short hair now. You guys may remember from 2 episodes ago or whatever, I had hair like down to my shoulders-ish, and like you get used to it. And boy, it's weird having short hair again. First time since like 2012. Long time.
Okay. So
I see a second, and I see a 3 next to it, and I see that Nate's ahead of him in points.
okay, you literally are sitting here trying to tell me Thrasher's been second in points. The only time Thrasher was second in points was after
That wasn't my point. My point was that he was better than Hayden. He was beating him in points before he got hurt in Atlanta.
2 fucking rounds was all. Literally, the only time he's ahead is round 3.
Did you?
And then round fucking 6.
Did you happen to look at the results of why he was? The point is that he was.
What the fuck are you talking about? Is this guy fucking crazy?
This is what he. Is this guy
fucking crazy? You're literally
you see why
telling
I wanted
me,
to put a wager on this.
You're
before the bet.
literally telling me.
But I was actually right, so I still actually wasn't.
What do you mean you're right?
Was he ahead of him in points before he got hurt in Atlanta? Yes. That was all I made the point of. And
for 2 fucking races.
It doesn't matter. He was still ahead of him. And you want to know why he was actually so far behind?
It doesn't fucking matter because, fucking this race, Hayden got 3rd. He probably fucked up, should have got 2nd, and should have still been ahead. Or, I don't know what the fuck you're trying to prove here.
Outside of 2 rounds, Nate was beating him the whole time, every fucking round as far as results.
But yet he was still behind him in points?
Because he started off in 15th.
He was behind him in points.
And then what happened in Daytona? And then he goes and wins. And then he goes and wins.
Okay.
And then Daytona, Hunter bonsais him. That's why he gets it. Crashes again. And then all he does is just get second. And what was Hayden doing?
He was literally... He got ahead of him by the 3rd round.
And then Daytona happened.
And then you go to the next round.
And then Daytona happened. And then what happened? Nate,
and now he's behind.
Nate just
and then
beat him and beat him and beat him.
And again,
but he was still, because he was beating him in the races.
And then again, at the end of the year, what happened? He's fucking not healthy. They're fucking relevant by the end of the year again. Like, I don't know what you want from me.
Every time.
Like, I don't understand what you're trying to prove. Like, you're saying he was ahead of him in points the whole fucking time. No, he wasn't. He got ahead of him, then he was back behind.
But
and then he got ahead of him again.
Was he beating him at the races?
And then he's back behind. Great, cool. You got to stay fucking healthy and off the fucking ground, which is obviously he can't fucking do.
Which is probably most people's problem in Supercross.
I'm just saying, you want to argue. You can't argue this point against a fucking rookie here who's been more consistent than him.
It wasn't more consistent.
Is that a fucking joke?
Was second. What was Hayden getting? 3rd, 4th, 5th?
Where did Hayden finish in the points?
Because Nate crashed, and so did everybody else.
He finished second.
My point was, Nate.
Where did Thrasher finish?
He would have been second.
He was fucking irrelevant.
Fans
Not really irrelevant
he didn't fucking finish the series.
He's still going to make the SMX points because he did so well.
That's fucking great.
It is pretty great because you could do that well and not do outdoors and still make it.
Not get fucking paid because they're not paying the riders. I mean, dude, here we go again. This is a fucking blind spot. Like, I love the fact that you're passionate about Thrasher because this makes for great content. Because I'm just like, dude, and again, here we go again. I got to explain myself because otherwise I'll get crucified in the comments. He's a great fucking rider. I'm not trying to take that away from him. I'm just saying we have a kid here that cannot stay off the ground and cannot stay healthy, which, by the way, can lead me into another point here. Hold on. Get the doll because I'm going to touch another point here. When's your boy Herlin's going to retire because he can't stay fucking healthy now? I mean, it's a bummer for me too because like the only reason I watch the GPs is to watch him ride honestly anymore. But like this is fucking ridiculous. Like that crash should not have.
Bad luck.
He's fragile.
When you when you ride like he does, I mean,
how do you say he's not fragile?
When you've broken as many bones as he's have, your body starts to get pretty weak. It's not really like it's his fault that he's not training or anything.
Which is fragile.
No. Fragile to me is somebody that your body's weak because you don't have any muscle built up. He has muscle. When you've broken your back and you were paralyzed and then you've shattered your fucking knee and you've shattered your leg and actually, I just read a stat. I read something about this. I didn't realize this. He has now broken more bones than Travis Pastrana.
That's fucking great.
It's not really great.
I mean, he's fragile, dude.
It's just because he's had so many fucking
here's
injuries.
the thing. Like, when you're trying to run a comparison like that, Jeffrey Hurlings is a gnarly fucking motocross rider, but
Yeah,
he's
he
not
is.
doing anywhere near the fucking gnarly shit that
Here's
Travis
the thing: that,
Pastrana did.
that
So,
crash,
like,
that crash
can't
had
run-
nothing to do with Hurlings riding over his head.
I didn't see
No.
the crash.
He hit false neutral
I
and then
didn't.
buried
I
it.
didn't
Goes
say
back to what
it-
I was saying 2 weeks ago. Why do they
Not have,
a,
yes.
So instead of a
He,
hot
he
start,
came off and then he came off a roller and he went to downshift. Don't know how the fuck it happened because that almost never happens on those KTM's. Hit neutral and then he dropped into the berm. Front end pitched him.
Lars Lindstrom, I know you're not watching this, but if you ever hear this, stop having neutral be between first and second and give me a fucking lever. Or have it still be there, but give me a lever that I don't get neutral unless I pull a lever. Maybe for Jimmy that buys a bike down the street, they want regular neutral.
Yeah.
For a factory race bike, make the neutral detent lever controlled so I can't get neutral. Make it controlled by a lever.
Yeah, that shit wasn't even his fault though. That was just bad luck.
Well, you wouldn't have luck if
No,
it
no.
couldn't go to neutral.
Yeah, I know.
And everybody that's ridden has had neutral, pop neutral, and they're going through corner and fucking tip over, whatever. I've had some gnarly neutral get-offs, some gnarly ones.
Comment down below your thoughts on Thrasher and Deegan situation here.
Hey,
Let's
got
hear
two
what
bets
y'all
now.
got to think.
So now we got two bets that the fans at home can go back and rewind and say, wait a minute, this is who won, this is how we won.
Was,
So
he,
let's
was
see.
was he not saying that he was better than him in points until he got hurt?
I don't know the exact rules, so we need
Was
to
he ahead of him in
rewind.
points before he got hurt? Yes, that was my only point, and he was faster than him because he was beating
You
him.
said he was ahead of him every single fucking round in points
no,
until he got hurt.
You're gonna have to go back and watch that. I
Well,
never said that because
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable.
hey, all I know is
I
my
can't-
point. My point
I
was
can't.
proven because he was ahead of him before he got hurt, and he was also beating him at the races before he got hurt. That's all that matters.
I am bringing in a doll for when we have conversations like this so you can show everybody where I touched you.
Travis already has dolls.
Look, bro, I
Is
like
the thing.
Thrasher, man, and I get sick and fucking tired of people talking shit about him.
I
He's going to be a
mean-
title favorite next year because he proved this past season, outside of named Jet and Hunter Lawrence, he was the best 250 guy in Supercross, and it's not even close.
He and Hayden will be
Yes, he
will
was.
big time.
Was he the only dude to beat Hunter in Supercross? Yes. Was he the only guy to actually run with Hunter speed-wise? Yes. Who else did? Who else ran with Hunter speed-wise in Supercross? No one. No one. Jet?
He can't even make it through 9 fucking rounds.
Dude,
Young.
What
Young.
Nate? What season has he made it through all the rounds?
what do you mean? He made it through all the fucking rounds his rookie season. What are you talking about?
He's young, right? So we're
And
not,
he also made it through all the fucking rounds last year. Oh my god, I don't have time for you to go back and go through all this shit.
He's not on the fucking results, so it's gonna be hard for me to look.
Your
up who
problem
that's
is
fucking
because he
round.
crashes and he doesn't win. It has nothing to do with him not making it through the rounds. I'm pretty sure he's made it through all of his Supercross season. It's been his outdoors that he's been unhealthy.
I'm gonna have
in
to
my
look this
opinion,
up.
that stuff is things that you, as a rider, you develop through and out, right? So, like, there's a lot of riders that when they're young and they, like, you're really fast, but you haven't like learned the little nuances of not only the sport and like doing the whole circus of racing, but like you learn the tracks and like the race day routines, things
Yeah.
like that. So, like, a lot of that stuff works itself out with experience. I'm not saying that he may or may not crash a lot for his future. I don't fucking know. I don't think I ever even met the guy, but there's a lot of things that come with experience, and a lot of that little mistakes, little weird things that happen, iron themselves out with that experience.
Look, I will tell you, I'm not the only. Like, me and him go back and forth at this. Okay, and it's all love. Just so everybody knows,
There's a
even
lot
though
of
we're
love.
yelling, it's all love. Me and Justin are still fine. We're not gonna fist fight after the show or anything.
if you do, we'll tape it, and you guys can
Yeah,
maybe
Nah,
do
that's
that.
fucking stupid.
But what I will say is, I'm not crazy or wildly off base at this. This has been talked about throughout all the industry, all the podcasts about how wild it is between like him winning races and then outside of that, like his average finish is like
But
ninth.
this last season, though, outside of him getting
This
hurt, that's a big
Supercross
season, changed it.
I have
Because
said
if he wasn't winning, he was getting second outside of Daytona in the first round. And the first round was his fault. That was a total Nate Thrasher thing, but we know Daytona, Hunter center punched him. He was pushing too hard coming through, made a mistake. But the rest of the rounds, dude, he was like second. He was first and second. So that's definitely not.
I did say during the season he improved his average finish.
And my only point was
outside
the
of
title
winning.
thing. If Hayden's on one coast and he's on the other, you're looking at a bunch of other dudes that have the same problem. Who are you going to take because you know they can't beat him?
Yeah, well,
I mean, if you're outside, if you're winning and walking away from people, you're fine. Which
as
I
long
don't
as he
see.
makes it the whole way, right? How
yeah,
often
I
do
was
we
gonna say
see that?
that is the thing. If he
I mean,
can't
you're
make
looking
it
at
the
like
whole way-
Levi Kitchen and probably Max Volan as being his biggest competition. I'm sorry, I love Levi,
I love
but he's not
watching Max
faster than
ride.
Nate in Supercross.
Like, here's the thing, like Like, yeah, he can be a title favorite, but dude, you're not gonna be able to go out and get a 15th and then fucking win a title, even if you are
unless you're Levi, or you go 1-5-7-9.
Yeah, I
That's my
don't know,
point.
man. It's such a weird dynamic here with people. Like obviously Deegan's gonna be good, and whatever coast he's on, there's a high probability he's winning that. Can we all agree on that next year?
I think yes. I think
he's a favorite.
I think he's going to be a favorite. I think because they're going to put him and Nate on different coasts because those are your two top guys, and Joe might be the only one that would derail that.
Yeah,
if him and Joe were on the same coast, and then wherever RJ goes,
there's a bunch of contenders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's a bunch
RJ
of.
honestly
but
is
it
probably
is-
the favorite
The
wherever
problem
he
is
But
there's a
it
bunch
is-
of contenders, but there's only a few guys that can actually I can see them winning the title.
Yeah. But I think we'll see. I think when you see no Jet, no Hunter in that class too, and you get on that coast where there aren't dudes or where Deegan's not essentially, I think you're going to see a bunch of different dudes step up. So it could create some different dynamics. But
Yeah, who knows? McAdoo
That's-
could win the fucking title.
that's a
I would love to
conversation
see
for the
that.
future. So anyway, all right, this has been another episode of
Hang on a second. We ain't fucking done yet. We got to
we've
talk
been
about
doing this
Indy.
for a long time,
bro.
We didn't get into Indy. I know you guys got bedtime. I don't care. So Indy is going to
What
be
the
interesting because I'm going to be working for Kevin Moran's, and he's going to be doing whatever he's doing.
Yep.
And allegedly, we're not filming the show as like this kind of show until we get back to the studio.
Yeah.
However, I am inspired to go check out the pits with some cameras and some mics and see what the fuck is what's it like in the pits. So what are you guys that are going to be at Indy that are mostly you guys are camping because you're racing? What's it like? Give me the best day ever. Let's see what it's about.
I have a great idea for this in the pro pits here, which we'll talk about off camera here, what we're going to ask. Because I have a really good fucking idea now.
By the way, I'm talking about the amateur pits and the fans.
We'll go through that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I want to see what's the best national.
You know what I know?
shit
What
you ever
Tom's gonna be
seen.
doing? Tom's gonna be MILF hunting.
That's
Sorry, this is
All right, so this has been episode 248. Thanks to everybody for coming on board. Complete Racing Solutions, TLR Coatings, Holster Co, Gutter Works, Adept Creative Co, Isaac Nelson Designs. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We will be back next week for show 249, where we're going to wrap up Ironman and this outdoor season. We'll crown a 250 champ. Make
Hopefully
sure
you
to
guys
check
see
us
some
out.
fireworks.
If you guys are at Ironman, like I said, me and Tom will be there. Make sure to stop us, say hi.
I gotta figure out what I'm gonna wear. So if we're working for Kevin Moran's, I usually do something kind of nice. Like I had like
Oh, yeah,
for
because
Red
you
Bud
can't
for
wear the show shirt.
A
for the
Speedo.
Red Bud, I had like it was the American American flag, I guess you'll call it, but just patriotic theme. So I did like a really nice suit that I had put stars all over and stuff, and it was like a thing, right?
Yeah.
And Racer X and all that bullshit, whatever. What am I gonna do for this weekend?
Tom's gonna wear an orange Speedo.
Well, I usually end up wearing a pit shirt, but
Yeah.
With an orange Speedo.
All right, that's been show 248. Thanks, everybody.